We'll talk a little bit about that because I don't know about you. The season's over, I'm told, based off of the first stringer's performance.
Pretty ugly, man.
It's time to start
What are you gonna
tanking.
do? Pretty ugly.
Look ahead to the future. So we'll talk a little bit about the Chiefs preseason game, but we're excited. Special guest in studio with us, Vinnie Pasquantino, our NFL insider, which I'm told that you might actually be our insider again at times throughout this season as well.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, here, we'll get the mic down
hold
there.
on.
We'll get that.
Are we good?
Is this better?
There we go.
There we go.
Better? Okay, I'm talking to the mic. Do I look into this camera?
No,
This
you don't.
is
You can
radio,
ignore the
I
you can
thought.
ignore the camera.
Yeah, I'd like to be the insider again if you guys will have me. I had a good
course.
time with it last year. So, but yeah, I think we're supposed to talk about how bad the Chiefs are. Right?
Yeah, that's
According
right.
to
That's
the
exactly
first
right.
preseason
They're
game.
screwed. The defense is trash. It's time to really start thinking about tanking for 2023.
Well, that's why you guys brought me in today because I'm used to watching a bad football team. So if they played really bad yesterday, you guys brought me in today to talk about it because I'm used to it. So
We are, yeah. You know what? That does help. What's it
Yeah.
like? You know?
It's not fun. It's not fun. But the good thing is football. They only play 17 games, so you can lock in once a week for it. So it's still fun in that way. But watching your team lose is never fun.
We'll talk some football in a second. I'm curious though. It's been a bit since we've talked. How are you feeling though? How's the shoulder and everything?
It's good. I'm here. I'm not in a sling, so that's good. I can lift my arm a little bit. I've got like 70% mobility in the thing, so feeling good about it.
Are you getting bored yet?
Getting bored yet.
I just feel like you're used to being very busy during the summer, and then
So
you
I
have
had
some
surgery-
things to do, but less.
Yeah, I had surgery 7.5 weeks ago. I'd say I got bored about 9 weeks ago or so. So yeah, I'm pretty bored.
What's it been like to watch from afar though? We saw you were tweeting during some of the games, rooting your guys on a little bit, just to have that perspective, watching it on TV like everybody else or listening to it on the radio. How has that been?
I hate it, not because of anything other than I want to be on the field with the guys. So for me, this is one of those things where I was tweeting early, showing support essentially, and then I realized it's not about me. So I've gotten away from it because it's not about me. It's about the guys on the field. So I don't want to be any sort of distraction for anybody, and I just want to be there for the guys. So for me, I haven't really tweeted or anything about the team in a while because I want to make sure those guys know that, they know I have their back, and I don't need to say anything via my social media for them to know that. So I don't want to be a distraction for anybody. I just want to let them be able to go play.
Is this the first time you've been just like a full fan, I guess, of a team where you're just like, you see them on TV or you watch them some of the game, but you know that you can't participate yet?
Yeah, as a professional, for sure. I had a few things in college where, I missed a half a year one time, but half a year in college, that would have already been over by now. So, yeah, this is definitely the biggest thing I've ever had. It sucks. Don't want to deal with it again. But kind of where I'm looking at it is, obviously, I don't want anybody to think I'm injury prone. This is the same injury from last year. We finally got it fixed. We're happy with what we've done. We're ready. We're looking forward to next year. I should have a full, healthy offseason. The schedule kind of lines up where I'm able to, prepare as normal for the season. And I've got a few things working to try to lock some things down and make sure we're healthy and ready to go in 24.
Did you pick up any new hobby along the way? I know you said you were bored out of your mind, but
Start cooking or something?
In terms of non-baseball stuff, I've cooked a little bit. I walk the dog probably more than I have. Still playing a lot of video games. And then from the baseball side, I've kind of become an analytics nerd, trying to learn some things about the game from an outsider's perspective that I think will help me on the field next year. So that's kind of what I've been really doing.
They make fun of me for that because I like the advanced analytics.
Yeah.
I like the numbers behind baseball.
I
Yeah,
can handle some of them.
Yeah, but I said FIP the other day and you checked out.
Yeah,
I just
Little-
one simple stat.
Yeah, just a little fielding independent pitching going on in here. So that's good. Yeah,
Saying that boded well for Brady Singer. Talk about that he's had a better season than just his standard ERA would present.
Yeah, good for Brady. That's good, right? I learned a lot about FIP the other night, having a few conversations. So, yeah, just strike a lot of people out, don't walk anybody, and don't give up any homers, and your FIP should be pretty good.
It's the things you can control,
That's right, yeah.
It does seem a little silly to be like, let's create a stat. If there were no fielders on the field, but there are, like, all the time. That's not how the game is played, so it's confusing to me a little bit, but I understand the notion behind it. Baseball is just more sport than any of them had started to adapt it kind of early.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird like there's certain exit velocities which are considered to be like dead exit velocities because you can't really hit a homer with them. And a lot of times, if you hit them on a line, they go right to where an outfielder's playing. So
So don't hit it too hard. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, hit it either really hard or not. Don't hit a ball like 97 at a 15-degree angle because the outfielder is just going to be standing there. It's going to go about 250 feet, and you don't have a shot. So if you're going to hit it at a 15-degree angle, hit it like 72, and you're probably going to get it hit pretty much every time.
Text line wants to know, what games are you playing? You said you like to play video games. Which games?
Yeah, so I've been playing a lot. I'm a sports game person, so a lot of FIFA, a lot of the show. But more importantly, today Madden comes out if you pre-ordered it. So, I'm locked in. You know,
are you downloading it right now while you're here? You're wanting to download?
It's already downloaded.
You want to get a game in?
No. It's downloaded, but it's still locked. So as soon as I think it's 7 o'clock Central Time, it unlocks tonight. Yeah.
So you franchise mode, online play? Which one do you do?
I don't like playing online Madden because I'm bad at it. So anybody that's better than me, I have no shot. Just because I feel like nobody runs the ball online either. You just you have your plays that you like and you run them. And on defense, I have no idea. Like, I don't know how to look at football. Like, I just don't understand enough about it. Like, I'll be sitting there, I'm on offense trying to think of what coverage the defense is in. I have no idea. So I just rip whatever play that I'm doing.
I just don't think I like the idea of like 12-year-olds just like talking
I've told you,
trash to me. It's too much. I can't all day. I can't do this. No headset. I don't want to talk to you.
Well, I don't talk, but you can still hear their voice sometimes coming through the TV, and it'll be some 12-year-old kid or whatever. And like, what are you supposed to say? Because I used to be much better at Madden. I'm terrible, but I only play online now. The franchise mode it takes too long. It's way too complicated.
Yeah, I'm a massive franchise person in general. There's a computer game called Out of the Park Baseball. I think that's what it's called. But basically, you're the GM or the owner of a baseball franchise. So I've won a few World Series with the Royals over this time. No big deal.
Yeah.
And then in MLB The Show, I've won a few World Series with the Royals. NBA, I've won a few championships with the Orlando Magic. And I'm about to lock in the New York Football Jets tonight. I might stay up all night long tonight. We'll see.
Have you watched? I'm sure you did the first episode of Hard Knocks.
I did.
Did you watch that like live because you were that excited for it?
No, I watched it the next day. I watched it the next evening, I believe it was. I don't stay up all that late normally, so that was a little bit too late for me to watch a full TV show. Which I say that I just said I'm going to stay up all night playing Madden, but we'll
depends
see.
on the thing, you know.
Maybe I'll have a few cups of coffee before I lock in tonight and stay up. So we'll see.
Wait, what time do you go to bed normally? Hard Knocks
10-ish.
That's pretty early.
Yeah, but how early are you getting up?
This morning I got up at 6:45. You guys got to remember, I've been in a relationship for 6 years now. There's no reason for me to stay up late.
Fair enough.
What am I going to do? Just keep talking to the same person I've been talking to for 6 years
But till 1 a.m.?
Especially now because all we do is hang out with each other. So she's the only person I talk to. When the team goes on the road for a week, oh my gosh, I have no human contact other than the other guys in rehab, and that's for about 2 hours a day. Other than that, it's just Ryan and I at home, just staring into the abyss, essentially, just sitting there waiting for the Royals game to start to put something on the TV.
Okay, what show has she made you start that you didn't think you were going to watch?
Love Island.
Okay,
Love
I knew
Island.
that you were tweeting about Love Island. I didn't know if that was your choice or a Ryan choice.
It was her choice, but I didn't really have a choice because I was just out of surgery and couldn't really move. So started watching that and then just got hooked. And it's like 60-some episodes, so you really got to lock in for a while. But yeah, I became a Love Island addict. So it just ended. I'm happy with who won. We can't vote because it obviously happens in the United Kingdom, so they are the ones doing the live voting for the show. But I had a good time. When you're watching it next summer, which I highly recommend, don't go on Instagram to the Love Island page because we're about 3 days behind.
Oh, so it's going to get spoiled. It's like when I watch the Great British Bake Off. I can't.
Yeah.
It gets spoiled for me. You know,
exactly.
I don't know about
exactly. Yeah.
the UK show stuff.
Right.
I don't think you're watching that one.
No, I'm not.
Obviously, you want to be out there playing, but I imagine because of your time in the minors, though, with your now fiance, I mean, you guys have probably spent way more time together than in years, I'm guessing.
This is the most time we've ever spent with each other, pretty much in one.
So I mean, that part's pretty cool. I mean,
really cool.
You know?
Yeah,
you're planning a wedding, so it seems like a good time, I guess.
Saying we're planning a wedding is interesting.
Is that giving you too much credit?
Way too much credit. The only thing I do is sometimes, yesterday, for example, she hired me to help with our invitations of putting them all together because for some reason we bought invitations that we then had to make ourselves when they came to the house, which,
wait,
believe me, I didn't understand.
What do you mean? Like what assembly? Not just in the envelope, something else?
So it was an envelope, and then we're fancy apparently. So it was a white envelope, and then there was a like black cardstock that we had to fold the top to put in the envelope that had R and V on it.
Okay.
And then I guess we put the invitations inside that. It just kind of makes it look nicer or something. I don't know.
You just did it for several hours instead.
No. Several hours. No way. I rushed right through that thing. So there was some stuff on, I don't know what it was, but I guess the way they sent it, I don't even know how to describe it, but I had to wipe stuff off the cardstock. And I got to a point where I just wasn't wiping anything off. I was just putting them in the envelope. So whoever is listening to this that gets an invite to my wedding, if there's some sort of material on the black cardstock, I'm sorry. That's my fault.
This feels like one of those things where, like, after the fact, I would have just convinced myself, I'd be like, how much would it have cost me to pay someone to do this instead? Because if you had told me, hey, it's an extra $500, but we'll take care of these envelopes for you, I'd be like, great. Please do that.
Yeah, there's been a lot of me saying, can't we just pay somebody to do this? Do we have to do this ourselves? But I guess it adds that personal touch, which I'm really fired up about.
Yeah, that's good. When's the, is it this year?
The wedding is this year, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, pre-congratulations, I guess.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I mean, if I talk to you around the time, I guess I'll say congrats.
Yeah, that's perfect.
We'll probably need Massey to fill in for you as the football insider during that
Massey
week.
will be in the wedding, so.
Oh, he's in the wedding.
Massey's in the wedding.
How far down the groomsmen list?
I'd prefer not to put a number on it, I guess.
No, put a firm number.
Especially Massey, because he found out I was on this. He's probably listening. He's probably waiting to come on the show or something.
He's going to come in for hour two.
Yeah.
Listen to a Bears podcast or something.
Yeah,
probably.
exactly. Yeah.
He's excited about his team too. People are hyped about Justin Fields because, like, that's the thing. It's like we are skeptical of Justin Fields because athlete, yes, no question. But I haven't seen him throw with any kind of regularity in the NFL, so I think maybe I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like if you say anything other than positive things about Justin Fields, people are very, like, angry about it. So I guess he's talented, and now if he proves it this year, he'll be certified good. I think that's the way to say it is, now he's got a real chance. People like to say that in football especially is guys get screwed based off of where they're at, who's coaching, who's on the team. So he's one of those cases that people are using for that. So, he's got this year to prove it. Year 3 is typically where the quarterbacks make their biggest leap. So we'll see.
What about your Jets? We got Vinnie Pasquantino in studio with us. We know the Chiefs are going to play the Jets here, in a month to 2 months or so?
Yeah, working on a little
the
something.
season. Yeah, we might have something exciting to tell you guys about here in the next couple of months. Chiefs, Jets, Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one. It's also the Royals' last game of the season. We play the Yankees, and then that parlays into Chiefs-Jets that night. So that's a big day in Kansas City and New York. So, yeah, and we are working on something for that, which I think would be pretty exciting. That's going to be a massive game. So Sunday Night Football, the Jets, I believe that's the first time they've played on Sunday Night Football in 10 years, 11 years, something like that. So the Chiefs get 7 of them a year, so you guys are plenty used to it. And, I'm excited to be there.
What our current working theory on the Jets is nobody is saying anything is wrong, which is always concerning, I feel like, in sports. It's like, are you not trying to get better? Is something not broken? Why is everything okay for the Jets?
Well,
are they just trying to, give this air of confidence like they can do no wrong?
A lot of that is Mike Greenberg on ESPN. He's just an eternal
Jets
optimist right now because they have Aaron Rodgers. But behind the scenes, or not necessarily behind the scenes because I have no behind the scenes information about them, but the offensive line seems to be an issue. So there's your one negative about the team is that their offensive line will most likely be a big issue, which is a massive problem. So we'll see.
Everything does seem perfect with them right now, and I think the Jets have a chance to win that division this year. It just seems it scares me when everything is going perfectly. And at this point, Aaron Rodgers hasn't yelled at a receiver yet because they ran around wrong route or anything like that. It's been too perfect. But Chiefs fans are freaking out a little bit yesterday. Freaking out a little bit, Vinny. I don't know if you caught any social media based off of the
tough day on defense,
game. A handful of plays on offense and defense from the ones, and they're in big trouble. I don't know if you've caught on to that.
Based off of what I've seen on social media, the Chiefs season's over.
Yes.
So
after one preseason game against the Saints.
So it's probably time to, the trade deadline's week 9, something. Probably time to start looking at that and start retooling for the future years. So
start looking at who's going to be available in the top 5 of the NFL draft.
And everything I see too is Mahomes is really cheap, so maybe somebody will take that contract on since he's so cheap. So
Yeah, the Chiefs are taking advantage of him, according to Mike Florio. Just
I
being
always think
ashamed.
it's one thing for a player to watch their own wallet. I've never seen people watch somebody else's so closely.
Yeah,
For a guy who's going to get $500 million, they seem awfully concerned about the fact that he might not make enough money.
Yeah, I think you're always looking at markets of players, and that's where you determine that stuff. But if he's happy, who cares, right? Please don't jump into my wallet and tell me if I'm happy or not. So it's a very strange thing. It's cool for him because he kind of set the market and set a new market for quarterbacks, and now guys are getting paid more, which is kind of why you do things you do is for the next player. You try to make things better for the next guy. And I don't know, how many years does he have left on that thing? 6 years?
No,
7 years?
longer.
Longer?
9.
It's like 8 or 9.
Oh,
He'll get it
They're going to
reworked.
have to
Don't worry about it.
restructure it, whether it's this year or next year. I mean, there has to be. He's the 8th highest paid quarterback. And so at some point, yeah, he's not going to be good with being the 13th or 14th highest paid quarterback in the league. But the thought process from Florio and some of these other national reporters on it has been kind of funny to watch, just to see how you wonder if it's agents feeding information to Florio and these other guys that are concerned about their clients not getting paid what they think they should get paid.
Yeah, you never know. But unless it comes from the guy, I tend to not believe anything anybody says. So yeah, if he's happy, that's cool. Everybody in Kansas City should be happy if he's happy.
As far as the preseason game yesterday, though, the Chiefs, I mean, we saw the ones play for 2 series on defense, really the 1 series for the Chiefs, at least at quarterback. And yeah, you would have liked to have been able to take something positive, though, right?
I just wanted some sign of life. It's a preseason game.
What?
You just want some sign of life.
I can tell you something that's positive that happened this year for the Chiefs. They won the Super Bowl. So
that does track.
I think that the reaction was ridiculous at times from some. But yeah, I'll admit, you would like to be able to sit here today after the first preseason game and say from the ones there was a single play or moment that was positive.
Or player.
And there wasn't. That's the only part that I think probably has some frustration from fans. Now, there were some other pieces we can talk about later at 11 o'clock hour that could factor into this team at the wide receiver spot that certainly had some impact plays once Shane Buechele and others came into the game. But yeah, the defense was rough. But it's the first preseason game. I know you said, hey, if they want to be the top 10 defense in football this year, they can't be having
inauspicious start is what I would.
It's preseason.
Look, I'm not here. I wasn't people made it out like I was panicking on Twitter. I made one comment about how that was a not fantastic start for a defense that has said they want to be top 10. And look, part of it is they had no pass rush. I'm assuming part of the reason they have no pass rush is because their best pass rusher isn't here. So that might have something to do with it. And Felix Anudike-Uzomah looked a lot better in the game later on. So maybe there's some progress there. I just felt like they got kind of picked apart. Honestly, I just thought the Saints looked like they cared to play this preseason game, and the Chiefs didn't. Yeah, and they don't have to. They just won the Super Bowl, as you'd previously mentioned. That game was probably cooler than preseason game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, you always want to see fight in your team, but you both know that the preseason doesn't matter. So it's like we were really good in spring training this year.
Yeah.
We were currently, our record-wise, we are not very good. So how much did that matter?
Yeah, and it's like how much – and I think that even in preseason, we can say that even in preseason, people get up to play the Chiefs. They still like it as like it's their chance to play.
People are watching.
To me, it might be like playing Shohei in a spring training game. Imagine everyone is more amped than a normal spring training game if Shohei Ohtani is going to throw 3 innings against you.
Yeah, if you know your game's on TV, especially, and the Chiefs are always primetime no matter when they're playing. So people are watching that game, especially in football too, with how important tape is. Putting good tape on the field in preseason game 1. If you know you're probably not going to make your roster, but you're getting good reps off of a team like the Chiefs, it's better for you. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably easier to get up for a game like that.
To your point about the energy, I mean, that was something that Mahomes even mentioned after the game and something at halftime, and that's why we saw his energy on the sideline because they were kind of just going through the motions in the first, quarter or so of that football game. I wonder, Derek Carr, brand new football team. So if you're the Saints, you are a little more amped up. You actually now have a quarterback that's capable of doing something for you after running out Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton the last two seasons for you. So
Jameis played okay in that game too.
He did, yeah. How much money do you think he's made in his career, by the way? I looked it up during the game because I was curious. What's your guess? What do you think?
120 million?
I mean, he signed 80?
Because remember, he was a top pick.
80 million?
By the end of the season, $71 million by the end of this season.
I mean, he was a starter in the NFL for 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah,
but
he probably didn't make all that much money his first 5 years. Well, he was the first pick, right? So yeah.
I think he made year 4 or year 3.
A couple years too late on being the top pick when they used to pay you like the top quarterback in the NFL.
Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford was the last one to just walk into the NFL and immediately be one of the highest paid players in the league. or at least at that position, which is a wild way to do it anyway.
Yeah.
I actually think this way makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Maybe prove to us that you are a top 5 quarterback in the NFL and then be paid like
Hey,
that.
as a player advocate, I think everybody should just be paid a ton.
Yeah. That's a good point.
I think everybody should just be the top paid player at their position, right?
Well,
Does that make
baseball's
sense?
shifted to where you could be one of the top players in the league as one of the youngest players in the league. We've seen guys get deals when they're not even like full-time big leaguers yet, where they're like on the cusp, or we've had a conversation with like Bobby or any of this. It's like, you could be like a couple years in the league and someone might still get you a check a little faster, depending.
Yeah, it depends on what they think you're going to look like in 7 years, I guess. That's kind of the big thing. And, yeah, it's true. You gotta show that it's in there, and then you got to shop for it. So, and then it just depends on what the team wants to do, and cost certainty. They know what they're going to spend. That matters to teams. So, yeah, that's true. The way that things are going, that's definitely can happen.
By the way, so the Jets-Chiefs game that we were talking about a little bit with Aaron Rodgers, are you as excited about that matchup, even though Rodgers hasn't been the long-term quarterback? Because this is one we've waited for in Kansas City for years. Every time something happens. We get the Jordan Love game where his mom is unfortunately sitting in like the last row at Arrowhead Stadium. Or a couple of years before that, Rodgers was hurt again. It's just like there's always something that seems to gum up this matchup. And when it's a future Hall of Fame quarterback versus a future Hall of Fame quarterback, we actually want to see it once.
Yeah. I'm not as excited for the quarterback matchup. I'm just excited for the game. That's something like you guys have obviously paid more attention to just because it's missed a few times. I'm just excited that that it's the Jets with a good quarterback against one of the best teams in football. So for me, and that'll be week 4, so he'll have about 3 weeks before that to get used to his team.
It's a tough schedule.
The first 6 games, if the Jets go 3-3, I'll be pumped.
It's brutal, but I mean, yeah, you're right. Maybe they get off to a slow start. Maybe by week 4, though, to your point, a little bit, maybe they got that offense clicking at that point in time. But could you imagine though the reaction if the Jets or they're hosting the Bills or they're going to Buffalo week 1?
They host the Bills, go to Dallas, host the Patriots, who they haven't beaten since 2015, host the Chiefs Sunday Night Football.
2015.
At the Broncos, home against the Eagles, and then like the Chargers come up after that.
Yeah, that's a hell of a start. I mean, if you guys go and beat the Bills week 1, the reaction is going to be crazy.
If the Jets win week 1, the ESPN, it's going to be the Jets are Super Bowl favorites, and if they lose, everything's crashing down.
Of course.
It's going to go one of two ways.
It's still the Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, all ahead of the Jets, and they'll mention a couple of other teams.
Yeah, but if the Jets win, it's going to be their Super Bowl to lose, essentially. Just the way that the media will treat it, it'll be really funny, and then they'll still lose to the Patriots week 3, and then everything will come crashing down for a little bit.
I didn't realize it had been that long. That's as long as it's been since the Broncos beat the Chiefs. 2015 since the last time the Jets beat the Patriots.
It's been bad.
The Jets have been like an equally good team or close to it, at least recently. I mean, for a while there, that wasn't the case, but
just Belichick swims in the heads of Jets fans. That's I know that as a fact. Being a Jets fan, I just want to beat that guy so bad in football. That's all I want. Just beat Belichick. Like when the whole seeing ghost thing, and then him calling a timeout where the clock was still running somehow with the punting, I think, a few years ago. And then last year it was a 3-3 game, and they walk off punt return. Oh, I'm starting to stress out already.
Is that first one in New England or in?
At home. At home.
Okay.
Yeah, at home. Because it's, as a proud season ticket holder, it's home, away, home, home. And then the Royal season ends. Yeah.
And then you'll be in New York once a week.
Yeah.
Or every other week.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Vinnie Pasquantino in studio with us. We're talking some football with him. We were mentioning the Jets and the Chiefs, but what about the rest of the AFC? You and I last week, Cody, talked about kind of the pecking order in the AFC and who else is going to emerge. We'll get Vinny's thoughts on that next year on Cody and Gold.
You're listening to Cody and Gold.
He's so good, and everyone knows it.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
The health of your home starts at the foundation. Here's James and Josiah of American Topsoil.
A wet basement can be a nightmare for homeowners. Prevent it by adding topsoil around your foundation.
If poor drainage is ignored or left unchecked, this can allow water to flow inward toward your foundation, potentially causing dangerous cracks and leaks.
Guys, the message is adding topsoil now can prevent big foundation problems.
That's right. So protect your home and give yourself peace of mind with this easy solution.
You can be confident knowing you'll only pay for the amount of soil you actually need. Call us at American Topsoil, 913-888-SOIL.
American Topsoil, 30 years and 4 generations of great topsoil for landscaping, gardening, and foundation preservation. With locations in Olathe and KC Mo. Nutrient-rich organic topsoil delivered with their power wheelbarrow service right where you need it. Call 913-888-SOIL or online at americantopsoil.com. Great topsoil, great service. American Topsoil.
Dick Ray, he's your plumbing magician. Dick Ray, he's a man on a mission. When your pipes are leaking, your bathroom's flooding, and you're feeling kind of blue, there's a master plumber who knows just what to do. He's there for you, and he'll do it all with skill and precision. Dick Ray, he's your plumbing magician.
This month, Dick Ray will clean any drain for $79.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has green-lighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify and receive your free tax assessment by dialing 800-210-1005. If you or your business owe back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-210-1005. 800-210-1005. That's 800-210-1005.
Luke Combs here, and I have an exclusive opportunity for you to win $500,000 with the Living Lucky with Luke Combs Lottery Experience. Join me in Nashville for a private concert at the iconic Ryman Auditorium. One lucky winner will win $500,000 at the end of the show. Y'all feeling lucky? Enter today.
Enter your Living Lucky with Luke Combs Scratchers tickets at molottery.com for a chance to win a private concert experience and a chance at $500,000. Play it forward with the Missouri Lottery and play responsibly.
Tailgates and turkey? Yes, please. This season, score a touchdown with U.S. soy-fed turkey. Versatile, tasty, and truly different, turkey is always a winner. You can get all the recipes and register for a chance to win the ultimate prize pack at tailgatewithturkey.com. You'll be the pride of the parking lot.
It's back to school and football. Save time with Old Shawnee Pizza and get the Monday special, a single topping medium pizza for only $10.99. Call or go to ShawneePizza.com today. Any single topping medium pizza for only $10.99. Old Shawnee Pizza, now 3 locations.
Dick Ray, he's your plumbing magician. Dick Ray, he's a man on a mission. When your pipes are leaking, your bathroom's flooding, and you're feeling kind of blue, there's a master plumber who knows just what to do. He's there for you, and he'll do it all with skill and precision. Dick Ray, he's your plumbing magician.
This month, Dick Ray will clean any drain for $79.
Hey guys, this is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home, or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. AutoTrader.
This is Pre-Tection. Yep, Pre-Tection. The everyday skin protection ritual that protects your skin from mosquitoes. Pre-barbecue. Pre-playground. Pre-everything. Pre-every day. Prevention is the best protection. This summer, make sure you have OFF, the #1 dermatologist-recommended repellent brand. SC Johnson, a family company.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep Plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended release B vitamins.
Hold up, you're using Swiffer Power Mop? What would Mom say?
Oh, she'd be like, a mopping bucket is the only way to deep clean your floors. And I'd be like, Mom, this is the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one that gets you a mopping bucket clean in half the time.
She'd never believe you.
I'd say, look, the solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket. And the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get into grout lines. That's why you're the smart one.
Really?
What? Mom said it.
The new Swiffer Power Mop. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
The PBP, Voices of Baseball, is a podcast about the art and craft of play-by-play, and we're in the middle of an amazing season. Catch up on episodes with Joe Buck, Joe Davis, Pat Hughes, and more, and learn along with me, Matt Spiegel, how the job is done.
It's not just home run Bryce Harper in the Phillies lead. To really do it justice, you got to widen the lens. What does this home run mean?
The PBP, Voices of Baseball. I bring you the people who bring you the game. Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Arvest Bank, proud supporter of your Kansas City Chiefs radio network. Arvest Bank, proud supporter of your Kansas City Chiefs radio network. Stop by any Arvest branch to find out why banking with Arvest and the Arvest Go mobile app makes life easier. Arvest Bank, proud to be here game day. Let's do this.
All of the lights.
All right, back here on Cody and Gold, just getting started on a Monday. Of course, the J Southland Tow Service text line, 913-586-7610. We'll also get to the trash of the day here in about 12 minutes or so. We've got Vinnie Pasquantino hanging out with us, first hour of the show. Obviously, rehabbing the shoulder injury, talking some football, though, with you, because we were going through the AFC, and we all would agree, quarterback-wise, the imbalance between the AFC and NFC is nuts. The quality of quarterback in the AFC compared to the NFC is wild. The top, it's the Chiefs and it's Cincinnati, but after that, who has the best chance to kind of emerge and join that group? Maybe it's the Jets. I'm higher on the Jets than Cody is, but I think if we're going through the pecking order of the AFC, I still think Kansas City and Cincinnati are clearly above everybody else. And then, to me, you get into a group of Buffalo, the Jets. I'm high on the Ravens this year. How do you see the AFC kind of sorting out?
It's going to be a bloodbath. I mean, there's going to be a good quarterback who doesn't make the playoffs. I'm not sure who that's going to be. Is it Herbert? Do the Chargers find a way to not make the playoffs?
They're really good about finding a way to not make the playoffs. I'll say that.
Man, I was in Chicago when that game happened. That was insane. I was watching it. I went to a Blackhawks game that night and then went back and it was like, they're going to lose this game? Like that? How do you lose that game? That can't happen.
What were they up 30? How?
It was like 27-0, right?
27 and a half?
Yeah. Just run the ball. Take off 3 minutes of the clock every time you get
This
the
was
ball.
a different era of Chiefs football, but we remember a playoff game in which that exact same thing happened to them, and Andrew Luck did it.
Oh, that was an Indy, right?
Yeah, and someone did the math, and they were like, by the way, had Andy Reid just kneeled, 3 plays, let the clock run down and punt, there wouldn't even been enough time based on how long it took the Colts to score to win.
Yeah.
Like, you would have won the game by kneeling rather than what you did somehow.
Yeah, man. But it is true, though, when you look at the AFC, the quarterbacks are ridiculous. I mean, it's 8-9 deep, really. And then you look at the NFC, you're like, whew, who is even there? You got Hurts, Kirk, who everybody's loving now because of the show.
Did you watch quarterback?
I watched the first episode and a half. That's as far as I've got.
Really? You didn't? You weren't? Did you having a time, or you just didn't really pull you?
It didn't really pull me. Not that it wasn't a good show. I know everybody's loving it, but the behind the scenes stuff is kind of where I live.
Yeah.
So like seeing it is just like, oh yeah, it's hard. It sucks.
That sounds right. I've seen a guy doing rehab.
Yeah. Like, oh, I'm living my life watching him live the same life. It's not that interesting. Like,
do you think we've talked about how football now has that, but do you think a baseball version of that will ever happen or would be interesting? Like, let's say I don't know, pick your 4 biggest stars or whatever that can do it, or you or whatever.
Yeah, I think it will happen one day. I don't think it would be as successful just because the craze for football is at just a different level. Not in a bad way. It's just how it is, right? We can talk about football all year long and ratings will still be okay. You talk about baseball in January, who is listening to that? So, yeah, I mean,
it's hard because you get 6 months of it in the season. It's like I don't need.
You feel like you're living with the guys anyway. You don't need to be in their actual house. So,
Well, but I do like I like the mic'd up stuff. Like I know that we don't want to necessarily incorporate that into regular season games, but I love it.
No,
I like when a guy's standing in right field and he's like, "Oh God, I got to hustle to get this one." Makes the catcher like, "Well, this is awesome."
I do think that's going to come into play more in the regular season just because of how much people are liking it. And for players, you're getting younger players up now who are more used to different things like that. That I do think that'll happen more. But I also think the things that fans would find the most interesting is like our scouting meetings, how are we? Because I think what gets lost in baseball sometimes is how much strategy goes into the game, even though it doesn't seem like it because it's such an individual type thing. Whereas like football, you know that there has to be tons of strategy because every guy has to know the play that's going on at the same time. But in baseball, of just the different things you look at for a pitcher, where his release point is, how does the ball move out of his hand? What does he do in specific counts? What do we do if there's a guy on second and it's a 2-run game versus a 5-run game? Like different things like that. It's just, I think that's what people would find interesting. Like our day-to-day is very strange just because it's, all right, if you have a 7 o'clock game, I'm going to show up at 1:30. I'm going to eat. I'm going to do a crossword. I'm going to get in the training room. All right, I'm going to go out and do early ground balls. I'm going to play catch early today because before the game, I don't really want to throw. I want to take more time to do something else. I need to lift today or I want to lift after the game. Like there's so many things that go on a daily basis for 26 guys, and it's different pretty much for everyone. I think it would be interesting for people to know, like pitchers, starting pitchers. How do they throw? Say they throw bad. How do they deal with that for 5 days before they get back again? They throw a bullpen in between, or a reliever has to be ready every single day. Like it's just, there's so many different things going on within the sport. It's just crazy.
So I think the last time we had you on, he gave me a hard time because I said, "Hey, can we just find one major league pitcher who will throw me a pitch? I'll stand in there and try to swing." And you're like, the problem is that they're going to find it to be a waste of your time.
Yeah.
But also, he's also like, stop asking people stuff like that on the show.
Yes.
But I want to point out that you asked Vinny for an autograph in the break.
Oh, I had a card. Yeah.
So how am I the bad guy? I didn't ask Vinny to sign anything.
Well, yeah, because you know when he's in studio, so why not? I was in Chicago at the card show. You guys know I was there, and one of the cards I pulled was a Vinny rookie card. So he's in studio. Why? I wouldn't ask in the clubhouse. You can't do that. But he's in studio with us. Yeah.
I am.
I
here.
appreciate the autograph.
I have to make a joke. Then I'm already wasting my time being here, so I might as well sign while being here. That was a joke. That was a joke, guys. Just kidding.
That's fine. No one will think it's that big of a deal. Is it a nice card? Let me see.
It's not like Topps. It's a rookie card. It's Topps Heritage. It's fun. I mean, it's not a Topps Chrome. It's not a numbered card or anything like that. But now it's got an on-card auto, so I appreciate that.
And you can prove it via video. Well, not via video.
I'll
You just have to take Vinny's word for it.
I'll get it slabbed eventually. I'll get it slabbed, and they do the authentication.
Well,
and then,
what I don't
understand
understand about cards is like that's one of my favorite looking cards, but it's not one of the more valuable ones. Like I just don't understand.
It has to do with
value and
like Topps, like the Chrome ones, it can be worth more. Or they're typically it's either numbered or based on the ink. So like you signed it in blue ink. If that came out of a box and it was blue ink, that automatically in this case might mean it's out of 50. So there's only 50 of them that exist. Red ink might mean something different. So it's very complicated though. I don't even know all the intricacies with it, but yeah, I'm not like, it's more just a personal collection thing. I don't.
You're never gonna.
Anything that
swear to Vinny right now. You'll never sell this card.
If you sell that, I'll never sign anything for you.
I'm not selling. No, it's for personal collection. Royals are cheap stuff. I'm fans of both the teams, so I'm not gonna move those.
Okay.
If anybody wants to buy some Yordan Alvarez cards for me, I'll sell them.
It's funny how much you see. Somebody will ask you to sign something. They make it super meaningful, and then you see it on eBay. And you know because you remember what you signed, how you signed it, when you signed it, who you signed it for. It's like, all right, well, I'm not signing for you anymore. Because we've got people that come to the stadium.
I'm sure.
Very, very nice, very respectful.
And there's usually consistent people there standing by the gates and stuff.
But and I do a decent job of signing. I don't sign as much as
That's a good signature.
I don't sign as much as I think I probably should, mostly because with this injury, I've just been in a super bad mood, just naturally, and I don't want to have that come across with somebody. But Yeah, it's a little frustrating when you make a connection with somebody that they talk about how excited they are to get the autograph, and then you see it online. It's like, oh, man, I hope that extra $50
I'll give you credit though. I mean, some athletes will just like scribble it real quick, and it is like, you can tell when you look at it. It's just very nerdy now, but you can tell when you're looking at memorabilia and cards. Like if somebody that actually takes their time signing something, people do appreciate that. If you're collecting,
I sign different in person than I do for like not in-person stuff, just because I feel like it's better. But my name is so long that it's tough.
It's a long
It's
signature.
tough if I'm doing like a autograph session with a bunch of people. I sign a little bit differently to make it quicker. Now you'll still see the V and the P, that's for sure. So like I'll never be a guy that just scribbles. It's just not my style. But you'll know it's mine. It'll just be a little bit shorter than that one is.
You know that this is we don't always have you in studio, so I feel like there's a good chance to get a professional athlete's opinion. So we saw the Chris Jones tweets over the weekend, and really wasn't even him. It was like he was with Michael Bay, seemingly out of nowhere, which was confusing. And then the caption was just like, oh, Chris says he's quitting the team, which we don't think is obviously the case. Do you know guys who like to post stuff on social that is vague just to mess with people? Because I'm convinced Chris just thinks it's like fun. It's funny to post stuff because you're kind of bored and you're like, if I just put one lyric out, right? He posted like a Ralph Waldo Emerson quote the other day. Then people can take it 1,000 different ways and it's humorous. Are there guys that do that?
Not in my space. Just like there's been a few times I've like changed my bio on Twitter or something and nobody notices. Like one time
Don't ever take the team name out. That's always
one
the
time
one.
I took the Royals name out for like a week, and it wasn't anything I was upset with. It was just I was working on like what I was going to do with my page, so I didn't have anything there for a little bit. Nobody noticed a thing. So it's just, in football and basketball, those guys have to be, not that we don't have to be careful, but those guys have to be a little bit more strategic with what they do because so many more people are paying attention to that. And with the way that, just the way that their contracts are, there are opportunities for holdouts or extensions within the contract, whereas with our contracts, they are what they are. Like you can always be extended throughout whatever you're signed through, but like I don't
You can't
remember.
hold out.
I don't remember too many spring training holdouts.
I don't remember any. Do you?
Yeah, I don't.
I can't think of a single one in baseball where I remember a player just not showing up for the first 3 weeks of spring training.
and it's different in football because their bodies are more on the line. I say that as I'm out for the year, but like their bodies are more on the line every day. I mean, those guys go through car crashes every game pretty much. So I totally understand where they're coming from a financial standpoint, because Chris Jones deserves to be paid like one of the top defensive, quarterback rushers essentially in the league, and he wants that and he deserves that, and he's trying to make that happen. Now he still is on the team, right? Like, he's
under contract this year anyway. He's playing for them anyway.
What's your best photo you've got with a celebrity? He's got the one with Michael Bay. What's your best one?
Ooh,
That's such a random one too.
I don't think I have a really good one. I don't know a celebrity good enough that they would also want to take a picture with me, because I've never gone up to somebody and asked to take a picture with them.
Because people do that with you, or just because
no.
Okay.
Maybe 3 or 4 times people have asked to take a picture with me. I never know if I get noticed either or not. Like sometimes I think I am, but then I never know.
Yeah, you said you waited in line at a restaurant the other day and nobody said anything.
But then said something after the fact. That was the weirdest part. But I don't think I mean, I probably have a picture with Bobby. Does that count?
At the way he's playing right now, probably. I don't remember. We were like
huh?
messaging one time, and you were like, it's a freak level of like on the air. You were like, I understand Bobby and I are not the same kind of athlete.
Yeah,
that's a weird thing for a professional athlete to say, but it's also like that's maybe Bobby.
Well, I would just like anybody to know, if you think me and Bobby are similar athletically, you need to get your eyes checked. Like something you're doing is wrong if you're seeing that we're on the same field there. So
you play the same sport,
we are literally on the same field, so we got that going for us. But there's a lot of things we don't do the same. So, but yeah, that's been a cool. Not necessarily breakout, but that's been a cool thing to follow.
Well, I assume everyone in the clubhouse is like, yeah, this is how we always assumed he would. Like the numbers would eventually back up the ability, right? That's how I assumed people in the clubhouse took it, because anybody we ever spoke to gushed about what Bobby can do just based on like a pure athleticism, talent, ability perspective.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it realistically, right? Like we need him to do that. Like we don't need him to be the face and the carrier of the team, but we need him to be at his best. And I would say that about everybody else. And I think he would argue that he is now he's not even at his best, is what I'm trying to say. It's like there's more to come. And I would argue with everybody when they're rolling, there's always more, and he wants more. And he's always ready to get after it. And yeah, I mean, in the clubhouse, it's a little bit different because there's not as much speculation. And in the clubhouse, we always more lean negative than we lean positive. So for us, it's about what are you going to do for me today, not what are you going to do for me over this next month. So while it's fun to speculate, we're more worried about what we're doing on that given day. But over this past month and a half, watching him has just been incredible.
Atmosphere been better? Like for the group? Since the All-Star break, the whole team's playing better.
Hard for me to say just because I haven't been around as much. So like what I was saying earlier, I don't want to be a distraction. So for me, when I'm in the dugout, I'm not trying to get too involved because I don't want to, mess anybody up or get in anybody's head or whatever. Still throwing around jokes in the clubhouse, keeping everybody on their toes. But other than that, like guys need to go prepare and do what they need to do to be their best. And I don't want to get in the way of that. So from what I've heard, it's been good. But at the end of the day, everybody knows our record, and we're not okay with that. So that we're not going to say this year is lost, but we know that, we need to be better. And going into 24, for me, on a personal note, like that's our goal, is to be better.
Vinnie Pasquantino in studio with us. We'll get to the trash of the day coming up in about 4 or 5 minutes or so. Now, you just said it. You're not in the clubhouse right now on a regular basis with them or in the dugout always because you've been rehabbing and everything with surgery. I would imagine when you have 162 games and you know where the team has been throughout this season, unfortunately, record-wise, but then to your point, still knowing individually what everybody has to accomplish. I guess how do you separate that where, all right, it's July, it's August, and you know where the team is record-wise, 40 games under 500, but individually still knowing that your job is on the line each and every day and trying to show something. A lot of young guys still on this team trying to show that they can be a part of hopefully when this franchise is able to compete.
Yeah, I think it's kind of what we were talking about earlier of putting good tape out there in a preseason football game. It's like the same thing right now. It's not necessarily the actual results of what you're doing. It's how you go about it. It's the quality of the at-bats that are being had. It's the quality of the pitches being thrown. It's the way that this team will come together over the last 2 months to put together wins, because that's what our job is to win games. It's to be the best player, obviously, but it's to win games. So, like, for me, just personally, like, I know going into 24, I got to go win a job. Nothing's going to be handed to me. So that's how I'm going to prepare this year is go into spring training ready to compete for a job and win that job. And everybody on the team feels the exact same way. Like, Bobby would tell you the exact same thing. Like, is Bobby going to be on the team next year? Hey, yeah, he is. He's gonna be on the team.
I think he's going to make it.
But he's going to go into spring training knowing, I still need to prove myself every day. And that's kind of what this team is right now, is go out there and prove why you belong in the big leagues and why you belong on a winning team. And that's just the goal, is try to figure out a way to win more games.
We usually do something in the 11 o'clock hours, a little fun. We thought you might want to sit in on it. You want to do Trash of the Day, Gold?
Yeah, let's do it.
Trash of the Day.
All right, let's get into the Trash of the Day. This actually takes us to Texas, and it has to do with a woman that was doing some yard work, triple-digit heat down in Texas right now. The couple's been married for 45 years next week, and it was a story where she's on her riding mower, back of the property, far away from the trees, and all of a sudden, out of the sky, a snake falls onto her arm. Out of the sky. Okay? Snake falls, and she says it was like 4.5 feet long, and it had fallen out of nowhere. It started clutching her right arm, wouldn't let go. So she's then trying to, obviously knock the snake off, whatever she can do. And then a short while later, a hawk comes down and tries to grab the snake. So they think that the hawk dropped the snake, and that's how it landed on her. Tried to actually go down, bite the snake, couldn't do it. Meanwhile, the snake is still pinching into her skin. What are the chances of this? Is like some apocalyptic type stuff here. You got a snake falling on you. A hawk is coming down while you're on your riding mower. What are the chances of this happening?
Well, just based off the segment name, I'm going to say that is trash. I mean, could you imagine? Like, the chances of that are ridiculous, but I guess it kind of makes sense, but wow.
The hawk kept trying again and again. It said the wings flapped in her face with each try, distorting her view what was happening right in front of her. All the while, the tractor kept mowing, like zigzagging through this field. Imagine if you were just witnessing this from the house.
Worst luck in the history of man if snakes are raining from the sky and then hawks are coming to attack you for the same snake. I don't even know what I would do after that. I'd be like, I mean, now I'm afraid to mow the grass. What are the odds that's ever going to happen a second time?
Yeah,
I just like
I
the
guess
worst feeling in the world.
Just get somebody else to mow your lawn. Just stay inside. Stay away from open air because a snake might fall on you.
Well, that's a for any of us.
That's
for all
the
of us, you
excuse.
never
Yeah,
know.
the husband's listening. You got to tell your wife you cannot mow the yard just in
Snake
case.
could come down and
can't do it.
could get me.
I can't go outside today and mow the lawn.
I'll
A
tell you
snake
this,
might fall.
That would be it. Like, I hate doing yard work. I can't justify the price to pay somebody yet, so I'll do it. I'll go ahead and mow my grass. But if a snake falls from the sky and then a hawk attacks me for that snake, I'm done. I'm out of the yard work game. Whatever lawn care company wants to take care of this, that's fine, but it won't be me anymore.
Yeah.
I'm done with that activity forever, I think.
She went on to say her right arm was covered in blood, claw marks, lacerations, cuts, punctures. Quote, if you've ever cut yourself, think about 10 times that pain. It's pain you can't describe. It was beyond anything I have ever experienced. Eventually, the snake was captured by the hawk, if you will. So, yeah.
So the snake falls on you, and you can't even prove it because the snake goes away because the hawk takes it.
Right.
Imagine going back to your house and trying to explain what happened. You'd be like, oh my God, did you run yourself over the mower? And you're like, no, wait, let me tell you. And you're like, well, what's the snake look like in case it's venomous? You're like, the hawk took it. I
don't know. Couldn't tell you. The hawk came down. Then you have to explain that story. I mean, she's probably said that story 25 times now, and it's wow. That is
I feel like you'd have
trash.
PTSD forever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
It would affect you for a little bit, for sure.
A little bit?
Yeah.
I feel like for an eternity would be the case.
I guess you would have to just tell yourself there's no chance ever that a snake twice in my life is just going to fall out of the sky and land on me. That's how I would have to approach it. I would have to tell myself.
Are you afraid of snakes? Spiders? One of those things?
No, but I would say also there's no fear that I would publicly admit.
Smart.
So
because teammates might be listening, or because you just don't want to admit fear?
Both, I guess. But no, neither of those things I'm particularly terrified of.
Because
can't stand spiders. We were up at
You
camp.
don't like spiders.
We were up at camp on.
I know you don't like heights.
Yeah, heights. No, I don't do well with heights at all. Terrible with heights. We used to be fine as a kid. Now I can't do it. Like, there's some spots even at Kaufman now. If I sit upstairs, where I'll be grabbing the edge of the seat. It's terrible. I don't know what happened.
I walked up there for the first time a few weeks ago. I couldn't believe how high it is.
We'll go to Arrowhead. That's not even. That's
pretty
nothing compared to
steep,
Arrowhead.
too. Oh, really?
Arrowhead's super steep. You get to like the 300 level, row 30 or so, which is as a kid that's where we sat. But now there's no way I could ever sit there again. It's just because just the bearings and the heights. I don't know the depth perception. It messes with me.
I'm like that with roller coasters now. I went to Six Flags right before the season started in Dallas, and I can't do roller coasters. I found out because I felt like I was going to fall out of one of them that went upside down. It was the Freeze, and it went really fast and upside down. I thought I was going to fall out. It's like, nope, can't do this anymore.
I guess you're just done now with roller coasters?
I mean,
he's not fearful of them. He said there's no fear of the roller coasters,
no
right?
fear. Yeah.
Just a learning lesson.
Well,
different.
Yeah, well, there's an amusement park here, right?
Worlds of Fun.
Worlds of Fun.
So maybe next year I'll give it a shot with roller coasters or something.
Get you. We start something small. They just had a new one, the ABC Singer, no upside down.
The Mamba's
It's
the
quick,
Mamba
2 minutes
is,
long. You'll be fine.
The Mamba's the tallest one of the tallest still in the country, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's that slow incline to the top that gets me. That's what gets me every
Can
single
you just
time.
close your eyes?
We have one in Virginia called the Griffin. It's also in Florida. I can't remember what it's called in Florida. It's at Busch Gardens where it's straight. That's a 90-degree drop, and you pause at the top of the 90.
That's kind of
for like 4 or 5 seconds.
Once you get to the top of the Mamba, you kind of
You're
sit
there
there
for
for
a
a
minute.
second. But I just saw like a story a week or so ago where I think it was in Ohio, one of the theme parks there, the ride on that same type of ride got stuck. And people had to walk down the steps. No chance. The steps like to actually next to the roller coaster at the top. No chance. You would have to sedate me and carry me down. I would be. I don't know what I would do.
And the theme park or the amusement park, the liability of that is probably ridiculous. Hey guys, just walk down. Just walk on down.
Although I guess when you buy the ticket, right? They really can't do much when it comes to that.
Yeah, it's true. You paid to get in there.
Except
Yeah, I'm assuming you're pretty much just accepting liability. By the way, the Griffin and the Mamba, pretty much the identical drop height.
Oh, really?
So
there we
if
go.
you've done that one, you're in good shape.
Sound
Quick
good.
Google search
I like
tells
the
me
ones
that they are very similar.
The one that goes over the shoulder, I like those. I don't like the ones that are just
lap,
because I don't know. I just feel like I'm gonna fall. I feel like they don't go down far enough on me, so where I'm like, I don't know if this is set. Yeah. But the ones over the shoulder I'm fine with because they clip in. You feel like you have multiple layers of protection there. But the ones that just are on your lap, it's like that could go at any time, and I'm done.
We mentioned the stadium, by the way, before we let you get out of here. If you get an early stadium rendering for one of the two sites, will you send it over?
Yeah, the biggest thing that I'm worried about just as a hitter is let's shorten those fences a little bit, huh?
I think a lot of fans are with you, too. I think a lot of fans are with you. You don't need it to be, the Bronx or anything. That's ridiculous.
That'd be okay.
I'm sure you would love that.
Just make left field. We can even it out. Make left field really far, and just make right field. You can even make it tall. Just make it short. Just make it short. That'd be great for everybody. Not for everybody involved,
but for you.
But for me, it would be fantastic. So,
I think we're only a couple weeks away from getting some of the renderings for the two sites downtown, and then obviously Clay County. Hopefully, we get those here pretty soon. Vinny, good to see you, man. Well, can't wait. We do have hopefully some exciting news in the next couple weeks ahead for the Chiefs and Jets game. That Sunday night
Something
game.
with Vinny.
Something that I would be involved in, something you guys would be involved in. There could be a lot of smack talk around. I'll probably be doing most of that because the plan would be. That's going to be a tough one for us, by the way, as NFL Insider, because you know who I'm pulling for. But if they lose, I win that too. So I can't lose that week.
And we've all united around hating the Broncos based off
we
of
don't
Sean
like the
Payton.
Broncos. Yeah, that's exactly. And the Jets play the Broncos the next week, I believe. So then we can just quickly reunite as friends again.
That's really going to help.
Yeah.
Sean Payton saying all those things about Nathaniel Hackett's really going to help bridge over any trouble we have.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, there you go. Vinnie Pasquantino in studio with us. Coming up next, we get to the 11 o'clock hour. Let's talk about those wide receivers. So much attention have been on them throughout training camp. We got a glimpse on Sunday afternoon against New Orleans. One in particular we're going to talk about next here on Cody and Gold.
Cody and Gold on 610 Sports Radio and the Odyssey app.
You talk on the radio. Yeah. You're a fanboy.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Hey, it's Alex Gold from my friends at Midwest Marine Boat Company and Yamaha Motor. The summer weather isn't the only thing that's hot, we know that. Well, Midwest Marine Boat Company has sizzling prices on all 2023 models with the lowest prices of the year. It's not too late to enjoy your summer on the water and let Midwest Marine Boat Company show you how Yamaha Motor revs your heart. Come see Midwest Marine Boat Company's new massive showroom at 13800 South Highway 71 in Grandview now. Midwest Marine Boat Company. We take pride in your fun.
What makes for a great vacation? Depends on who you ask. Are you looking to get away or bring everyone together? Do you want to get outside and play or see a play at the plate? Fortunately, however you operate, I'm the destination you've been looking for. The name's Missouri, but you can call me Mo. And I have just one question. What's your MO? Come see me at visitmo.com.
You're always better with a roof from JR.
We've all seen them. As soon as the big storm comes through, the storm-chasing roofers show up. Don't be a victim twice. Call locally owned, veteran-owned JR & Company. No one protects your home and you like JR.
JR's there for you. You're always better with a roof from JR.
In fact, JR & Company can let you know if you even need to be worried about storm damage. Online, visit jrhailcheck.com. Plug in your address and we'll pull a storm report. If there's nothing on the report, we'll give you hassle-free peace of mind. And if it looks like you got hit, we can come out and do a free inspection and help with any insurance claim. We'll never try to sell you a roof you don't need. But if you do need a new roof,
you're always better with a roof from JR.
Go to jrhailcheck.com.
Tailgates in turkey? Yes, please. This season, score a touchdown with U.S. soy-fed turkey. Versatile, tasty, and truly different, turkey can be used for succulent sliders, killer kebabs, championship chili, or even brilliant burnt ends. You can get all the recipes and register for a chance to win the ultimate prize pack worth nearly $2,000, including a portable Traeger grill, Yeti cooler, Chiefs gear, and much more at tailgatewithturkey.com. You'll be the pride of the parking lot. Come on, KC, turn up your tailgate at tailgatewithturkey.com.
Hey guys, beat up from Fesco in the morning. Can you imagine losing 15% of your body fat?
Well, I've already lost 60 pounds in just 11 weeks. Slim for Life has made it possible and affordable by partnering with a prestigious compound pharmacy so you can take advantage of the new semaglutide medications that all the celebrities are taking for only $99 this month. On Slim for Life's medical plan, our medical professionals are with you every step of the way to help you achieve your weight loss goals with these life-changing new medications, the safest and most effective approach to achieving sustainable weight loss. It's time to look better and feel better just like me. Prove your health, have tons of energy. Now you can join the other 100,000 clients in Kansas City that said, I did it. I'm Slim for Life. Call 833-SLIM today to start your semaglutide meds for only $99 this month. And when you schedule your free consultation, you could win tickets to see our defending champions play on August 26th. Or hit them online at slim4life.com. Exclusive of products, shipping may apply. Tell them B-Dub from 610 Sports Radio sent you.
Hey, are your old windows letting all that good air conditioning out? Well, on those hot summer days, that cool air is escaping through your old leaky windows and the hot air is pouring in. You want to replace those old windows and keep the cool air inside your house this summer. We still got some time in the summer. You also need to prepare for the winter when the opposite is going to happen. That's why I'm here telling you about Window World, the official window of the Kansas City Chiefs. Window World's windows are one of 2 windows with the Good Housekeeping seal of approval, ranked number 1 in number of windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. Just over 20 years in business, they have improved the look and thermal efficiency. Over 52,000 homes in Kansas City. You get a lifetime warranty that covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor, because Window World uses a double-strength glass that gives it a strength that is not commonly used in replacement windows. Right now, they're offering 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. All you need to do is call them for a free home estimate. Replace your windows and keep the cool air inside your house this summer with Window World.
And now Martha Stewart for Skechers. When I make a dish or embark on a craft project, I always use the finest, most fabulous ingredients and materials. Which is why, when it comes to footwear, I love Skechers. Because Skechers is the comfort technology company and uses the most luxurious, innovative materials and designs to make wondrously comfortable footwear with all the fits and features like Arch Fit and Skechers' world-famous air-cooled memory foam. It's exactly the way I'd make shoes.
Find Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Staples has big savings on everything you need for back to school or stocking up the office. Save on signs, banners, and posters from Staples Print and Marketing Services. Save on everything you need for travel, like luggage, tech, and travel-sized personal items. Plus, save on all your school essentials, from notebooks to markers. Now at Staples, you can save even more with $20 back in rewards on your in-store purchase of $50 or more. Get everything for the office and the classroom for less at Staples. Ends 8/19. Redeemable in-store only. Rewards members only.
At Fisher Investments, our clients know we have their backs.
How do your clients know that?
Because Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, the highest standard for a financial advisor. It means we're there for our clients and always put their interests first.
So wait, you do it because you have to?
No, we do it because it's the right thing to do. Our clients trust us with their retirement savings, and we know how important that responsibility is. So we take the time to really get to know them.
Get to know them how?
We make sure we understand their unique goals, finances, health, family, and lifestyle so we can tailor their portfolio to their specific needs. Our goal is to help them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Sounds like a big responsibility. You must make big commissions then, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We have one single transparent fee that's structured so we do better when our clients do better. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you are switching to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios. Drop off new or used sports equipment at the Urban Youth Academy as part of the Let's Play Sports Equipment Drive presented by Pinnacle Bank. Thank you for all your support. 610 Sports Radio, KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty, always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is big dog, hit him with thick thumbs and a quick draw.
11 o'clock hour, Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tap with you. We'll get to the Chiefs right half hour in about a half hour from now, although I want to talk some Chiefs football. Again, thanks to Vinnie Pasquantino for joining us in studio, and we are excited that hopefully here in the next couple of weeks we'll be able to fill you guys in on something we're working on together. Looking forward to that around the Chiefs and Jets game, that Sunday night game, when the Chiefs head up to take on Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets, who knows, maybe the Jets are 3-0 at that point in time. If not, either way, it's going to be one of the bigger games on the schedule. Potentially, I think the Jets will be in the mix of the AFC top 3-4 team conversation, so it could be a huge game at the end of the year when we're talking about seeding, believe it or not.
Sorry, if anybody said, hey, I heard that Trash of the Day play in the middle of the break, that was me putting the camera back on
Nice
JT's
job.
side of things. So don't blame the intern. It wasn't him. It was definitely me leaning over. I didn't even get it plugged in. That's the worst part. I hit the button. I got out of the way so that they could stop the thing from playing. So I still need to technically plug in JT's camera. The thing that played in the break was me. Despite my limited access to the buttons, I managed to press one in the few times I shouldn't have.
We'll be back up at Chiefs training camp tomorrow when they resume practice in our training camp coverage on 610 Sports Radio, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. So much conversation has been about the wide receiver room throughout the offseason, throughout training camp. We got a glimpse of it on Sunday afternoon against New Orleans. And look, the ones only played a handful of snaps when Patrick Mahomes was out there. He threw 2 passes, and they both were to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Okay?
I did like his usage a little, I guess.
Well, yeah, we said that. Showcase Clyde all you want. Showcase him all you want. Set it up. Build his value up potentially for a late training camp, late preseason trade if somebody else wants to give you a conditional pick, a 6th rounder, something like that. No problem with them showcasing him. Throughout the game, you're waiting for that one bright spot in the wide receiver room. And the first person that stood out was Richie James. Richie James is somebody that I think when Kadarius Toney is out, and we don't know for sure if he's going to miss week 1, but let's say he does, to me, that's who takes over those type of routes. I understand that typically it's been Justin Watson and MVS and Sky Moore running with the ones, but Richie James to me is who can take the routes for Kadarius Toney. And we saw Richie James, 2 catches, 44 yards and a touchdown. The one really, really nice catch, tracked the ball well.
But he got way open on his touchdown. Great route.
3
threw
times.
the defense off. He was very open there.
3 times on that drive. He should have had a touchdown earlier on the drive. He was in Bouchel, or I guess, yeah, it would have been Bouchel, or was that Gabbert at that time? Gabbert, I guess.
I think it was Gabbert
and
on that drive, yeah.
He had no problem getting separation against that defense of New Orleans, which was a bright spot for Richie James. Route runner, finding space. Liked seeing that. That was the first wide receiver and a guy we've talked about in the offseason and what he could potentially do. I think that was a really good sign. And then later on, of course, everybody went nuts because Mr. Justin Ross got his touchdown,
man.
Which
hadn't played in an organized football game in like 3 years.
No, it's a great story. It's a great story because we all know how impressive he was when he was at Clemson, but has not been able to stay healthy and missed all of last season due to that. And you're just waiting and waiting. And he's been the fan favorite throughout the offseason, throughout training camp. And on Friday's show, we even said, look, he's going to probably get a touchdown here against New Orleans. So we're not surprised by it. But it was a nice route. He had 2 catches, 29 yards, and a touchdown.
On that touchdown pass, I think 3 people were already open, and I'm pretty sure a 4th was getting ready to be. So it's not like he was alone in that. That was a poor defensive plan by the Saints. Look, I don't want to be the hater on Justin Ross forever. It was a nice game for him. He had a nice touchdown.
Yeah.
That is a positive thing to see. I thought Remigio, which I guess I was pronouncing it wrong before based on the television broadcast, I thought he had a nice showing. Cornell Powell looked good.
Yeah, by the way,
this wasn't the story about Richie James was the only one of the wide receivers we're counting on who showed us anything. I don't know anymore about Rashee Rice or Sky Moore. Tony's not even on the field. Like, I feel like those are the players, those bottom-end roster, and some of those guys aren't going to make the team.
I actually thought Rashee Rice had some moments that stood out for a guy that we've talked, what's his role going to be? Is he going to just be a fill-in spot guy if a player or two gets hurt? Is he going to be a red zone guy for them, or is this a red shirt type of season? What impact can he have? Is he a 250-yard receiver this year? He made one particular catch in traffic, which is something he did well in college down at SMU, contested catches.
Like back shoulder throw that they started throwing last year to Juju Smith-Schuster.
But this was one where he was just in the middle of the field, and there were 2 bodies around. He knew he was going to get hit. He held on to the football. Yeah, he did have a drop on that same drive as well. But I thought Rashee Rice was maybe more impressive than I thought we would see in his first preseason game. I know Cornell Powell is a long shot to make the team, and we've gone over his story. You forget he's even on the roster at camp, but it's funny, though, because we react based off of touchdowns, and we react because Justin Ross's name has been the name everybody focuses on.
Sure.
That touchdown drive for Justin Ross, you can say I'm a hater. Cornell Powell was the better receiver on that drive. He was. He's not the better receiver, more athletic. But on that drive, Cornell Powell was the better receiver than Justin Ross. But
you got to do that to Justin Ross. He gets a touchdown, and you immediately got to knock it down?
He got all the attention, and everybody Cornell Powell was the more impressive receiver on that drive as a whole. That's all. Obviously, Justin Ross is going to be the one that makes the team probably as the 6th receiver. And Cornell Powell, I don't even know if they can put him on the practice squad anymore. He might be cut. But overall, I still look at that drive and I thought, man, nobody's talking about Cornell Powell. He was a more impressive receiver. It's not an ability thing for Justin Ross. It's not an ability thing for Justin Ross. That's not why when you and I have discussed, he's not going to do anything.
He hasn't played an organized football game in 3 years.
It's a target thing for me.
Yeah,
we talk like he's going to be the number 2 receiver. He's going to be like the 6th receiver on this team. So how much of an impact can he have? Cody, he might have got more snaps in this preseason game than he's going to get in the first 2 regular season games combined.
That's the other issue with like the people like, hey, let's talk about the game Cornell Powell had. Is like, well, he's had 4 years. This is year 4 now to make an impact on this team. And based on what you all are telling me, he's the 8th wide receiver. Where's his place on this roster? Look, he had a nice preseason game. He might find himself on a practice squad. You're right. If he can end up on one or if he takes the option. Essentially, remember, like some guys, you can't practice squad them unless they're cut and available to other teams and then end up back on your practice squad. So it might be that kind of situation for Powell. I'm glad he was there. Makes me feel like if there were wide receiver injuries and they had to pull someone up from the 16-man practice squad, he'd seem like a perfectly decent option, all things considered. But it's one preseason game, and because they only had the one offensive drive, I wanted to come out of this series and feel stronger about Rice or Moore or those, but they had a short drive. They threw it to Clyde a little bit, and that was it. So we didn't get a real good sense of where those guys are. Richie James looked the best of the group.
Yeah, 2 receivers I came out more impressed by that actually have a chance to factor in. So that's the issue with Remigio, just because, like, okay, he's a practice squad guy most likely for this team. So it was Richie James for obvious reasons. He was able to get open. He made the one catch where he tracked the ball beautifully. And then it was Rashee Rice. I actually think Rashee Rice had a nice game. I was impressed that one catch, as I brought up, contested in traffic.
Had a tackle on special teams, too, by the way. If you're ever just looking for, like,
so I would say
Toad's going to love those guys.
Those were the 2 that impressed me the most. I mean, Justin Ross got the touchdown. I get it. He's always going to get the headline. Just he's the camp darling right now, and that's going to continue. And it is a great story. To see him have a chance to make this team and have an impact after the injury history that he's had. But yeah, I felt better leaving the game about Richie James and Rashee Rice.
And I felt better about Justin Ross. He got on the field and he performed. I didn't even know he could do that, right? Again, they were pointing out on the broadcast correctly, so he hasn't played a football game in years. He got on the field, he got a couple of catches, he got a touchdown, he got open. Okay, great. All I care about. Someone on the text sounds like, y'all haters for Ross. Does something good in preseason. Alex didn't knock what he did. He just said somebody else did something better.
That's all I said. And again,
it's not an insult to compliment Cornell Powell.
I think I've been consistent on my thoughts around Justin Ross. It's not a ability thing. It is the noise around him. You would think he's competing for the number 3 wide receiver job. And I'm just telling you.
He's playing in the fourth quarter preseason game number 1.
Yes, and he's going to be the 6th receiver. So even if he is as talented as everybody claims he is, and I think we saw glimpses of it, yes, on Sunday afternoon in New Orleans, I don't know where the snaps are coming from. That's all I'm saying. So I don't want to talk about someone as much as we have that is going to barely get any snaps, may not even be active every game day. That's my issue with it. It has nothing to do with him individually and the talent level. Ideally, to me, he's someone that continues to impress to where next offseason when maybe you don't bring back Richie James, maybe you opt out of the final year of the MVS contract, and suddenly Justin Ross, you feel better about being the 3 or 4 next year. That's what I'm thinking long term. So I hope he continues to develop and stays healthy because to me, he's a long-term piece. This year, though, tell me how many snaps he's getting.
Where you're like, hey, if you really do prove you can be used every day, then we don't have to make some ancillary. We don't have to make the Richie James signing, right? Next year, when we're going into the offseason and we need a 1-year wide receiver, you're our 1-year wide receiver, not Richie James. We'll count on you. We won't go further down the depth chart. And if we need a big-named wide receiver, we'll either do that in the draft or we'll finally pony up the dollars, especially if they let Chris Jones become a free agent. And I don't have a better sense on that today as I did a couple days ago. It's about the same as where I was a couple of days ago. But then they can make those calls. You just want Justin Ross to let you question whether or not you needed to spend the money on depth overall. But you still want it. Outplaying the guys who make money and have proven something in this league is going to be tough, though. He can't jump Tony or MVS when they're on the field. It's when they're healthy. That's it. Those guys can't be jumped in the wide receiver. Richie James is going to be hard, not impossible, but hard. Like you're going to have to really prove some stuff in half of the amount of snaps as him, a quarter of the amount of snaps as him, some minuscule number. You're going to have to prove that. So it's like, at best, and then you're still going to have to jump Sky Moore. That seems impossible. And Rashee Rice, which is going to be easier, but still a challenge. So it's like just a lot of work to do.
And you mentioned Justin Watson. I mean, like,
yeah,
that's why they're going to keep
Justin
6 or 7.
probably the easiest guy to jump.
Yeah. Is there a surprise cut happening there? I don't know. I mean,
Rice?
based off of the contract that Justin Watson signed, guaranteed money, and the way they structured that, I don't think Justin Watson's a cut candidate. He's also been running as the third wide receiver all camp.
Yeah. I think that's just because they want to make sure that they've got that built-in trust, because to me, he is still their Kadarius Toney safety net. We saw when Mecole Hardman went down. Patrick just wanted one guy he could throw to who doesn't have to be the superior athlete, but he would just trust to be where he was supposed to be. And something tells me those few years Justin Watson was grinding it out down there with Tom Brady taught him to be where you're supposed to be on time. Like, so Justin Watson, not the best athlete, not the cleanest, he is not the cleanest player in the team. But Mahomes probably likes him for the same reason Brady would throw to him eventually, or the other guys would, which is you be where you were supposed to be and you can make this roster. I still think that if there was ever going to be a surprise cut because they fell in love with Justin Ross, it would have to be Richie James.
It can't be anymore.
It doesn't. Well, not after one preseason game, but I didn't think it was before.
That's why I said the only possibility would have been Justin Watson, but based off of how he's running with the ones and special teams and the contract. No, I think they might be able to get by with keeping 7 receivers because they can I think they'll put Jody Fortson on the IR. So that frees up a roster spot that we thought was going to be allotted to 4 tight ends. And I think they'll roll with 3 tight ends to start the season. They'll go with Blake Bell and Travis Kelce primarily and Noah Gray.
Yeah, it feels right. I mean, I assume they'll carry 7 to start, but eventually they'll have to make a decision based on how much you're using those guys. Again, they're not always 6 active wide receivers, 7 they're never going to activate 7. It's tight. It's just tight. It's a tight wide receiver room because it's not top end, right? We've talked about this before. There aren't 7 Randy Mosses and they're making a decision between. There's a lot of unproven, unknown talent. They are trying to get to know better. That's why this preseason, especially for the wide receivers, is so important. So far, early edge, Richie James. He looks like he showed the most in game 1, and like you mentioned, Rashee Rice also showed a little bit of something in there, but the other guys barely even played. So,
I actually was impressed by Shane Buechele, though. So we know that they didn't.
For years I've been saying get rid of the veteran quarterback.
They clearly don't feel there's enough experience in it. They brought in Blaine Gabbert. They want a veteran presence. We've seen Chad Henne be vital in the Chiefs Super Bowl runs based off of injuries in the postseason to Patrick Mahomes, even if it was for a drive in some cases or a half. Whatever it may be. And so I think, Andy wants somebody with some experience. But Shane Buechele was impressive. Not just the play where he looked like Patrick Mahomes there a little bit and the scramble drill. But I thought that was a nice showing, again, for a quarterback that they clearly like enough where they continue to hold him onto the roster. Remember, at one point he was the practice squad. They had to call him up last year, the year before.
53 because someone's going to claim him.
The Cardinals, I think, were the team that was going to claim him or something like that. So they clearly think there's something there. And he flashed a little bit. That was nice to see from Buechele.
I hope it's one final year of the vet quarterback backup and Buechele can just be the permanent. Just make one guy the permanent backup. Doesn't it seem like the Jim Sorgi method is the method? I think their problem is, why it's really hard in Kansas City to talk about it, is in 2 different Super Bowl winning playoffs. They needed somebody to actually do something. They needed Chad Henne to throw a ball to Tyreek Hill to close a game out, and they could have still won that game. And they needed, of all things, Henne to go 98 yards on a touchdown drive to end the half as well. And they could have still won that game too. They're not guaranteed to lose those games. Both of the backup quarterbacks help them win. And if you're Andy Reid and you're looking at the depth chart and you're like, what happens if one of these guys has to play for 5 seconds? I get it. It's kind of hard to talk yourself into the other. I understand.
Coming up in 10 minutes, we'll get to the Chiefs' red half hour. We'll talk more on the defensive side. The young rookie defensive end who joined us last week on the show, Felix Anudike-Uzomah, what he showed overall. And we'll talk more about the tight ends. But we've been telling you guys, it's been in the works for weeks, if not a month or so. We've had a few people asking on the text line. They said, hey, when's your new producer start? When does he actually arrive? Well, he is here. He's still training this week. But Drew Nixon, that's our new producer. Welcome, Drew, to the show. Drew Nixon's going to be our producer.
I thought you were going to clap for a second, like you were going to do a round of applause.
I mean, you want to clap?
You moved your hands together. I thought you were going to clap.
No, just my hands are like this. Yeah.
I was like, oh, wait, are we clapping?
No claps.
Okay.
No. Unless you wanted to.
I don't need a round of applause, guys. It's okay.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Drew,
nice,
so
Drew.
welcome to KC, man. We're excited to have you part of the show.
I'm pumped up to be here. I'm very, very excited and can't wait to really get stuck in with you guys and look forward to everything with the season, with hopefully years to come.
I think the thing people have hitched to is the fact that you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan.
right.
Would you like to apologize for that now or like later? Because this is going to come up. We know that we can't avoid it. That seems to be the thing they've latched onto the most on social media.
I am not going to apologize for it, but I'm not going to go on here and say that Patrick Mahomes is terrible. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL.
There you go.
I
That's
heard
a
it
good
from
start.
a Bengals fan.
Look, Joe Burrow's the second best quarterback in the NFL.
1A, 1B.
Look, this is the rivalry in sports now, and it's the best
So we're
one
gonna
going.
add to it
It's the
by
best one
putting a
going.
producer?
So we went out and we said we got to get a Cincinnati Bengals fan as our producer. That was the number one priority in our search was no. We're excited though, man. I know you're getting settled to KC. People can. What's your Twitter handle again?
Twitter handle is @DREWNIX, DEEREWNIX.
Okay. People can give you a follow. Give them some advice. We're obviously trying to help them out as well for.
I've already had people
KC,
trying to
where
flip
go.
me to a Chiefs fan. People are like, "Hey, welcome to KC, but you have to cheer for the red and gold."
What are you going to get? Sunday ticket? How are you going to handle this dual responsibility?
See that's the tough thing because I have YouTube TV, but it's still a hefty. I wish that Sunday ticket would be great if they did single teams like with what they do with
MLB
and NBA. If they did single team and I had to pay $150, I would totally do it.
Now you're not from Cincy though, right? You're
Correct.
from Indianapolis.
Correct.
How the hell do you end up a Bengals fan if you're from Indy?
That is my question as well.
It is the traditional. You're a little kid. Your favorite animal's a tiger, and the helmet that the Bengals have is the best helmet in all of football. And I like the Tigers, and I'm going to cheer for the Bengals. And it stuck from age probably 3 till now. So
what fan does your family cheer for? Are they Colts fans?
It's a mix with my parents. So my dad,
Vinny's family.
So
Vinny's got, just so you know, Vinnie Pasquantino's just in. He is a Jets fan. His dad is a Dolphins. His mom's a Dolphins fan, and his dad's like it's all over the place. Nobody cheers for the same two teams.
Yeah, I don't think it's not that way with us either. So my mom is a Colts fan. My dad grew up in Jersey, but he went to college in Texas and is a Houston sports fan. Period. And point blank, he loves the Astros. He liked the Houston Oilers. Moved to Tennessee, stuck with them. My brother's a Packers fan. So yeah, we're kind of all over the place.
No consistency.
I'll at least give you credit. You've been a Cincy fan since you were 3, so it's not like you jumped on here recently just because Joe Burrow arrived and they're actually competitive.
There
and
were
good.
times that I almost jumped off the bandwagon, but I stuck with them. So
okay, I mean I'll give you credit there. Yeah, that's right. When you stick with the fandom early, it's like you got to kind of give a pass.
We'll get a list together. We'll obviously help, but people can text in some places that you need to check out in KC because you've only been in town for like a week, right? You guys finally you and your wife just got settled in. A little
yeah,
bit.
finally we got settled in and we've driven around and explored a little bit. Haven't tried any local places like that yet, local spots.
So wait, you're the youngest member of the show now.
He is,
and you're still the only single one. He's
married. Yeah.
Wife.
He's married. Yeah.
All right, we gotta really ramp up your dating scene this fall. You can't always just be the only single guy on the show.
Why?
You know what? Take it back. Our first producer was single.
Yeah.
My wife,
I was playing with the same handicap.
My wife asked like the status of everybody, and I was like, Alex is single, and she goes, oh, so he's probably just raking it in then for himself. he doesn't have to provide. He doesn't have to provide.
Yeah, we got massive contracts in salaries.
Well, in fairness, it's got to be easier to not. Kids are expensive. I got the bill for my kid's dance class, and I was like, I guess maybe I need a part-time job. Do I need to like pick up some night hours
the
somewhere?
kids part for sure. But if you're married and you don't have kids, you got 2 incomes. So then that's actually better. Now, once you add kids, it's way more complicated financially.
It depends on how expensive of a significant other they are, you know?
True.
Which is where, when your wife is in retail, it's you have to manage the money a little bit more.
Right.
Like I was saying to you guys, there'll be times when she comes home with a bag and hey, she will literally sometimes she'll hide the bag in the car and then she'll bring it in and I'll notice it. Like, did you pick something up today?
Hey,
yeah, I did.
This is the first time we can actually help Drew on this show. They just moved to town. He said his wife works in retail. She does not have a job yet. She is still seeking employment.
Yes.
So if you have any lines, 913-586-7610. So if you let us know on the text line, someone who is hiring, I still have Cody and Gold t-shirts. If you get his wife a job, You can have a Cody and Gold t-shirt. It's the best I can offer you. Maybe I can get you some trade from downstairs. I don't have a lot of bribes. I'll get you a Guillotine League spot.
We do have some spots left at the Guillotine League.
I can't give you a bunch, but I can offer a few of these concessions.
So we'll start integrating Drew into the show more and more. He's doing some more training still this week, but now we're excited to have we haven't had a producer in well
2
over
months?
a month. We appreciate our interns have been awesome. Seriously though, our interns have been fantastic. JT and Quinn have been great. But it will be nice to have Drew as our full-time producer going forward. We'll get to know him with you guys as well. We obviously just met him in the last couple days as well. So he just got into town, but we're excited.
It's the first time I've seen him in person. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I met him real quick last week, but yeah, that was it, man. We'll have to figure it out. I'll tell you some of the spots to go to, and we'll figure out your college allegiance as well. You have no ties yet, but we'll work on that. There's something you need to know about each of the 3 local fan bases, and you can pick at some point on the show. Maybe right before college football weekend, you're gonna have to pick a side a little bit.
Really,
you're gonna
you
have
should just
to
take
pick
the
a fan
K-State
base.
side because you've accused me multiple times of being a Missouri fan because I went to the University of Missouri, Kansas City.
Well, we have to find his priorities. Are you wanting to join just for football success? Are you wanting all sports? Are you wanting the more arrogant fan base? Are you wanting the really sensitive fan base? Are you wanting the fan base that never wins at anything? You got to pick, and everybody can decide
He's
which
a
one's
Bengals
on.
fan. He's probably used to he should be a Missouri fan. No titles, no championships, nothing to speak for, right? You fit right, and they're Tigers.
Plus.
Really? He's got to be Missouri.
One of my good friends from high school played football at Mizzou. So
he might already have a tie
I
there.
think that there actually could be some.
Hey, and they're a Tiger, Drew. They're a Tiger.
That's true.
I'm a Mizzou fan, so I'm gonna bring him in on my side.
There you go. All right, coming up next, though, we'll get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Let's talk about Felix and Udike Uzomah, what he showed against New Orleans, and what this defensive line looked like yesterday.
Cody and Gold.
The Disgusting Brothers.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Okay, I'm ready to record my jewelry store's new radio spot. We got a great script that really goes after Diamonds Direct and how they're nothing special, and how we can match their price. Great stuff. Yeah.
Great. And we have this new technology that bleeps out any false claims, so it saves us time with editing. So you can start anytime.
Okay, here it goes. When you visit our jewelry store, we'll absolutely guarantee direct. Our diamonds come straight from the mine. We have cutters and Hey, what the
The hard truth is that other jewelry stores simply can't do what Diamonds Direct can. Diamonds Direct has special relationships with De Beers, international connections, and virtually unlimited buying power. The result is true direct importer pricing, exceptional quality, and up to 30 times the diamond selection you find at other stores.
I can't believe this thing won't let me say
Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get more truth at diamondsdirect.com.
Dick Ray, he's your plumbing magician. Dick Ray, he's a man on a mission. When your pipes are leaking, your bathroom's flooding, and you're feeling kind of blue, there's a master plumber who knows just what to do. He's there for you, and he'll do it all with skill and precision. Dick Ray, he's your plumbing magician.
This month, Dick Ray will clean any drain for $79.
Dispatch, this is Mindy at Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Coming to terms with a dying AC unit is tough. If you need to replace your AC, visit missionphc.com to schedule your free estimate. Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. License 202909. Terms and conditions apply.
Luke Combs here, and I have an exclusive opportunity for you to win $500,000 with the Living Lucky with Luke Combs Lottery Experience. Join me in Nashville for a private concert at the iconic Ryman Auditorium. One lucky winner will win $500,000 at the end of the show. Y'all feeling lucky? Enter today.
Enter your Living Lucky with Luke Combs Scratchers tickets at molottery.com for a chance to win a private concert experience and a chance at $500,000. Play it forward with the Missouri Lottery and play responsibly.
The baseball season is heading into the backstretch. Get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Go to FanDuel.com/610Bob to join today. Don't miss your chance to get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 when you join FanDuel today. Just go to FanDuel.com/610Bob to sign up. FanDuel, official partner of Major League Baseball and 610 Sports Radio. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get wings the way you want them. Try Twin Peaks wings bone-in breaded, naked, smoked and grilled, or boneless in your favorite sauce or rub.
Tailgates and turkey? Yes, please. This season, score a touchdown with U.S. soy-fed turkey. Versatile, tasty, and truly different, turkey is always a winner. You can get all the recipes and register for a chance to win the ultimate prize pack at tailgatewithturkey.com. You'll be the pride of the parking lot.
Dick Ray, he's your plumbing magician. Dick Ray, he's a man on a mission. When your pipes are leaking, your bathroom's flooding, and you're feeling kind of blue, there's a master plumber who knows just what to do. He's there for you, and he'll do it all with skill and precision. Dick Ray, he's your plumbing magician.
This month, Dick Ray will clean any drain for $79.
Staples presents a lesson in back-to-school savings. Your local Staples now accepts Amazon returns. So when you return your Amazon order at Staples, you receive a coupon for $10 off your next $30 Staples purchase. So you can save even more on top of huge back-to-school deals. Like right now, 2 pocket poly folders and Staples 8-count number 2 pencils are each just 50 cents. Staples gives you more ways to save even more. 50-cent offers end 8/26. Pricing and limits may vary in-store and online. Amazon return offer in-store only. Exclusions apply.
Not all water heaters are made equally. Some can be temperamental. Some can be unreliable and don't even think about what happens if you have neighbors downstairs.
Why is it raining inside my apartment?
Not with a Navien tankless water heater. You'll never run out of hot water. You only heat water when you need it, saving you tons in utility costs. Navien tankless water heaters. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com to learn more.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs that will significantly reduce the amount you owe if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief has helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. For this free information, call 800-786-3400. That's 800-786-3400.
Switch to My Plan from Verizon and get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV on us with eligible phone purchase and Unlimited Plus. A value of up to $449. Head to Verizon today. $449 value applies to NFL Sunday Ticket season 23-24 only. Additional terms and embargoes apply to NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube. No refund.
Sunny, humid, and nice with a high today of 79.
Weather brought to you by Total Wine & More. At Total Wine & More, save big on what you love this month with hundreds of deals on amazing wines and spirits. Love what you find at the lowest prices only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
This report is brought to you by KC Customs. We put the customs in KC. KC-Customs.com.
Want a new truck, Jeep, or SUV, but don't want a new payment? Then come by KC Customs. We'll turn your boring ride into one that turns heads and breaks necks. Set yourself apart from the crowd. Go to KC Customs. We put the customs in KC.
Chiefs Red Half Hour, every day at 11:30 on Cody and Gold.
All right, it is the Chiefs Red Half Hour brought to you by Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. One other thing, we now, with our new producer, Drew, coming up for 610 Day on August 29th, we're going to be out at Kauffman Stadium. Someone's throwing out the first pitch. Somebody's going to, I think, do the ball delivery. And there's the hot dog derby race.
Which you missed the last time.
I missed. I had COVID right before it. I was a late scratch. I believe, unconfirmed, all three of us are doing the hot dog derby race.
Wait, what makes you think that?
I'm 90% sure. So I believe it'll be you, me, and our new producer, Drew, doing the hot dog derby race. He's the youngest on the show. I think you and I are in trouble. I think we're going to lose. The question is you and I trying to not finish last, I think, is where we're at. I think Drew's got the, if we're doing odds to
the
win.
favorite.
Yeah, he's
having know nothing about him other than He looks in better shape than both of us and is younger.
Yeah, you're at least 6 years younger than us, and maybe 10 years in Cody's case.
Drew, how old are you?
27.
27. 5 years younger than you.
5 years younger than me, and you're...
I'm about to be 39.
Okay.
Really, JT?
Our intern in the background.
Really?
Says,
Holy smoke, that's what I deserve for
17 years younger
I just want ketchup.
older than me?
Give me ketchup. Let me be
young,
ketchup.
You know? I look younger than 39.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Let me be ketchup in the hot dog derby. And
I
then,
don't really care.
And we'll go. So August 29th.
People are mad at me for disappointing mustard. Should I just put on a different condiment? Nobody cares if relish loses.
The real reason you brought Drew was because you didn't want me in the hot dog race. Is that what it was?
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly right. So you better be ready, Drew. You better start stretching, start training, whatever you got to do.
I definitely need to stretch.
I do have a
hot
mustard shirt still. So
go be mustard. Drew can be relish then.
We're just assigning him relish?
Why not? Let's do it.
Okay. Do you still have your ketchup shirt?
I never got a ketchup shirt.
Oh, that's right. We made that for Pete.
Yeah, I was a late scratch last year. I was supposed to. There was Pete cheated last year, so he's been banned from the hot dog derby. He got off to a way too quick of a start ahead of the sounder, the buzzer.
Has he also been banned from the Guillotine League because he let me shadow
Sorry,
run his
Pete.
team?
He knows.
Guy's
He knows.
banned from so many things at this station.
He knows at this point, yeah. Unfortunately. Thinking of Guillotine League, we'll give you another chance to qualify for the Guillotine League this segment. You want to be listening, you'll need a text in. Not yet. We'll tell you when. We've got a couple more spots still in the Guillotine League to give away as we get closer and closer to the start of the season. Our Cody and Gold Guillotine League, 913-586-7610. We talked on the offensive side of the ball, but not as much defensively with what we saw from the Chiefs yesterday. Limited action for the ones, but that meant a lot of reps for Felix and Udike Uzama. He joined us last week on the show, and it was an opportunity for him to get some more reps. And there was some good moments and some bad moments. There was one where he got knocked on his feet once, I saw. But after that, you started to see him get a little more pressure as he was going up against twos and sometimes threes. That was a good sign, I think, from, again, the continued progression, which is going to, I think, take, much like Karlaftis, at least half the season to where maybe in a regular season game he's having the strong impact. But I thought maybe he, in that game, showed that he was ahead of where we thought he was entering it.
By my count, he got 2 or 3 pressures, including the pressure on the interception. So for what that's worth, the interception is made plausible by a rushed throw because Felix and Udike Uzama got there. I was impressed. I thought he showed up more on tape than I was anticipating for a guy who hadn't really got to be a part of the off-season training plan. You can look at this from 2 ways. Normally, people who lead your snaps in preseason games are not expected to be regular factors when regular season games start. But I assume that they were doing this because they were trying to play catch-up. He didn't get all the regular offseason stuff. They wanted to get a better view of him. Nobody played more snaps on defense yesterday than him. Gold, he played the most snaps of anyone on defense. So we should notice him more because there's a bunch of other players not playing and a defense didn't do well. I think he looked a lot more comfortable than I was anticipating. But you're right. He was doing it against second and third string players. So we don't have the full version of that yet. And really, when it comes to offensive line, unless somebody gets hurt, this isn't like offensive linemen go against first and second string defensive linemen, but you pretty much are always going against first string offensive linemen, right? The starters, as it were, until injuries start occurring. I thought of all the players on defense, I was impressed with what I saw from them.
That athleticism kind of flashed at times from him, which is what you wanted to see too.
He's a little skinnier than I thought we saw him in person.
Is he raw? Yeah. But you can see the athleticism. They just got to build out his game, right? And obviously he also will get eventually stronger and bigger as he gets into this league in the next year or two. But yeah, it was promising to see that. Otherwise, defensively, anybody else that stood out? You had Connor come up with a sack, which was nice.
Jamari Connor, especially because LeJerry Sneed still can't get on the field. It's like, who's the other defensive back they're going to blitz? I guess I like that he made some impact there a little bit.
And then if you just want defensive line depth, now this is further down the depth chart, but somebody certainly that can maybe come in and out of where Derek Notty's going to be, and that is Danny Shelton. Danny Shelton, hard to stop that big guy.
Is he actually going to be on the field? I saw a sack, but
he's going to make the team. Yeah,
you think so?
I think he'll make the team.
Remember, he didn't make it last year,
right?
right?
I know, but I think he'll make the team this year.
He's just hovering around.
Daniel Wise got the start of defensive tackle. The kid out of KU, out of Kansas, he got the start with Chris Jones being out. Got a couple snaps early on. He's been running with the ones at the defensive tackle spot. Remember, the reason why I think Shelton makes the team, even though he can't play outside, he's just an interior guy. But yeah, he's someone I think makes the team because of the 6-game suspension with Charles Menahue right now.
I think one thing that
haven't brought in another veteran either, Cody.
I think one thing that still stands out about Felix is I think he moves a little bit faster than Karlaftis, but he's also quite a bit skinnier. And when you start like having both of them had sat at our table this year at training camp for interviews, Felix is smaller, not maybe shorter, but like just he looks more slender than Karlaftis. Karlaftis is kind of a bigger body, shove you over. And so I want to make sure that Felix can stay healthy for an entire year, make sure that he's got the physical strength to beat people that way too. But that was Karlaftis' issue. He had the one move for a while. He was going to have to develop a second move, third move, so he can get there. If Felix is a speed rush guy, you can do that occasionally coming off the bench, but you're going to need to show more. Defensively, the bigger concern was what we talked about at the beginning of the show, which is just, they had no pass rush. I like that multiple guys, not just Connor, they had multiple guys from the secondary who showed some blitz ability inside of the scheme, which I put a lot of credit on Spags on. But that also meant in a preseason game, they felt the need to blitz to make sure that
I think they wanted it on tape. I think they wanted to get some tape. That's why Spags chose to blitz and not just go with pretty basic stuff. I think they wanted to get some of that on tape. And today when they have no practice and just kind of start going through and actually having some game film to look at versus practice, I think that was by design, which is why, if you're looking elsewhere and what their decision making was on that 4th and 1, the short yardage situation. I think in a normal game, whether they go for it on that 4th down, who knows? I think the answer hopefully would be yes. But would they have necessarily run that same play? I think they wanted to get that also on film again because that's something that they can't replicate in practice because they really know it's coming. Like if you're the Chiefs defense on that, although I still think everybody knows it's coming and other teams can get the tush push to work, the Chiefs can't do it. They've
don't
struggled.
try it.
That play, Andy.
They do like gimmicky like handoff. They don't just let Blake Bell stand under the center and then shove his ass.
That's why it's not the same. I had someone on social media said, hey, you said that it was predictable. It's predictable for the Eagles and it works all the time. Well, the difference is they're just pushing Jalen Hurts right off the bat.
There's no mystery. Everybody knows what they're doing.
But with this, Blake Bell's not under center like you were saying. He's motioning over and then going. So it makes it more obvious and it's just different. He also just went the wrong way. It looked like there was actually an opening on the left.
But here's the question I have for this, which remains the same question I have for the Chiefs in short yardage, just generally speaking. I understand you do not want to take Patrick Mahomes off the field, but if you refuse to let him QB sneak it at a time where there is a massive advantage from a game plan perspective, from an execution perspective, it really does have like an 87% success rate. No play you have in the book has that kind of success rate. Not a single one. Why wouldn't you just train Gabbert to do it? What I can't understand is like in the short yardage stuff, why can't Blake Bell or Blaine Gabbert just be trained to do that specific thing? And you'd be like, well, then they know. No one cares.
Yeah, it works when it's under
fine
center.
That they know.
I think
if it's under center and he's standing there, the league can't stop it.
I'd rather be with Blaine Gabbert because you trust that he can get the snap from Creed successfully and no fumble. The last thing you want to do is Blake Bell, and I understand Blake Bell used to play quarterback in college. I'm talking about now in the NFL. That was a long time ago for Blake Bell at this point. But Blaine Gabbert is somebody that you know is going to have the exchange with the center cleanly. So, yeah, I would be good with that. Yes, everybody would know. Also, you'd probably run it fake one. Like, you'd also would have in your back pocket one time where the quarterback's actually under center and you can actually play action and see if you can't make something and surprise the defense. Like, versus Blake Bell, you're not going to run play action with Blake Bell. So
but those kind of things aren't going to be a 40-yard pass down the field. It's going to be a swing pass. Gabbert can handle that. If for the occasional time you want to actually run something sneaky, but that's the thing, you don't have to. You know that the Eagles don't run a bunch of, like, creative stuff off of it, right? They just run it 50 times the same way every time. And it works because there is no good, legitimate defense against it. It's especially odd because the Chiefs' strength from an offensive line perspective is in the center. They have an all-pro caliber center, an all-pro caliber left guard, and a Pro Bowl caliber right guard.
I'm with you. I think on that particular play, though, I honestly think Blake Bell went the wrong direction. I think if he goes left, they get the first down. It's not a problem.
But my question is, if you run motion like that with Blake Bell, will he be successful 88% of the time? And my answer is no. It's just not. There's too much motion. There's more that can go wrong. The more you add to it, the more that can go wrong.
Text line's right. This is actually where Danny Shelton can make the team as well. Just go ahead.
Let him do it.
I mean, the person pushing him from behind is not going to do anything. That's the only problem. I mean, he's got to just do it himself. I don't think
I don't care who it is.
I don't think Isaiah Pacheco's moving Danny Shelton much if he's the one pushing from behind there. I don't think that's going to help. But yeah, I mean, seriously, it has to be fixed. This is not just about what happened yesterday. This goes back to last year and the concerns on the short yards. It's not just because we saw it against a New Orleans team in a preseason. And did New Orleans know it was coming more than any other team? Yes, because Colin Saunders was on the other side, so he was pointing multiple things out throughout his time on the field. So Colin Saunders really enjoyed playing the Chiefs because he even admitted after the game, I was kind of cheating a little bit because he knew everything the Chiefs were going to try to do during that preseason game. Small sample size with that, but the short yardage situation is not a small sample size. That goes back to last year.
No, we have years and years and years of history where it's like their only flaw offensively is that, and this goes back to when Andy gets it right, nobody says anything when the short yardage play is goofy and silly and works. Nobody says anything, but then when it goes wrong, he's too cute. And when is he too cute? It's just when it's inches, like when it's inside of a foot or two, there's no justification to not just accept what the rest of the league is doing. Andy is smarter than most teams in the league. But this is, the statistical fact of how often it is successful versus your success, which, by the way, they ranked in the bottom 5 again last year in success rate in 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1 or shorter. They are consistently one of the lower performing teams in that regard. It's hard to make a justification to say, oh, we'll still figure it out our way. Like, nah, I don't care. It doesn't have to be Mahomes. You don't want it to be him. It should just be Mahomes, by the way.
I know, we've talked about that. That's just not going to happen. It's just not going to be Mahomes under center doing that. We know by now. Blake Bell's a terrific blocker. He got hurt last year, and they missed him. So that's his main role for this team as a tight end, can block a little bit. But also, if he's got to be able to execute that play properly if you're going to run it. You can't have in a regular season game the wrong decision making there. But I don't think they don't trust him under center to get the clean exchange, and that's why they have to motion him over the way they've done it.
Sorry, I was just realizing Prime just announced that they greenlit a documentary called Kelsey, a documentary that falls around Jason Kelsey for this entire season. Premieres on September 12th on Prime Video.
Now, will Chiefs fans watch it? Because now, here, be honest, it's a smart idea. He's got a great personality, but will you care? As much as we know they're connected and the New Heights show and all that brings it, but do I want to watch a documentary about a center named Jason Kelsey?
Here's the thing. Chiefs fans might watch some of it because I assume that there will be some family interaction with his brother. Phone calls, them doing the podcast. I think that there will be a Travis element to it.
Although it follows him through the season.
I know.
They're not hanging out during the season.
No, but they do podcasts during the season.
So, yeah, but I can watch the podcast.
Sure. No, I understand. I'm just saying, if you like the behind-the-scenes stuff, I think some of that might exist inside of that realm. Look, I'm not telling you that I'm going to pay attention to it every single week. That's probably the case. My guess is that it'll be a highlight show for me. Gold, right? We'll just wait for the thing to show up on social media and then come in there. But good for Jason Kelsey. Being a center and being marketable enough as a center to get an entire documentary following you around for what might be your final NFL season, kudos. That's a hell of a marketing team, and you've got to be one of the most interesting personalities to play that position and get this level of attention.
Oh, the personality is not even an issue. I mean, we saw his Super Bowl parade speech a couple years ago with what Jason Kelsey did. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, we talked about it compared to
Travis.
And
the podcast is wildly successful and all that. So, yeah, that's cool. I mean, maybe I'll check out one episode. It doesn't move the needle much for me. Another team, a documentary about another player just on, imagine if instead of quarterback, it was just Mahomes. I'd watch it, but would you, as an Eagles fan, want to watch a documentary just on Mahomes? This is on just a center, so it's a little tough for me.
Let's just do a whole series called Centers. They follow around 3 centers in the NFL.
Yeah.
Talk about, standing there while because it's just such an unglamorous position, It just is. But he's a likable figure, like we said, and his personality is good. That's why the podcast has been so successful. But good for Jason Kelsey, that's all. Just noticed that he was going to get an entire documentary.
And they called it Kelsey, so when he retires, they can just shift it to Travis. And just keep the same name.
Or just keep calling it Kelsey, but now you get a different one.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, just you don't have to do anything differently.
Could you imagine if season 2 of Kelsey is just Travis? That feels like that might be what happens.
I think there's a chance that's exactly the path they're headed on.
Just season 2 will be Travis instead?
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
I don't know these production companies at the end of them. Is one of the Patrick Mahomes one? Produced by 9.14 Pictures,
I doubt
Zero
Mahomes'
Y
production
Productions,
company.
and NFL Films.
I doubt Mahomes' production company's involved in a Jason Kelsey doc at this point. I was expecting Peyton Manning's name to be attached to it. That guy's doing everything these days.
Yeah, we can talk about that in what's trending. He's got a whole nother gig lined up.
Staying busy.
Yeah. You know what? It's got to be just the amount of money and the boredom that comes with it. Don't you think? Don't you think it's just you're bored? So you just do these things?
Thinking of movies and documentaries, did you see the latest that's come out? Do you ever see the movie The Blind Side? The Michael Orr story and all that?
Shocking? No.
Okay. So I did. And it's with Sandra Bullock. Anyway, now there's an update. Former NFL player Michael Orr, subject of The Blind Side, petitioned to court Monday with allegations that Sean and Lee Toohey, that's the family that adopted him, he says they never adopted him. Instead, tricked him into signing a document, making them his conservators and enriching themselves. So he alleges that they...
Wait, so the whole movie The Blind Side's a lie?
He's alleging that the whole thing was all BS. What a mess.
So they had he had the Britney Spears situation, right? They were a conservator of his entire estate. Well, don't you remember all the stuff that came out with the free Britney stuff? It was like her sister's out here buying multi-million-dollar homes with her cash and stuff. Like, well, that ain't great. So that doesn't. Oh man.
Text line. I guess he was blindsided. Well.
God. Ugh. Well, that's horrifying, man. That's really bad. And
if it's true, it's terrible. Yeah. If
well,
that's actually what happened.
Why would he be lying about it?
I don't know, but just now coming out, so people are skeptical. That's all.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I get it. The whole movie got produced and stuff, and then the lie probably got big enough that you're like, what am I supposed to do? Shut this whole thing down? This whole thing down? Seems kind of hard at that point. I never did see that movie. I guess now I won't. It's fictional. I'm going to watch this fictional movie. One guy that stood out to me in the game, by the way, I know we're going to talk more about the defense and some of the other stuff we saw. Noah Gray. There was one play in particular that gave me a little bit more hope for this season. I know that we don't want to get hooked into let's take one preseason game and extrapolate it out to the season. But you know that Pete's been very high. Pete Sweeney, our Chiefs insider from Arrowhead Pride, has been very into Noah Gray's potential season. And I've told you that I'm also very optimistic that Noah Gray can take a little bit off of Travis Kelce's plate just to make sure that the health and the energy and all these things stay up. But also because I saw him develop from year 1 to year 2. Normally when you see that, you start asking the question about whether or not they can get better from year 2 to year 3. The play near the goal line looked exactly like the route they run for Travis Kelce 1,000 times in a row. And they wanted to find out whether or not their other system things play in directly for him. And it worked exactly like that. He got down to the 1. It eventually led to the Justin Ross touchdown, I think is the one that it eventually led to.
No, it would have been the
Justin Ross.
Would have been the
Richie James touchdown.
I think,
so it gets down to the 2-yard line. But I watched that for a second. I'm like, maybe they will, because they've got to use Noah Gray a little bit like they use Travis in order for him to work as a second tight end. Well, they can't have two different jobs. You just need to be able to roll in Noah Gray and use him like Kelce.
You know my feeling on Kelce and longevity and can he play at this level and how many more years he's going to play. I think after he acknowledged last year he was more beat up than he ever had been in his career, even though he didn't miss any games. I do think knowing you're a team that's going to play in at least 18, 19, maybe 20 games every single year because of your postseason success, you need to make sure he stays healthy. And so how do you do that? I think you can get that target share a little bit towards others, but you have to have that other option that you feel confident in, to your point. And yeah, that's to me, in the scenario of Noah Gray taking a leap forward, that's to me how it happens. It's not that Travis isn't going to still have a huge year and be 1,000.
Just give him 5% less workload.
Yeah, a little bit less targets maybe this year, a few less snaps. You feel confident somebody else. Keep Travis fresh for the late games in the season, playoffs, potentially a Super Bowl. Noah Gray last year in Kansas City, 34 targets, just short of 300 yards. Basically had 300 yards, 299. So 28 receptions, 299 yards, and a touchdown in 17 games. I don't think it's crazy to think that can't get to like 4 to 450. And even that, if you told me his targets go from 34 to 40-something, that still is, I think, beneficial for the Chiefs and Travis Kelce and his longevity, trying to make sure he's healthy.
Well, you kind of want in the long run, you want to, I don't know if Noah Gray's ever going to get an extension or anything crazy, but you do kind of want this feeling that if Travis Kelce, let's say he's gone in 3 years, Gold. Let's say his production, his podcast, all this stuff, and he's ready to hang him up too. But if he's gone in 3 years and Noah Gray's got a couple years left, you would kind of like to know if you've got a guy that you at least safety net it. A couple of tight ends put together can't equal one Travis Kelce, but maybe you can be like every other team in the NFL as it relates to tight end, which is 600 yards, 650 yards, a good tight end in the NFL. Cole Kmet makes almost as much as Travis Kelce. Got like 550 or 600 yards last year. That's just the way the position works across the board. I just felt like I'm not saying he took some huge leap, but he did get better from year 1 to year 2. He was kind of a non-factor in year 1. He didn't get on the field much. 300 yards is not a huge number, but it's about what Justin Watson did last year, a player we talked about having, some consistency with Mahomes. I think there's a pretty good chance that Noah Gray goes from 300 to like 4 or 450 yards this year. And to me, that is really good progression out of your second tight end. Some teams don't have a 400-yard tight end they trust. That would indicate to me that if something were to happen to Kelsey, you'd still be screwed, but at least a little bit less so than I would have thought 2 years ago, if that makes sense.
And remember, right now, Jody Fortson hasn't been practicing in weeks, dealing with the shoulder injury. You and I both think there's a very good chance he ends up on IR before the start of the season. It's how maybe they keep an extra wide receiver, unfortunately for Jody Fortson. So, yeah, I mean, if you're talking about other guys that can step up, really the only other receiving tight end option is going to be Noah Gray, because even the red zone threat of Jody Fortson may not be there early in the season, if at all. And that's a minimal threat to begin with because of the amount of snaps are limited for him. So, yeah, Noah Gray is going to be a factor. The question is just how much of a leap forward can he take? That's the Chiefs Red Half Hour here on Cody and Gold, brought to you by Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Up next, we'll get to what's trending in the number ones yesterday. Not much to take out of it. There's one thing in particular that did stand out, though, with Spags. We'll tell you what that is next.
Cody and Gold.
The facts on this show are irrelevant.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
When you have asphalt and concrete needs, there's only one company in Kansas City you need to call. That's Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Look, they're one contractor, all things parking lot. It doesn't matter which things you need. Asphalt paving services, those maintenance solutions, or even major concrete work, Gann Asphalt and Concrete can take care of it for you. Go to their website for yourself and take a look, GANNasphalt.com, or give them a call, 816-354-1214.
Tailgates in turkey? Yes, please. This season, score a touchdown with U.S. soy-fed turkey. Versatile, tasty, and truly different, turkey can be used for succulent sliders, killer kebabs, championship chili, or even brilliant burnt ends. You can get all the recipes and register for a chance to win the ultimate prize pack worth nearly $2,000, including a portable Traeger grill, Yeti cooler, Chiefs gear, and much more at tailgatewithturkey.com. You'll be the pride of the parking lot. Come on, KC, turn up your tailgate at tailgatewithturkey.com.
Put over $100,000 back in your pocket with the Freedom Loan, exclusive at Cap One Lending. You've heard us talk about the Freedom Loan for years. Here's how it works. It pays mostly principal first, eliminating thousands in interest and taking years off your mortgage, all without changing your spending habits. Call Cap One Lending at 816-905-1111 or apply at caponelending.com. Imagine paying your mortgage off in half the time with half the interest, all with no out-of-pocket closing cost. Whether you're purchasing, refinancing, or taking cash out, call Cap One Lending now and we'll have your loan approved in an hour and ready to close in 10 days. 816-905-1111, 905-1111, or apply at caponelending.com.
Cap One Lending, making your dreams a reality is what we do.
Cap One Lending, a Kansas licensed mortgage company, license number MC0026341, NMLS Missouri license 2468614. Programs and rates subject to change without notice.
Score big this year with your home team, Ag Power. From powerful John Deere tractors plowing through the toughest terrains to mighty zero-turn mowers cutting through grass like a linebacker, Ag Power is your all-star defensive line when it comes to tackling projects. They have a variety of tractor packages designed for properties both big or small. Regardless of the task, you'll always be on the winning team with Ag Power. Visit agpower.com to find the location nearest you. Welcome home, Missouri.
Imagine buying a pair of sneakers and getting a soothing, gentle foot massage like you'd get during a relaxing pedicure just by walking. Skechers' new Massage Fit sneakers. Because Skechers, the comfort technology company, has designed a unique innovation that makes it feel like you're pampering your feet with a gentle massage in every step. The secret is Skechers' new patented wave technology on the sole that gently massages your feet while you're walking around. Find them for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Brace yourselves. Heating season is coming.
It's hard to think about right now, but
This is the absolute best time to prepare for a warm and comfy winter.
don't wait until you're cold to make the switch.
To an Energy Star certified, compact, high-efficiency boiler from Navient. Find your local Navient installer at BoilerComfort.com.
Switch to My Plan from Verizon and get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV on us with eligible phone purchase and Unlimited Plus. A value of up to $449. Head to Verizon today. $449 value applies to NFL Sunday Ticket season 23-24 only. Additional terms and embargoes apply to NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube. No refunds.
Rancho Grande Cantina in Parkville celebrates 25 years. Join us Saturday, August 19th. Enjoy live music starting at 2 p.m. and continuing all night long. Plus, celebrate 1998 with a picture of Margs and Rancho Dip specials all day long. While you're there, sign up for the 23rd Annual Wiffle Ball Tournament benefiting Alzheimer's Association. Visit RanchoGrandeCantina.com for catering and mouthwatering daily specials that can only be enjoyed at all three locations, Liberty, Blue Springs, and Parkville. Celebrate 25 years Saturday the 19th at Rancho Grande in Parkville.
The Dell Technologies Back to School event is on with deals on top tech for class, hobbies, and more. Now, when you buy, you support a cause. With every eligible purchase, Dell will donate to UNICEF in support of GIGA, a UNICEF ITU global initiative to connect schools across the globe to the internet. Accidental damage protection included. Get rare deals on select laptops and desktops powered by the latest Intel Core processors. Save now at Dell.com/deals. UNICEF does not endorse any company, brand, product, or service.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Made to Shine. Real stories from Shane Company customers.
They were all there. My grandparents, all the cousins. I was the first one in my family to graduate from college. They were so proud. After the ceremony, my mom gave me a necklace with my birthstone. I wear it every day. Sometimes I even think it carries a secret superpower, that when I wear it, everything will be okay.
We carry the widest selection of handcrafted jewelry, made to help everybody shine bright. Shane Company, fine jewelry since 1929.
Every business seeks an advantage, whether it's having the best location, hiring top talent, or spotting trends before they happen. And now, the United States Postal Service can give your business a new advantage. Introducing USPS Ground Advantage. Reliable and affordable 2 to 5 day package shipping. It's the advantage you need at the price you want. Get the Ground Advantage at USPS.com/advantage. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios. Real-time updates from the practice field, exclusive player interviews, live press conferences, and snow cones. As Cody and Gold broadcast live from St. Joe at Chiefs Training Camp on your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio. KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty, always live on the free Odyssey app. What's trending?
All right, let's check in on the hot topics trending.
Number one on What's Trending, final week of Chiefs training camp in St. Joe. We'll be back up there tomorrow. They just have 3 practices remaining before, yes, preseason continues, but before they'll start practicing back at the Chiefs indoor and outdoor facility at the Truman Sports Complex. We know the Chiefs did lose yesterday 26-24. They did come back, and 2s and 3s actually looked pretty strong, and then a mistake, to say the least, on a little screen pass. I don't know why they did just run it, by the way, on that play.
No idea.
That resulted in an interception from Oladukin. Ugly pick. Ugly pick.
I missed the end of the game.
It
My
was
kids were asking
it was
me
rough.
something, and it was like 4 minutes left in the game. I'm like, okay.
The reaction from
whatever I lose, I'll pick up on.
The reaction from Mahomes and MVS on the sideline, they showed it, and Mahomes just put his hands on his head. Like everybody's like, oh. Drew Tranquil's over there, looks back at him.
He's like, what am I supposed to do here?
That's a rough one for that kid.
Nobody more excited on the sidelines than Patrick Mahomes, by the way. Did you see him after that Shane Buechele touchdown? He was pumped.
That was the energy. Pumped. That was the energy that we can talk more about it, but that was the energy he talked at halftime that they needed to have. They didn't have any energy to start the game. It was very, very clear. New Orleans was much more amped up for that game than the Chiefs were.
Seemed like they got a little bit of it back. In fairness, the last game they played was the Super Bowl. So preseason game against the Saints when you're getting a single series probably doesn't feel that great. Next up on What's Trending, Wander Franco's officially been placed on MLB's restricted list. according to a statement from the team, it was a mutual decision between the team and Wander Franco to place him on that list as he's not traveling with the team to San Francisco. Most of the time, that means you're also not being paid during that structure. It hasn't been announced whether or not that will be the case in this. If you've missed it, there's been social media rumors around Wander Franco and an underage girl in the Dominican Republic, although all of it at this point is very unfounded. But right now, it looks like they're going to place him on the restricted list while they investigate the matter. Baseball is looking into it right now. So are the Tampa Bay Rays. Obviously, their manager had to speak about it last night. As all those rumors started to break right as their first pitch was
it started on
night.
Social media, and it's at this point it's all speculation. But now the MLB and everybody
Dangerous
involved
speculation.
will have to see where it continues from here. Next up on What's Trending, Peyton Manning, of course, an alum of the University of Tennessee. Now he's returning back to his alma mater as a professor. So he's just been bored. I'm telling you, he didn't know what to do with his free time. He's got the Omaha production stuff. He does the Manning cast, and now he's going to join the College of Communication and Information. They've appointed Manning as a professor of practice in the fall, this 2023 term. He'll join select classes during the academic year as a featured expert. He's going to work alongside the college faculties to provide learning experiences for communication and information
How bored
studies.
is he? He doesn't need this money. He doesn't need to just hang out at the University of Tennessee to
He's
help
teaching
teach a
gratis
class.
too. He's teaching gratis too. So
Oh, wow. What a guy,
just give him back to his school.
You know what? I will
You'll
show
teach
up
gratis?
as one one class, not like a semester.
Oh, okay.
I'll teach one class gratis at UMKC.
There
You
you
give me
go.
the call, UMKC, and I will
They're always
guest
looking-
lecture an
they're-
entire class.
There's always job listings for like adjunct professors for the J school and stuff, or not the J school. I guess they don't have a J school, but the communications program or whatever at UMKC.
Oh, really?
Always there's always it'll always pop up like they're always gathering.
What are you on the
names.
job boards?
Well, always gathering names. I have LinkedIn and it pops up on there.
Okay. I guess maybe I'll apply. I'll get back to the teaching game. I taught briefly, but not at my alma mater. I taught at Avila for the whole things. Next up on What's Trending, James Harden calls out the Rockets owner. Just a reminder, James Harden is with the Rockets. He was in China for an event, and he said, "I will not work with liar Daryl Morey." He was being very specific about his lack of interest in working with Daryl Morey. He has now responded to that, by the way, the owner of the Rockets, or that's the GM of the Rockets.
Morey is the president of the
president,
Sixers.
sorry.
He was the president
Sorry.
of the
I don't say
Rockets.
Rockets, yeah.
He was the president of the Rockets
he was.
when he was with Harden. Now he's the president with the Sixers.
With
brought in Harden, and now
sorry.
that's what's going on.
But in addition to all of that, as being the president, Morey has already said, "I'm not planning on dealing him." So you're like, wait, James Harden is very good at getting himself out of town. He got himself out of Houston the time before. And now he's calling out, he's a liar and I'm not going to work with him. All of a sudden now he's the president of the 76ers. Do you think James Harden will get out of Philadelphia?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, when you
NBA
make
players always get out.
these comments like this, I mean, how can you not? How can you can't have this guy that made these comments about you as the
What good does
GM
it
and
do you?
president.
What good does it do you team-wise? They already have questions about, their ability to win the championship. Now you're just going to keep a player on there?
Embiid won't be there very long either.
Where's he going to end up?
I think again, the clock is ticking till Embiid all of a sudden wakes up one morning and says, "You know what? I want out. Can't win a championship here." I think that's happening. We're about a year or so away from that happening with the Sixers. They've blown their opportunity. They got a year or two left to try to figure it out. Otherwise, I think Joel Embiid would be on the move.
Yeah, would make sense.
That is what's trending here on Cody and Gold as we are wrapping up, though. The AP Top 25 in college football did just come out. No surprise to see Georgia at number 1. They continue
Although
to be
it's
a
weird, it's
juggernaut.
the first time they've been AP number 1 in 15 years before the season.
A couple championships will do that for you. And K-State comes in at number 16 in the AP Top 25. Again, reminder, all the polls, especially the preseason ones, don't mean a damn thing. The regular season ones really don't mean anything anymore with the college football playoff rankings that we have to go off of. So really, the rankings is just a good marketing ploy so ESPN can put it up there for a Wednesday night and say, hey, coming up this Saturday, it's number 1 versus number 4. It really doesn't mean anything.
Like, for instance, the SEC has the most top 25 teams. They have 6. Number 2 is the current Pac-12 with 5.
Wow, the Pac-12 is going to be good this year. That's what's weird about the realignment.
Yeah,
they're
but
going to actually be really, really good this year. Might be the most entertaining conference in college football this year, but they're done after this year is the problem for them. But yeah, it's the rankings don't matter because just because someone's ranked 15th, it could be number 15 versus number 25. The team that's 25 might actually be the favorite in Vegas. So the rankings just don't Don't matter.
Yeah, but Vegas isn't the end-all decider of who's the better team.
No,
too.
but people call stuff upsets because some teams ranked higher. That's not always an upset. We get
not
in
a
the habit,
financial one, and certainly not a betting one. Yeah,
we get in the habit. Oh, number 15 beat number 25. That's an upset. Yeah, number 25 was favored by 4.5 points. It's not an upset.
That was the only of the local schools, by the way, was in the top 25. I believe that it was announced a week ago that Kansas got a couple of votes.
Okay.
So they were like out of the mix. Like at least somebody was entertaining them. But soon to depart, Texas, I think, was the top Big 12
They
team.
are the favorite. They are the favorite to win the Big 12 this year. And I do think, unfortunately, it's going to be kind of like when Missouri left the Big 12 for the SEC and won
Texas
the Big
gonna
12.
win it and then ditch.
Won the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. I think Texas will give one last little middle finger to the Big 12. I do think Texas is going to, unfortunately, win the Big 12 this season. But we're 2 weeks away from week 0 in college football, which will be a ton of fun. I think tomorrow, although, by the way, you mentioned KU, I think tomorrow they're announcing their stadium stuff. So we'll start to see renderings tomorrow.
Wow, big rendering month.
It is. It is a big
rendering month, you know? KC Current Stadium looks like I drive by it quite a bit.
Man, it's
looks
coming
like
along.
It's
I got my
built.
season tickets.
You're a season ticket holder?
I bought those last week. I've had a deposit since September of last year. So they had seat selection last Tuesday. I got my tickets selected. I'm excited to check out the stadium and the Current. I think it's 14 matches next year on schedule and beautiful stadium. I'll end up probably giving you a pair of tickets to one of the games. I can't make it to every single game. So yeah.
Nice. Drew and I can go.
Yeah, there you go. Drew and his wife can go. How about that?
Because you don't have 4 tickets.
I only have, I cannot. It's expensive, man. I can't buy 4 tickets.
Did anybody get your wife a job on the text line earlier? One person said they got a job at a bank. Maybe they could get for her.
For those just joining, we have our new producer. His first day today. He's still training, so any of the mistakes we're still blaming on our intern Quentin and JT.
What? Mistakes? You just said his wrong name.
Yeah, Quentin. We're blaming on our interns, Quentin and JT.
Got it.
So that's still for the rest of this week. Still on the intern. Still after that, it's all on Drew.
And the time I pressed a button.
That was definitely you. That was definitely.
Man comes in here, tries to put the camera up, and all of a sudden, Trash of the Day shows back up.
That's right. But no,
I didn't even get the camera plugged in, man. So I still got to do that later.
It's plugged in now.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Great job, JT. Fine work.
Drew, have you gotten to any KC place yet? You've only been here a week. Have you gone to like a local staple? Have you had barbecue yet or anything?
Not yet, but we're gonna go to Maloney's tonight. My wife and I.
A little sports bar there.
Okay.
Downtown OP.
What have you been living off of? Just like fast food?
Yeah. We went to the grocery store yesterday and we cooked up some food, so that's what we've been riding with. Yeah.
Now that you actually have a place to live.
Thankfully. Yeah. Thankfully, yes.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. Well, I didn't know. I didn't know if you'd been to any local, it feels like we should just get him some like gift card or something downstairs. Or if you're the proprietor of one of these establishments, have Drew out.
Old Shawnee Pizza did reach out to me actually and welcomed me to KC.
There you
so
go. There you
He's
go.
a great.
We'll have to check out some over the next couple of weeks. We'll get together. We'll check out some places. But definitely, as you know, KC, we got to get the barbecue stuff situated for you. You got.
It's like new athletes coming to town. It's the first thing they get asked.
Got to get that situated. Everybody's got a different top 4 or 5. It just depends on what you're looking for.
You're originally from Indianapolis. What is the food they're known for?
I don't know if anything's really known there in Indianapolis. It's
other
just,
than St. Elmo's?
Yeah, other than
that
St.
place.
St. Elmo's is it, but nothing that I can think of. I mean, they got a little bit of everything, but nothing famous.
People want to know which grocery store did you go to. People are judging you hard here. They're judging you hard. Which one? Be careful with the answer.
We went to Hy-Vee.
Okay.
That's a local one, you know?
Well, it's
local-ish.
actually not local.
It's actually
regional.
Iowa?
Price
Yeah,
Chopper is more local than that. But yeah. All right. Nothing wrong with that. Hy-Vee is definitely like the biggest one around now.
I go to all kinds of different grocery stores.
I don't go grocery shopping very often, so.
Yeah, we also went to. We went to Walmart. We went to Target.
Sure.
I mean, we there's not one place. I'm not a dedicated grocery store person where you go to one and you go to all of them. But everyone has the better deals,
Yeah, that's exactly
That's how you should operate, I think, for the most part.
That's how I operate. I will sometimes, for one single week of grocery pickup, go 3 different places.
Oh, that's okay. That's too much, man.
Why?
You're going to 3 different places in 1 week for groceries?
Yes.
That's too much, though.
Oh, come on, dude. Order pickup. You don't even have to do anything. You just show up, pop your trunk, wait for him to come out to the car, drive to the next one, pop your trunk, wait for him to come out to the car, go to the next one, maybe go inside for 3 things. That's exactly what happened the other day. I needed 3 different places. I went to Aldi, I went to Hy-Vee, and I walked inside of Sam's Club.
And you're not door dashing. You're actually getting these for you.
Yeah, for me.
Okay.
But you're still going through the pickup line and letting them load the back of your car.
Well, they have pickup orders, stuff like that.
No,
Yeah.
but you're doing that. And you're tipping them?
Do you tip people there?
No.
Am I supposed to tip the grocery people?
I think
Why?
if
If
they
I
are
feel really
loading,
bad if
I
I'm
think
screwing
if
it up.
they're loading groceries in your car, I think you need a tip.
How much?
I don't know. It can be just a couple of dollars.
Like
even.
$5 or something?
Yeah,
Or-
just a couple bucks. If they're loading the groceries in your car. When I worked at a grocery
Like
store
DoorDash, I think for sure. I've never DoorDashed food. Or,
back in the day, like when I was in high
Groceries.
school, and before the pickup lanes even existed. When I was working at Hen House when I was 15 or 16 years old, and they would say, "Hey, can you this it'd be an older lady, maybe she needed help taking the groceries to her car." A lot of times they would give me a few bucks. Now you have an actual dedicated pickup lane. I hope you're
Here's the thing,
doing that.
sometimes they don't even make it to the window. The one at Aldi, it's like they're by the back bumper and they're like, Cody? You're like, yeah. Like just the trunk. They put it in and then they're gone. Like they're not even anticipating the tip.
I think
But-
grocery store is different. Like if you go to Target and you're quickly, you got like they're putting 3 bags in your cart. No, you're probably not tipping on that. But if they're doing if you're doing your full blown grocery shopping and there's bags and bags and bags and
I
heavy
shop once a
waters.
week. They might have like waters. I have water out of my fridge. I don't buy bottled
Someone says
water
they're-
for the house.
Someone says they worked at Hy-Vee, not allowed to take tips. Okay.
Hey, Cody, you seem like the dad that's like, okay, you want McDonald's and you want Burger King. We're going to go to all both of those places with your grocery
No,
shopping.
I try not to do that as much. That feels bad. But sometimes it's just like the better deals or different locations for things. So and sometimes I don't want to buy everything in bulk. I don't want all my groceries at Sam's Club.
Right.
That's crazy. I don't want 14 bags of cereal. I only want some things in bulk. So I only go there for
Yeah, as long as you're not doing weight, as long as it makes sense driving wise, you're not spending more on gas just to go to a different grocery store. Then
They're
you're
all
good.
within 10 minutes of each other. You just do one loop. One
Someone
lap
says
around.
most of the people that load your groceries at Hy-Vee also shop for your groceries. So for those that are saying they're only doing that,
Oh man, so that guy is.
people think I'm wrong on the text line, but I
Twitch seems to think you're wrong.
I think if you're having your full, like not if you're just getting 2 bags of something, but if you're going full blown groceries, you're spending a couple $100 or something on groceries, and that's that many bags, then I think maybe you should.
Okay. I don't even normally order it. Emma does.
Oh.
She usually orders it, and I usually pick it up. Our long established, this is one of those things, I think the next time you're in like a long-term relationship, Gold, this is one of the things you'll figure out is actually kind of convenient about being in a serious relationship, which is you can divide duties based on the ones, I don't want to order the groceries, man. I don't want to sit on there and check all those boxes and put up backup items and all those stuff. She doesn't want to get in the car and drive over there to get it. Great. Problem solved. I will go drive to pick up the groceries every single time, just as long as you'll order them. It's a perfectly fine order of operations for me. I'm good with this arrangement. We are both doing something in here. I'll help plan the meals, but like we're both doing something here. You're doing the thing I would rather not do, and I'm doing
I would
the thing
also,
you'd rather
I get it's different because time with the kid. I would rather just go shop for the groceries myself anyway, though.
What do you mean?
I'd rather, like, again, with kids, it's more difficult.
Like
I get,
physically go to the grocery store? Oh, I don't mind that. I don't mind the grocery store at all.
I get why people have kids. You got errands and you got activities for the kids, and you just run out of time. You don't have time to spend an hour at the grocery store. I get it. I understand why it exists. I just say, if you can, I would much rather just go and shop my own groceries.
We've already said this. Spec thought we were crazy. I don't mind going to the grocery store. Headphones, cart, take my time. I've got no cares in the world. But sometimes, you're just trying to save time, so you order them.
I almost felt like a random question there, but we'll get to the random question of the day in about 20 minutes or so from now. 913-586-7610, the Jay Southland Tow Service text line. People continue to text in job suggestions as well, trying to help out our new producer.
Text line said 913. Cody offered the old producer his basement to live in while he settled into Kansas City. Didn't make the same offer for Drew, huh?
Yeah, what are you offering him?
I didn't know he didn't have a place. I didn't know he needed a basement to stay in. He's good now, so it's too late. It would seem hollow if I offered it now.
Well,
go ahead.
The plan was to get here and then move in like the next day. It didn't really work like that. Like most things tend to not when you're moving. There's always something that tends to pop up. So
yeah,
that happened.
It's your call whether you want to share. You had a bad experience like very, very quickly in KC though, which is hopefully doesn't tell. It's not normally what would happen in where you're staying.
Yeah, my wife's car got broken into.
3 days in KC and that happened. Oh.
Yeah.
Just like at the hotel?
Yes.
That feels like a prime break-in spot for people.
Probably. Out-of-state plates probably didn't help, right?
Bunch of cars, right? But I would think there'd be...
Maybe you had some stuff in the car still, so that sucks, though. We've all been there in some form or fashion. It's never good when you move to a new city because you're just like, oh, is this Is this happening all the time?
Well, for some reason, you're out of your apartment for like 2 days. You're welcome to stay in my basement the same as I offered our old producer.
Okay.
And
It has its own bathroom.
You don't know
It's
the
like a small apartment.
You don't know the background yet, Drew, but if Cody offers to make you Cipino, say no.
That doesn't matter.
Say no. You do not
It's
want him
good.
making you Cipino. Our prior producer got
All
sick,
right.
and Cody got them all sick. Do not ever let Cody make you Cipino.
He did not get sick from the food. He got sick from whatever stomach bug must have existed inside of our home.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the food.
Okay.
What is Cipino?
Seafood dish.
It's like a
soup or like a...
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's not soup. It's like it's like a brothy stew type seafood dish.
Yeah,
it's very good.
We'll learn a lot more about you, Drew, over time. We'll figure out
You'll
the eating.
learn more about us too.
Yeah,
because he's like, what the hell is Cipino as well?
Eating habits, all this kind of stuff. It'll take some time. We'll get you up to speed on some of that. I did want to talk real quick though about the Chiefs preseason game, because there was some freak out initially with what occurred. And it would be nice to sit here today and tell you that in the preseason game, the ones gave you something to feel good about. And they didn't. Let's just be honest. There was nothing out of the number ones yesterday, offensively or defensively, where you felt good. There wasn't. Do I think we should panic? Hell no. It's ridiculous. We joked about it earlier in the show. I guess go ahead and start tanking because the Chiefs are screwed based off of that 1 or 2 possessions. No, of course not. But there wasn't. You can't even tell me one particular instance where when the ones were out there offensively or defensively where you felt good. There were some guys further down the depth chart that could play with the ones at some point this year, like Richie James, who looked good and made a great catch. But in the possession where Mahomes was the quarterback and defensively when Justin Reed and those guys were still out there.
It was bad
It wasn't good, man. It wasn't a good look.
I just think it was. I think all of it can be chalked up to disinterest. Like I just that's what it felt like. I assume we are going to get a significant jump up in play in the second preseason game, because watching that film this week with Spags and Andy is not gonna be fun if you're the starters, because they got picked apart defensively. Nobody could make a tackle. Everybody was wide open. There was zero pressure. And then offensively, they checked it down to the running back a couple times and punted.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a
Turnover on
bunch to
downs on
break
fourth
down.
down.
There's a turnover on downs on what should have been, turnover downs, not the punt. They failed to get 4th and 1, something that they have failed to do just as an offense. It's one of the few flaws they have offensively is short yardage stuff over the last couple of years. Yeah, it's not going to be a fun watch across the board. But I also understand, like you and I do, I think sometimes when you post on social, it's hard to know this. Neither of you and I are panicked about this. I would have just liked one redeeming quality about the one's performance out of that game, and I don't think there was one.
Definitely would prefer that it was the Chiefs that had the 70-yard drive like Derek Carr or whatever it was and the Saints had. Certainly that would be the preference. But the Chiefs just flat out didn't have near the energy level. They've acknowledged that. I mean, Patrick Mahomes said it after the game. That's why you saw him in the second half as energetic as he was on the sideline. They just didn't look like they wanted to be there. They looked like they knew, Cody, it was a preseason game. And they're in New Orleans. They knew it was preseason game number 1. That game felt like quarter 4 of a preseason game before the first quarter was over. I mean, it was very slow. There wasn't much energy. It got a little more exciting later when Bouchel came in the game and they started to play with some energy. Go figure, they also played better.
And everyone was having a good time. Like Justin Ross seemed legitimately thrilled to score the touchdown.
And then the kid had a very athletic interception.
Seemed legitimately
which was awesome.
thrilled.
So but the number ones didn't give you a reason to be like, oh wow, that was great to see from blank. That didn't exist. Maybe you'll get that on Saturday when they play Arizona, although I've told you already, I wouldn't play a single starter on that crappy field out in Phoenix Saturday afternoon. Not a single starter. I would have played Mahomes and the guys longer this past week and don't play them at all in Arizona.
Yeah, unless something dramatically different has changed in that field anytime recently, I don't think I'd be real active to be looking in that. I mean, it's just not, it's not worth the risk. Because that's the other part about the preseason game. It's like they played one really bad preseason game. Let's say I really did believe in preseason performances, and I don't.
Yeah.
But let's say I really did believe that what the team's record was and what the final score was mattered. Okay, so what? I think they're a 14 win now. I think they're 13.
No,
They're still not.
Yeah.
And it's not even that. But even if you were using this as a basis for your prediction for what the Chiefs will be this year, how far down could you knock them for one drive on offense, in which, by the way, they should have converted a 4th and 1. That drive could have still ended in a touchdown, Gold. We don't know. The drive didn't stall out on 3rd and 10 where they couldn't convert. They got themselves in 4th and very manageable in 1. They were unable to execute the play and push it past. The defense was the one that you're like, whoa. And it just makes you want Chris Jones back. like Chris Jones back would be cool because
but we knew that already.
I know
you know what I mean?
He can get pressure.
Like,
yeah.
That's what was funny. I saw the reaction. They're like, man, Chris Jones is probably enjoying this. The Chiefs now are going to have to pay him more money. Like, that's not how, you think the Chiefs just woke up after they watched the preseason game and they just now realize he's a vital piece of their organization? Of course not. So that was a weird reaction I saw from plenty of people. They're like, man, they need him more than ever. We already knew that a guy that had 15 and a half sacks last year, that was the best interior defender in football. Yeah, obviously they need him. That's why I've told you that in order to win the Super Bowl this year, I do think he has to be on the team. The good news, he's under contract. We'll see what happens with his actual contract extension talks. He's out there hanging out at Michael Bay's house, I guess, the director Michael Bay, and joking on social media. He's really enjoying the hell out of this holdout. He has every right to get the money that he wants, and I think he deserves it. I will admit, at this point, though, it's a little much on the social media gamesmanship or whatever the hell you want to call it. Trolling. I'm kind of done with it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you're alone, and we can definitely talk about it more in the show. But, yeah, I mean, neither of us thought the Chiefs walked into that game and were like, we'd probably be fine if Chris Jones wasn't our team this year. Like, no, nobody thinks that. The NFL players just voted him a top 10 player in the entire league.
Yeah, if you told me that
any team lost a top 10 player in the entire league, it's probably not going to go great.
Because think about it on the reverse side. What would you be saying if I told you that on that opening drive, Karlaftis and Daniel Wise were getting after the quarterback? Would you be sitting here today and saying, well, they don't need him?
No.
Of course not.
No.
The preseason doesn't change
the same thing.
That.
It's like, how would I feel about the Cowboys defense if Micah Parsons wasn't on it?
I'm just sick of the social media stuff now. Like, it was funny at first. Now it's just kind of annoying. Like, okay, we get it. You want to get paid, keep negotiating. But I like the trolling and like having Michael Bay send out an Instagram post saying you quit the team and stuff. It just, okay, it's enough. I'm good.
Somehow he is going to get people to flip on him. One of the most liked players in Chiefs history is going to get people to flip on him because he posted a photo with Michael Bay.
I don't know about that. Like, I still enjoy Chris on this team and all that. I'm just kind of done with the social media game. That's all.
The real question is, are you finally on board with Shane Buechele backing up Patrick Mahomes instead of Henne?
He looked good, man. We can talk more about this on the other side.
Gabbert.
It was impressive. I think he showed a lot yesterday. That was nice to see from Buechele. I think Andy just really likes veteran presence. Someone that he knows has played an X amount of games, has dealt with pressure situations, and they clearly like Buechele because they've protected him from getting signed by other teams multiple off seasons. But you wonder at some point, how many more times do they have to see where they feel confident they can actually be the number 2 quarterback? Wasn't this offseason. They went out and spent some money on Blaine Gabbert. But that was impressive yesterday, what we saw from Buechele against the Saints. Coming up next, though, how about the wide receivers Buechele and Mahomes were throwing the football to? A lot of talk about the wide receiver room all offseason. How do they look yesterday? We'll get back into that next.
Cody and Gold, live from the Chiefs practice field this summer. Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Hey, are your old windows letting all that good air conditioning out? Well, on those hot summer days, that cool air is escaping through your old leaky windows and the hot air is pouring in. You want to replace those old windows and keep the cool air inside your house this summer. We still got some time in the summer. You also need to prepare for the winter when the opposite is going to happen. That's why I'm here telling you about Window World, the official window of the Kansas City Chiefs. Window World's windows are one of 2 windows with a good housekeeping seal of approval, ranked number 1 in number of windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. Just over 20 years in business, they have improved the look and thermal efficiency. Over 52,000 homes in Kansas City. You get a lifetime warranty that covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor, because Window World uses a double-strength glass that gives it a strength that is not commonly used in replacement windows. Right now, they're offering 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. All you need to do is call them for a free home estimate. Replace your windows and keep the cool air inside your house this summer with Window World.
We have James and Josiah from American Topsoil. Guys, what month is best for planting new grass?
Any month that ends in R. Laying down fresh soil before seeding is the best way to get ahead of the game. Our rich topsoil is great for leveling yards, and our pulverized soil creates a perfect seedbed for new grass.
So how do I know how much soil I need?
Our Power Wheelbarrow service assures that our customers are getting the exact amount of soil they need, exactly where they need it, and that's all they'll pay for.
How can I set up my delivery with American Topsoil?
Visit AmericanTopsoil.com or give us a call at 913-888-SOIL.
American Topsoil, family owned and operated with more than 30 years, delivering great topsoil with their hassle-free power wheelbarrow service. Call 913-888-SOIL. That's 913-888-SOIL. Or online at americantopsoil.com. Great topsoil, great service, American Topsoil.
Hey guys, Beat Up here from Fesco in the Morning, wrapping up week number 11 of the Slim for Life program. When I started the program, I weighed in at 444 pounds, currently down 61 pounds in just 11 weeks. The best part, when I go into the 119th and Metcalf location and see my girl Leanne, I'm running into people that are joining the Beat Up Summer Shape Up because they're hearing it right here. Are you ready to make that life-changing call? It's August, and if your goal was to lose weight and be fit by the end of the summer, Slim for Life can still get you there. You can be down 20 pounds or more in just your first month. It's time to make yourself the priority. Feel better, get healthier, have more energy, and feel more confident. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and make that life-changing call and join the other 100,000 people in Kansas City that said, I did it, I'm Slim for Life. When you set up that free consultation right now, you tell them that you heard it from Beat Up and 610 Sports Radio, you get 6 weeks for $66, and you can win tickets to see our favorite defending champions play on August 26th. So go ahead, make that call, 833-SLIM today, that's 833-754-6863, or hit them online at slim4life.com. All services included, exclusive of products. Tell them Beat Up sent you.
Chiefs Kingdom, Mitch Holtis here, voice of the Chiefs. I am pumped for our upcoming Chiefs Kingdom Show broadcast experience with special guest Patrick Mahomes, hosted by Hy-Vee at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium on September the 11th. Hy-Vee wants you to be our guest for this exclusive event. Enter to win every time you purchase a 6-count package of Bakery Fresh Chiefs Ice Cookies and swipe your Fuel Saver Plus Perks card. Every package purchased equals one chance to win from now through August 24th at your area Hy-Vee. No purchase necessary, void where prohibited. See store for details.
Back to school time is exciting and hectic. You can count on Hy-Vee to lighten your load when you shop with Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, and leave the shopping to us. It's easy to create and save a grocery list, shop specials, and earn fuel saver discounts, all while you're stuck in the carpool line. Upgrade to a Premium Plus membership and get free delivery and other great perks. Make back to school easier with help from Hy-Vee. Download the Aisles Online app or visit Hy-Vee.com today.
Tailgates and turkey? Yes, please. This season, score a touchdown with U.S. soy-fed turkey. Versatile, tasty, and truly different, turkey is always a winner. You can get all the recipes and register for a chance to win the ultimate prize pack at tailgatewithturkey.com. You'll be the pride of the parking lot.
Tune in to our exclusive wall-to-wall Chiefs training camp coverage from St. Joe on 610 Sports Radio. All-access player and coach interviews that you can only find on 610 Sports Radio. Chiefs training camp coverage is brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
The Dell Technologies Back to School event is on with deals on top tech for class, hobbies, and more. Now, when you buy, you support a cause. With every eligible purchase, Dell will donate to UNICEF in support of GIGA, a UNICEF ITU global initiative to connect schools across the globe to the internet. Accidental damage protection included. Get rare deals on select laptops and desktops powered by the latest Intel Core processors. Save now at Dell.com/deals. UNICEF does not endorse any company, brand, product, or service.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
AutoZone is more than a parts store. It's where we help you solve problems like, sorry I'm late, my battery died. And
I need a jump again.
At America's #1 battery destination, you can find the right battery at the right price with options starting at only $89.99. And we offer free battery testing and charging whenever you need it. Get the parts and help you need to get the job done right at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit GetJim.com.
This report is brought to you by KC Customs. We put the customs in KC. KC-Customs.com.
Want a new truck, Jeep, or SUV, but don't want a new payment? Then come by KC Customs. We'll turn your boring ride into one that turns heads and breaks necks. Set yourself apart from the crowd. Go to KC Customs. We put the customs in KC.
Keep it up front, now tiptoe. I be at the house trying to lay low. Ducking and dodging a promo. Sit on my roof like J. Cole. Yeah, sit on my roof like J. Cole. Thinking about how so thankful.
Back here at Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp with you. We'll get to the random question of the day here in about 12 minutes or so. Just continue to read details during the break of this Michael Oher story. You all know Michael Oher of the Blind Side, the famous movie, and the story of his family adopted him, right? We've all heard about this. Well, now there's a petition in court filed by Michael Oher that alleges that the family that adopted him, well, never adopted him, but rather he claimed that they tricked him to signing a document that made them conservators and therefore made them millions and millions of dollars, not only off the movie, but his name, image, and likeness. And so that's what's alleged in this petition. He wants them to remove the conservatorship and also pay him punitive damages along with the full accounting of where the money has gone. Very dirty, nasty stuff here with this situation. If in fact it is true that that was their intentions, that they never adopted him and they just tried to take advantage of him financially. Ugly stuff, of course, that the movie made about the whole situation there. He's been out of the league for a couple years.
Someone who wrote this book before it was a movie fact-checked
sounds like
any of this?
If it's true, it sounds like he didn't know that that's what that document was that he signed at the time. I think he was 18 years old. Right when he turned 18, they had him allegedly sign this document, and that gave them conservatorship. And he just wasn't aware of what it did.
Money to his kids and not him.
Yeah, the movie granted they got 2.5% of proceeds or whatever profits off the movie, the two birth children and the parents, but not Michael Oher. And they each got $225,000. He alleges he didn't get a dime from the movie as well. And he's just now coming out about this as he's figured out. He learned, he says, in February, to his embarrassment, he found out in February, just a couple months ago, that this is actually what that document did. And they've been, in his words, taking advantage of him this whole time. So
that's
ugly situation there.
I mean, especially for what is supposed to be one of those, it is one of those, right? It's a Hollywood story, right? This kid needed help, and they take him in, and he becomes this NFL player, and the way it's written and the way the entire thing is set up, it's like, God, that just feels terrible. I'm like, at least he's earned some money in the NFL. He's earned $34 million, but feels bad probably to feel taken advantage of that entire time. Really,
no question.
Really terrible.
We'll get to the random question today in just a couple of minutes, but let's get back to the Chiefs from yesterday and the wide receiver group, because that really was where all the attention was at throughout camp and has been. And so we wanted to see what they would look like. As we've mentioned, Mahomes only threw 2 passes, so you had to get a glimpse of the wide receivers when Blaine Gabbert or
By the way, those are the wide receivers I wanted more of.
Or Shane Buechele. Yeah, further down. I mean, the first wide receiver that showed out yesterday a little bit was Richie James, and he's someone that I think could have a pretty big season for this team. We've talked about it at great length, especially if Tony's going to miss time. And he showed he can get separation at bare minimum. We talk all the time about who can get separation in this wide receiver room. I understand it's a preseason game and backups. We always keep that in the back of our mind when we talk about how players individually looked. But he could not be covered on that drive. One, he had the great catch. He tracked the ball.
He got underthrown. Otherwise, he would have been – that might have been a touchdown if he had been stride.
He did a great job tracking the ball. Then there was a play where he should have had a touchdown, but it was a poorly thrown ball. Then 2 plays later, Blaine Gabbert had another poorly thrown ball, but he made a great catch, did Richie James. Richie James was impressive in limited work yesterday. Did have just the 2 catches, 44 yards. But you like seeing that. That's someone that I think will factor in with this number 1 offense once we get to the regular season. And I'm pretty bullish on what he can do this year. Said that throughout camp. And yesterday, obviously, made me feel better about that, even if it's just a preseason game. So he was the first wide receiver that showed up, that gave you something to feel good about. And then, Justin Ross got in the end zone. All the talk, all the hype, all the social media love, fan favorite.
Scored a touchdown.
Got his touchdown, first NFL action since all of the injuries. So just the fact that he made it to a preseason game and got a touchdown, the story is fantastic. We can all acknowledge that. He had 2 catches, 29 yards. On that same drive, I thought Cornell Powell looked really, really good. Now, Powell's not going to make this team, but he actually was impressive on that drive. Justin Ross doing something in a game is a step forward versus just practice. I'll certainly give you that. I still just wonder, is there enough opportunity for him to actually do what everybody seemingly thinks he's going to do this year? I think the ability's there. I just don't see the opportunity this year. To me, he's more of a long-term. To me, it's next year, Cody, when maybe Richie James isn't around, maybe MVS isn't around, and all of a sudden you have less people in front of you. Because even if Justin Ross is the 6th or 7th wide receiver, he may not even be active every single game this year. So we'll see how it plays out, but definitely cool to see Justin Ross.
He had a nice game. There's almost no argument for it. And the fact that he got in the end zone for the first time and as long as it was encouraging. By the way, the leading receiver for the game, Nico Remigio, had sent out his pronunciation. He might have been listening to this show. Look, man, it's not even a knock. We just didn't know exactly what it was pronounced.
We were all calling him Remigio before.
Nico Remigio.
Remigio out of Fresno State, undrafted kid. Look good. They're going to have a tough time.
Nate Taylor told us a couple weeks ago he thought he should be getting some more second-team reps, and he was their most consistent wide receiver in one preseason game. But that usually gets you somewhere near the roster. Usually means practice squad with a chance to get the call-up, or if some other team's thin wide receiver, you're going to end up on somebody else's 53-man roster.
I think, unfortunately, for the Chiefs, because of that showing yesterday, you try to hide guys sometimes. To make sure you can sneak him to the practice squad.
So well.
I don't know if they're going to be able to do that with him. He might, to his credit, he might be able to find an opportunity elsewhere. Because if we're talking about Justin Ross being the 6th or 7th receiver, there's just not enough. I just don't see the room. And then you say, well, practice squad. But that game film is out there for everybody to see. He looked impressive with 4 catches, 71 yards. And they definitely tried to get him the football. And we'll see what he does the rest of the preseason. He'll be the Doris Fountain of the camp. Yeah. We joked about Justin Ross and Doris Fountain. Remigio.
Remigio. Come on, man. He just told you how to pronounce it.
He's going to be, we don't need to pronounce it for the next 3 weeks. Something tells me we won't need to pronounce it again after that. But yes, Remigio.
When you look at it, so here is one thing. I'll let it off because it's one preseason game and I'm not going to send anything into a tizzy. But for game 2, where we would typically anticipate them using more of the starters for longer periods of time, I'd like some Sky Moore action. I'm glad Cornell Powell looked good in the game. I'm glad that Justin Ross and Remigio got some time in this game. I'd like to see Sky Moore get some intentional targets. I thought that they featured Clyde in some of the passing game. I'd like to see some of the other end of this because this one game is not going to tell me everything I need to know about the wide receivers, other than it is kind of true what we thought is. There is not, in my opinion, a massive separation in talent, wide receivers 4 through 8. There is in how much they'll give them or who's going to make the team. But there's not, they're deep in the way that there's a lot of unproven, talented wide receivers that can jockey for the bottom of this roster.
For at least that game, though, they just weren't going to play the ones long. I mean, Justin Watson, Sky Moore,
8 snaps.
Justin Watson, snaps. Sky Moore, and MVS basically they played 6 snaps. I mean, that or if that. I mean, that's what they were going to do. We'll see if they increase it for this second preseason game. Field conditions aside, you would normally expect in preseason game number 2 to get closer to a half or at least a quarter and a half or something like that. But we'll see if Andy approaches that this way or not. We also know that if Andy on Thursday says they're all going to play the half, that doesn't necessarily mean they're playing a half. Remember, he did say
they were going to play a
whole quarter, and they played one drive. That was it. It's just easy before the game to just say a quarter.
Sky Moore played 6 snaps.
Yeah, and that. Look,
Justin
by the way,
Watson
I'm fine
played
with
5.
that.
Travis Kelce played 5. Jerick McKinnon played 3.
Yeah, overall, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
it's preseason. There's a lot of teams that don't even play their starting quarterback at all during the preseason. Aaron Rodgers, for example. There's a very strong argument you can make that Patrick Mahomes shouldn't even play any preseason ever the rest of his career.
He said he likes it, though.
I know. But you could make an argument that shouldn't play it at all.
Yeah, but I don't disagree with that notion. But also, if he wants to play it, I don't think that that's the kind of person. I don't think that that's the fight you want to try to go have. Because if Patrick Mahomes is going to get hurt, although he scrambled for a second, and I think all of our hearts dropped for just a second. You want to know on that? That was the one. That was the third down, right before they eventually came up short on 4th and 1. That was the scramble. Put him in position to do it. Don't you like that out of your quarterback? The fact that the guy has no quit no matter the game, just refuses to not be competitive, regardless of the situation. Don't you like that? That's what you love about Mahomes. So why not like it in a preseason?
Not in the preseason, though. I don't need him scrambling. I don't need him scrambling in the preseason. No, I do not. I don't need that in the preseason. I don't need the turf to get you and you twist an ankle. I don't need another. You got a young player out there on the opposing team. He makes a mistake and he accidentally goes for the tackle as you're sliding and knocks you out. I don't need any of that. I don't need any risk whatsoever. We know it's football. There's always risk. I'm willing to take it in the regular season when there's stuffing on the line, not an exhibition game.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's where I'm at on that.
I just like him being competitive all the time. He's fired up for a Justin Ross
I
touchdown.
love the sideline. I mean, I love the energy.
Run.
That was
Keep it
cool.
up.
That was really cool to see. Just to, you see the other guys kind of joking around when they see some of these.
Him and Willie Gay.
These third stringers getting a touchdown, and seeing Shane Buechele make them that's fun. These guys all bust their ass at practice as well, and they get to have an opportunity to showcase and have some fun. I think that's why you see the reaction, because a lot of these guys aren't going to make the team, but knowing that they're sweating out there at practice and they're working their tail off as well. They don't get. This might be the only camp they ever go to. Some of these guys may never be in a training camp in the league ever again. Further down, some of these guys that are way down. There's 91 guys down that roster.
It's 40 extra players pretty much per team. It's like, even with 16 practice squads, so maybe it's 25 extra players. That's 25 extra players per team that will not be in the NFL this year.
Yep.
Right? They're just not going to be a part. That's why Andy's also said that's why he plays all those guys in preseason. I don't care if you're guy number 91. You get a couple of snaps in a preseason game for Andy Reid.
All right, let's get to it. The random question of the day.
Random question.
For you, Gold. For you, JT. Drew as well. And over in the text line, 913-586-7610. If you missed it earlier, our new producer, Drew, is in. He is training, so he won't be on air quite as much as we would expect moving forward, but he's at least in the building and figuring it all out, so get used to hearing his voice more and more often. But the question I have for all of you in the text line, 913-586-7610, is one I got asked on Twitter last night, which is when you say, I slept in, what time do you mean? If, Gold, you said, hey, I slept in today, what time of day does that mean to you?
Yeah, boy, this has changed over the years. It used to be a much different answer about 5 or 6 years ago. Now, slept in, 8:30. That's sleeping in now on a Saturday.
8:30. Look how old you are. 8:30 is sleeping in.
Many years ago, that would be like, 10:30.
I think it means 7 a.m. for me now.
Oh, gosh.
I think if I'm answering that question, it is 7 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. Dude, I'm never asleep past that anymore.
That's awful.
It's over.
8:30. I'm thrilled when I get to 8:30 on it. Like I can't on Saturdays. It's more of a Sunday thing. If I can get 8:30 on a Sunday, that's a great time.
I think I would feel like anxiety that I've wasted too much time in my day now. It's been too long since I was getting up at that time. I think it might be 7 or 7:30. Like I slept in. I slept a little longer than anticipating. It is now 7:30 a.m.
Yeah.
That's 7 a.m. I think that's my new time.
Where are you at, Drew?
I feel like this is not like waking up and then going back to sleep. This is
You slept in.
This is getting up out of bed. Okay, 9:30.
You're still getting 9:30. You don't have any pets?
No.
And you have no kids. It's just you and the wife.
Yep.
See, 9:30. If I didn't have a dog, I will say if I didn't have a dog, I could probably push it to 9:30 or 10.
I mean, I feel like I'd have to stay up till 3 in the morning to make it to 10. 10? I'd have to stay up till 2, 3 in the morning. There's no way.
On. Even if, so you're telling me if you had no kids and the wife was gone.
It's too late. My body is adjusted.
Yeah.
It's over. I'll never go back.
You wouldn't just lay in bed,
you
though?
See these old people just get up at like 4:30 in the morning and drink coffee? That's going to be me eventually. I'm just going to slowly work earlier and earlier. Not on purpose.
Now, if you
just
had
changes in lifestyle somehow.
Like you have a TV in your bedroom or no?
Yeah.
So like you don't have a morning if the kids weren't around and they say your body wakes you up at 7:30, but you're like, I don't have anything to do. You just lay in bed for another hour.
The last time the kids weren't at the house, I got up at 7:15.
What?
Well, I had the dog.
What about the intern? This answer, he's what, 23 years old,
midnight.
22.
It's gonna be noon, right?
Yeah,
Noon?
it's gonna be 11:30.
Actually, it's not. It's 9:30. Luckily,
9:30.
I got a puppy, so I got to take care of the pup.
The dog changes things. A little
man,
bit.
the dog changes it, but I was always an early bird when I was in high school. My parents thought I was weird. I would get up an hour before school so I could watch all the Sports Center, all the sports clips, and have everything down, go into school and be like, man, you missed this, and talk about it at school with my friends. And my friends thought I was the Sports Center of the school.
My kids are early risers, and I've never had a trouble getting up in the morning, so it's just like I don't feel like I've got much of a choice in it, but it's probably that amount of time. I mean, I don't. The text line, by the way, pretty much agrees with us. 6:30 to 7 a.m., 8 o'clock still sucks. Like at least that end. Casey Kurt says 8:30 is sleeping in. Normally get up at 5:15 or 5:30. See, I don't get up that early.
This question should ask Bob and Josh because I think they're normally up by 4:45 or 4:30.
But on the weekend, how late do they sleep, you know?
I'm guessing they probably are up by 6:30 or 7 on the weekend. I bet you their body doesn't let them sleep past that. And they both have kids.
When I used to work overnights, like I'd work 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., that was the shift. Even if I didn't sleep tonight, because like this was the kind of job, was like courier stuff. So sometimes you could like nap from like 1 to 3 or something. But like, let's say I just didn't sleep. I was up the entire time. It was a busy night, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. I think the latest I would make it then is noon. I wasn't even making it to noon then. It'd be like, what is this? Like the middle of the day? No, that's it. My problem is like, I feel the pressure like it feels like I'm wasting less day to be out of the bed, not doing anything, than still sleeping. Sleeping, nothing can be accomplished.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, you definitely feel like half the day's gone if you wait. But it probably has been since college before on the weekends where you're sleeping until 11:30 or something. But that's because you were in college. You were probably out till 2:30 or 3 in the morning. So you slept until 11 is like just what you needed.
Well, good friends of ours, I mean, they've got a kid the same age as our older kid. The whole group will still sometimes sleep until 10:30 or 11. Like, their kid. They're like, 7-year-old kid. I'm like, God, good for you. I mean, I guess maybe, but it's just been too long. I mean, it was like a teenager. I was probably like 18 the last time I slept till like 11 o'clock.
When I was in college, I would sleep till probably 10:30. My girlfriend wants to sleep till then, but when we're together and I have a pup, we're up
so
early.
You make her get up too?
Oh yeah. She says it's our puppy, so she's gonna be involved in it.
You just let her off the hook every once in a while.
The motivational people who say you should get up at like 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. would be very happy to hear, Cody, that you're, getting closer to that mark.
Yeah, I'm pushing towards that. I've actually been getting up at 5:30 to take care of some extra stuff since my wife has a broken ankle. So I've been like trying to. I don't have enough time to accomplish it all. Got to shower, get kids dressed. And I like about 15 minutes before I got to walk out the door. Need a little bit of downtime before you head straight into work. But even on the weekends, I'm up at like 6:30. Doesn't matter. Kids been watching, I don't know, Ninja Turtles or whatever show they're into now.
Did you take them to see the new movie?
I haven't yet.
Come on, Dad. What are we
They
doing?
only recently got into the show.
Well, the
So
movie's
take
been
them to
out for a
every
week
movie?
or two.
I'll take them on Thursday.
Okay.
Now he takes some grocery shopping with him. Come on.
No, we learned that he just does the pickup line and doesn't tip. We learned that earlier.
I didn't know I was supposed to be tipping.
And now a lot of people agree with you that you shouldn't. That's just me, I think. That's the random question of the day here on a Monday, 913-586-7610. Cody and Gold, you've heard now 4 different voices on the show today. Again, we've got our intern, JT, still helping us out, and then we've got our new producer, Drew, who is just starting this week, and we'll get him incorporated in the show more and more. Looking forward to having Drew, who moved here from Indianapolis, although you were in Florida for a little bit, right? You were down in Pensacola, right?
Yeah, that's where I've been, I guess, for the last 2 years, outside of a couple of months in Indy. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of our trash of the days came from Florida. Just so you know, Drew. A lot of them
it's not a surprise. Which it's interesting. Pensacola,
of this country.
Pensacola is more Alabama than it is Florida.
Oh, okay.
So there's still some crazy stuff that goes on, but it's the country side of Florida than it is the Miami
so it's a
and
panhandle
Tampa
part, huh?
Panhandle, yeah.
Okay.
You're closer. You're a 30-minute drive maybe to Alabama from.
Oh wow!
From where Pensacola's at.
Did you ever? So did you go to? Are you an Alabama? Were you an Alabama fan or no?
No.
Okay.
We talked about Alabama a lot.
I'm sure. Yeah, down in Pensacola.
And the SEC.
I mentioned that. It was probably a lot of college football conversation down there. Thinking of football, though, we'll get Drew in our Guillotine League, our Cody and Gold Guillotine League. We're going to be doing that again. We've been offering up some spots. Right now, actually, we'll go ahead and take the 20th texter, the 913-586-7610. Name, email address, 20th texter. Name, email address, 913-586-7610. Few more spots left in the Cody and Gold Guillotine League. We'll get another one filled here. You can join the league with myself, Cody, Drew. Last year's winner, Nick Price, will be in the league again. We'll get that confirmed with him, and we'll be doing a draft in our fun Guillotine League format. Paul Charchian of GuillotineLeagues.com will start joining us here in just a couple weeks. No, a lot of people, some people did their drafts this past weekend. I did a mock draft. I like doing those occasionally. I did a mock draft this past weekend as well. I got my fantasy football fix a little bit, Cody. And by the way, if you text in your name and email 70 times, it's an automatic, no way you're going to win today, just so you know. Thank you.
Why are you knocking him down so quick? Have you even sent Drew the invite yet?
No, I forgot his email address, so I will get that taken care of here in the commercial break. Don't want to overbook the league like we did a couple years ago.
I had to kick some
people out. That's right.
Yeah.
Don't want to do that.
I don't remember who we kicked out, Pete.
Yeah. That's exactly right. That's what happened.
Okay. Well, we'll try not to overbook the league this year. We'll be fine. I love the Guillotine League, so you don't have to talk me in and out of it. I have not done in years one of those mock drafts.
It's fun. I needed a little fantasy football fix.
I feel like I just joined a new fantasy league. It's 16 teams.
Long draft.
It's got Pete Sweeney and several other people I know in it.
Yeah.
My buddy from Gann. It's his league. They have a mountain of rules, and so many of them around the draft are getting together involve having to take shots. So like the draft sounds like a messy,
sounds like fun.
Messy situation of, as I'm told, unlimited tank sevens catered to Joe's Kansas City and punishment shots essentially for every tiny indiscretion you might screw up during that time.
Yeah, I think
so I'm gonna need a ride home that day.
I think our guillotine league, as far as I think we're looking at a potential draft like August 31st. It's not set in stone, but people are wondering. Thursday night, August 31st. That's kind of what we're probably looking at. Based on the Labor Day holiday, of course, that'll be right around the corner there. And then the Chiefs play that Thursday night, so we got to get this draft figured out very, very quickly. So
closer to the draft, the better. You know that.
We will pick our winner there. I just saw, I believe it is someone named Andrew who is the 20th texter. So we'll go ahead and email you and message you in just a little bit. Coming up next, though, we'll get to the 1 o'clock hour. We'll get back into the Chiefs. Chris Jones' absence, and I kind of told you already. I'm kind of sick of where things are at with Chris Jones. I'll explain why next.
There's Kelsey to the end zone.
Cody and Gold brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com. Don't miss the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day at 11:30 on your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
We're hiring residential garage door installers at Overhead Door Company of Kansas City. Join the team trusted here since 1927. Apply today, get a call today. No experience necessary. Paid training for motivated applicants to install garage doors. Hiring bonus up to $2,500. Mechanical, carpentry, or service industry experience is a plus. Good benefits include health, dental, vision, and pension. Earn as you learn to service the best garage door customers in KC. Apply today at overheaddoorkc.com.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. So add those human pawns, loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. They're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
Dick Ray, he's your plumbing magician. Dick Ray, he's a man on a mission. When your pipes are leaking, your bathroom's flooding, and you're feeling kind of blue, there's a master plumber who knows just what to do. He's there for you, and he'll do it all with skill and precision. Dick Ray, he's your plumbing magician.
This month, Dick Ray will clean any drain for $79.
It's back to school and football. Save time with Old Shawnee Pizza and get the Monday special, a single topping medium pizza for only $10.99. Call or go to ShawneePizza.com today. Any single topping medium pizza for only $10.99. Old Shawnee Pizza, now 3 locations.
Summer is winding down. Kids are heading back to school. We already got preseason football going on, college football. All that's going to start back up here very, very soon. So you don't want to waste this summer with glasses or contacts holding you back. I've told you guys for quite some time how many years ago I thought I could never get rid of my contacts or glasses. But that all changed when I called up Dury Vision and found out that I was a candidate for LASIK. I went in for my free consultation. A couple days later, I went in for my procedure. It took about 16 seconds or so in each eye with the laser, and that was it. And now I wake up and I see every single day. And the reason why I mention you don't want another summer to pass you by is because right now at Dury Vision, they have their exclusive end-of-summer LASIK savings event going on where you can save up to $1,000 on your procedure. Again, you want to do this before it is too late. You can give them a call at 913-491-3330. You can even go online to DuryVision.com and schedule a virtual consultation. So if you can't fit it into your schedule it virtually and do it over Zoom as well. DuryVision.com. Tell them Gold from 610 sent you.
Hey everybody, this is Andrew Filipponi here, bringing you the Parlay of the Day, brought to you by FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Every year, at least one NFL team goes worst to first. Last year, it was Jacksonville. Who will it be in 2023? The most popular answer is the Jets, plus 220 to win the AFC East, and the most bet-on team to win the Super Bowl. My personal favorite is the Bears to win the NFC North at plus 430. I expect a big breakout from Fields in his second year in the offense with a beefed-up O-line and a new wide receiver, so consider this parlay. The Chiefs to win the AFC West with the Bears to win the NFC North.
That's it for the Parlay of the Day, brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app today and make every moment more with America's #1 sportsbook.
21 plus in President, Kansas. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Tailgates in Turkey? Yes, please. This season, score a touchdown with U.S. soy-fed turkey. Versatile, tasty, and truly different, turkey can be used for succulent sliders, killer kebabs, championship chili, or even brilliant burnt ends. You can get all the recipes and register for a chance to win the ultimate prize pack worth nearly $2,000, including a portable Traeger grill, Yeti cooler, Chiefs gear, and much more at tailgatewithturkey.com. You'll be the pride of the parking lot. Come on, KC, turn up your tailgate at tailgatewithturkey.com.
Visit jrhailcheck.com to find out when storms last pounded your roof. You have a limited time to file a claim.
Always better with a roof from JR.
Go to jrhailcheck.com.
Dick Ray, he's your plumbing magician. Dick Ray, he's a man on a mission. When your pipes are leaking, your bathroom's flooding, and you're feeling kind of blue, there's a master plumber who knows just what to do. He's there for you, and he'll do it all with skill and precision. Dick Ray, he's your plumbing magician.
This month, Dick Ray will clean any drain for $79.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail, the ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
So you're in the middle of a kitchen update, and you can't tell if that's a faucet stem or a flange. With the Home Depot app, doing doesn't miss a beat. It'll find what you need in a snap, and it'll show you how to find it in store with a tap. Or get it delivered free. For doing that doesn't stop, download the Home Depot app. It's made for doing.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios. On Tuesday, August 29th, someone from 610 Sports Radio will be throwing out the first pitch before the Royals game. Find out who and come join all of us for 610 Day at the K. KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty, always live on the free Odyssey app.
Say so, then we say so, cause we with it. If we lay low, then we lay low, cause we chillin'. Everybody
In the break, it is important to note, Pete Sweeney's requested to be back in the Guillotine League.
He knows the consequences of what he did. What he did with you a couple years ago. You allowed him to control your team.
No,
It's the rules.
other way, but you guys started a whole second league.
Well, yeah.
Did Pete do anything more wrong than what you did?
No, what happened is once we found out we decided to start a different league, you sabotaged one of the leagues. You allowed.
I didn't sabotage. I tried to win.
Pete was not in the league because we overbooked it a couple years ago.
Then he got in your second league.
And he got in the second league, and then you had him join the league, and you were operating his team the entire time. So he wasn't dedicated enough to run his own team. That point, much like the hot dog derby, Pete. He's banned from the hot dog derby for cheating. He's banned from Guillotine League for cheating.
It's not technically cheating to let someone else run your team.
If I invite someone to join the league and they're not the one actually running the team, that's a problem.
I think we should consider it. Let the text line decide.
We also
913-586-7610.
Spots accounted for, you know? We got you, me, Drew, Nick from last year winning, Nick Price from Jefferson.
The previous winner always gets in.
That's right. And then now we've got listeners. It's supposed to be a listener league, not a Cody and Gold friend league.
Pete was listening.
Yeah, sorry, Pete. What was his reasoning why you should get in? What's his pitch?
You made me sit and sweat all summer.
He did sit when we had guests. That's true. That definitely did occur. And I think the last one, Felix, he said was even worse, right?
Yeah, he said that one was bad.
We haven't been in studio. I don't know where they saved the drop, unfortunately. It's not in our normal. This is the downside of not being in studio. So, there it is. It just says wet pants.
Your pants are gonna be a bit wet from Trace Smith.
That's what you told Pete.
Yeah.
Told him his pants are going to be wet.
Well, I think he would like compensation for that.
We'll see, Pete. No bribes allowed this year for those texting in. No bribes.
We're doing a bribe-free year one time, you know?
Someone says we can let Pete in, but you have to do a punishment spin.
God, it's been so long. We're just going to fill in a whole wheel?
We'll come up with some new stuff.
Just to have me spin once to let Pete in?
That might be the consequence. You want him in so bad, we'll come up. Drew and I can come up with new punishments.
I do a punishment or Pete does?
Well, you both can, but I think you're the one that's trying to change the rules here.
I like Pete. What rules?
We already had our allotment for the league.
Yeah, that's true.
For the Guillotine League. So many X amount of listeners.
Yeah, we haven't given him away yet. That's why, Pete was
I
listening.
offered a spot to Aaron Ladd. He didn't want in.
Wait. So you're saying this is a listener league, and now all of a sudden you're just trying to give Aaron Ladd spots?
Well, because Sean Barber's not in it this year, so we had an opening. And Aaron Ladd did not screw over the league a couple years ago.
No, that was the second league. It wasn't even the primary league. It was your fake secondary league. It's not as important. You have to admit.
Text line says both of you have to do it. If Pete wants in, he's got to spin the wheel as well.
I think we got to workshop this. I'm open to a lot of different suggestions. Meanwhile,
is he going to actually run his team?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Pete's dedicated.
Well, just not that year he wasn't.
Well, I specifically requested access to his team,
Okay.
Because I wanted to sabotage your secondary league from within.
Pete's over on 41 yesterday, pre and post game and all that. I don't know. Maybe too busy. Too busy? Big time in us. I don't know if he's ready for the Guillotine League.
Okay, we'll let him respond. He'll be on the show tomorrow, post-practice, as we know.
That's right.
So we'll allow him to respond in time.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on social media, it continues with Chris Jones in what is easily the most bizarre of all the bizarre posts we've seen. For what seeming is no reason. You had mentioned that you posted on Instagram him holding a suitcase. Well, apparently that suitcase, that black and white photo of him traveling, was to go hang out with film director Michael Bay.
Right.
And in that, Michael Bay commented, he just told me he quit the team. And then the next photo, they're smiling. So we are to presume that this is a joke. And what you described to me before this show started feels exactly how I feel like it's happening with fans, which I'll be honest, surprises me a little, which is fans are getting to the point, and I think you are too, and I'll let you explain, to the point of you're seeing enough of it that you're like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah, look.
Like, I'm tired of this. You don't think that they're a better team without Chris Jones.
Of course, well, I've told you, they can't win the Super Bowl, in my opinion, without Chris Jones. That's how vital he is. He was the best defender on the defensive line at minimum, if not one of the best defenders in football a season ago. I've told you I would do 4 for 105. The Chiefs, obviously, right now are still trying to negotiate a deal that they think is fair for both parties and fair for them. And we sit here in contract negotiations, the dirty side of the sport, the business side, fans don't like anyway. I have no problem with the player utilizing the one bit of leverage that they have, which is right now the spot that Chris Jones finds himself in. So that I have no issue with. I'll be honest, the whole social media game stuff, I am kind of sick of that part. I'm not even telling you, like, hey, get your ass to camp. What are you doing? That's not what I'm saying.
Just like, stop posting.
I'm kind of done with the trolling on social media. It was funny, like the first couple posts, like a little. I'm kind of done with it. His agents sitting out emojis back to him with sunglasses on and all this in response to some of these posts. I'm just done with the social media game. You're enjoying the holdout a little too much. I'm good.
I guess it doesn't bother me as much because I don't think he's doing it in a way that I think is separate from his actual personality. I think this is who Chris Jones is as a person.
Okay.
He likes having fun on social media. Even at times when he's with the team, he might say these things. He'll randomly post, I'm going to be Defensive Player of the Year. He'll say, it doesn't seem way out of character for him. So it doesn't bother me as much because I'm fine with his decision to hold out.
Mm-hmm. Same.
I understand why he wants the money, why he thinks holding out might get him the money, and all these things in between. I do think he'll eventually have to show up, whether he gets the contract or not. And I hope that he chooses that timeline of what I've heard like Nate Taylor and other people discuss, which is like 2 weeks before the opening game. So I guess that would be next Thursday would be the time. So about a week and a half away from, okay, even if this isn't worked out, please start showing up to work now. The other one seemed like classic, I'm just going to poke around and see how people react on social media. That one was just weird. Why were you with Michael Bay? I had so many more questions that had nothing to do with football. I'm like, all right. I'm guessing Michael Bay's trying to make a joke here. And for the most part, he makes terrible movies. Not every movie he's made is terrible, but a lot of them are. So
they were at some part. My guess is the agent for Chris Jones.
Trying to get him in a movie.
Or just knows somebody that knows that person's like, hey, do you want to go? There's a cool party we're invited to. Do you want to go? I'm sure it was something very...
You're free. You want to go?
Very small like that. But then they were joking with the photo and Michael Bay's caption saying, he told me he quit the team. Again, I'm just like, it's jumped the shark here a little bit. I'm good.
I'll say this. That when I first saw the photo, I'm like, this got to be fake. This has to be a fake photo and a fake caption. It was so far out of the realm of what I thought the next Chris Jones social media story was going to be. I was like thrown. The next time you'd be surprised if I found out he was on a ship in the Caribbean, in a one-man submarine or something. I'd be like, it went to such a deep leap. Before is what everyone does. Post rap lyrics or post a movie quote, and then we all get to guess. You know? Then all of a sudden he was just hanging out with Michael Bay, and it made no sense. Just so confused by it. I get the notion. I think people are just tired of hearing because they want him here. I don't think fans have started to flip on the just good riddance, because I would warn you very seriously about that attitude. One, Chris Jones has been one of the most likable players in Kansas City.
Yeah.
For the Kansas City Chiefs. He is one of the most loved players during that time. Don't let a couple of social media posts change your opinion on the man. But also, they are so much worse without Chris Jones if for some reason it were to go that way. You and I both don't think he's going to get traded. But in a year from now, they're a much worse team unless they can instantly find somebody who has even close to the impact Chris Jones does, which is not going to be easy, even with the draft pick or draft picks they would get back for him. If they got draft pick back for him, because he's not technically under contract at the end of this year.
They have 3 more practices up in St. Joe. That's the other part, too, that I guess timeline keep an eye on. There's always this idea, do you really want to go up to St. Joe and deal with the heat and all that? It's much easier to just show
3
up.
more days, man. That's
show up after that when they're back in KC. Does that move the needle a little bit?
Oh, did you look at the weather? The next 3 days in St. Joe are a high of 78, 81, and 84.
Today would have been, now it's getting cloudy outside, but earlier today, no humidity. It was beautiful outside.
I think the high temperature is 77-ish.
But there's no humidity. Of course, we're not outside doing our show today because it's actually perfect.
It's gorgeous, not raining.
Tomorrow will be nice in St. Joe. But yeah, no, today it's gorgeous outside. I went with shorts and a long sleeve shirt. It's a great one of my favorite combos to go with, you know?
If only I'd won the lottery. I could have built us a deck out here. Wouldn't that have been nice?
You have 7 of them at your house already.
I'd like one more here.
Yeah, 7 decks.
Yeah, the text line was asking earlier. They were trying to inform Drew of the things he might need to know for the show when I invited him to stay in my basement.
There's a lot of things Drew's going to learn over the next weeks and months ahead.
I told him I didn't build the decks myself. They were just already there.
And there's actually, 3?
Okay, there's the
4?
front porch. It's a deck, right? I've asked you, and then there's a screen porch on the back of the house, so I guess that's 2. There's the deck that the shed used to be on that I haven't put a new shed on yet. That's 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a 2-tiered deck.
So 4 and 5. So there's 5 right there.
And then there's a stone
6.
patio paver area. It's not a deck. Definitively not a deck.
6.
But is another available outdoor seating area.
Too many.
I didn't put them there. The guy didn't want to mow. It would have kind of been on a hill, so they just put a bunch of decks there. What do I care? I have seating on all of them. I sit on one at a time. Slowly. 1 day per week. Mondays is for the front deck. Tuesdays for the porch. You got to come over, watch a movie one of these times, or watch a sporting event on the projector.
Could do that. No Cipino. No Cipino, please.
What would you like to eat? Make steak sandwiches the other day. I can do those. That seems up your alley. That felt like pretty. Or we just do burgers on the grill, you know?
That's probably the way to go.
That's pretty safe.
Something like that. We probably won't get sick that way.
I didn't get sick from the other stuff either. I told you, dude, it was a stomach bug. It was a bug that they knew about beforehand.
So that's seafood, right? The Cipino, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
No seafood for you?
No, my wife is a no seafood person because she got sick, actually. It wasn't anything related to Cipino at all. She just is off seafood. I love seafood.
Oh,
I can't do.
I might actually. I'd be down to try it. Now, if I get sick of
it.
Drew, don't do this to yourself.
Drew. Dude, it was great. I had sea bass and mussels and a scallop in there. So good. I made the bread for it.
I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself.
I tried to warn you. I tried to warn you, Drew. If you get sick again, then it gets to criminal level at that point. If he gets sick, then something's up. You tried to
poisoning people.
You tried to poison our prior producer. Didn't work. He survived it. We just got a new producer after the last month of not having one. the Cipino thing, you got to at least wait a little bit before you're allowed to serve Cipino.
Maybe-
Someone did point out, Drew, they said, if you don't have a criminal record, get ready. All Cody thinks and dreams about is crime, committing them, seeing how he can get away with them. There's a lot of stories that come up. Cody's giving bank robbing advice at times. There's a lot of things that have happened. You're
I
going to
also
learn
have
a
the
lot.
longest criminal history on this show, I believe.
You do, by
well,
far.
I don't know Drews. He might have a shady criminal past. Who knows?
He was clear enough to pass a background check, I think. I assume we do those
So
things.
was I.
But that's it. That's it. After that, it's open.
Answer one question, Drew. Have you ever been arrested?
No.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, then I've got a longer criminal history than Drew.
You can. How about this? You make burgers. We'll start there, and then we'll go to the Cipino a little bit later. It's a
step up.
I have to gain my trust level for your
That's smart.
cooking. There you go.
And it sounds like I'm about to make his wife something different if they come over together. No Cipino for her.
Yeah, she probably wouldn't want that.
I'll make something else.
Smart.
That's fine. Be like the kids. Whatever the kids eat. The kids also don't eat Cipino.
She's all about chicken nuggets. So
Hey.
See?
Perfect.
Problem solved.
Perfect.
Throw those dino nuggets in the oven while I'm making some Cipino.
Dino nuggets.
still kids at heart. We are. Yeah.
That's fine. Gold has a, as you'll again learn, childlike palate at times.
Sometimes. Or just Chipotle all the time. Had that. Oh, dude, yesterday was great. It was reminded me of my NFL Sunday. It's back, baby. 11 o'clock or so, I got my Chipotle, got ready, had the TV set up, watched NFL football at noon, even if it was preseason. It felt right. We're back in our groove a little bit.
Dog did the normal thing.
Yeah, 3 o'clock. I fell asleep on the couch for like 25 minutes or so. It was great. Dog slept during the entire Chiefs game. The dog has figured it out. Noon kickoffs. She won't bug me the entire noon kickoffs. It's great. She sleeps through them.
What kind of dog do you have, Gold?
I got her from a shelter many years ago. She's a mix of Beagle and Rhodesian Ridgeback. It's obviously a weird mix.
Wow.
But she's like, she'll be actually 10 here next month.
Well, that's why
Getting
she's
old.
sleeping through the game.
Getting old, man. Dog's getting old.
Well, I hope that we don't have to relive my advice for you.
Well, yeah, don't say that. That's terrible.
That dog lived. What do you mean? The story, it's happy. I don't even remember what we were talking
Had to
about.
do with the stadium.
Oh, that's what
We
it
were
was.
saying that the Chiefs should not put $1 billion into a renovated Arrowhead, and then you gave the example, and you used the example of a dog that has cancer, and whether or not you want to pay to keep it alive. That was the example you gave.
Yeah.
Dark.
Yeah, it was
Dark.
It was a pretty dark. It was a pretty dark.
Man, oh
analogy.
man.
I thought it made sense at the time, but in retrospect, I should
mentioned-
have got something a little happier.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier that at some point Drew's going to have to pick an allegiance with the college programs around here, whether it's KU, K-State, or Missouri. And we now know just how many games, the answer is 0, that Michigan's going to be without their head coach. You see the latest, Jim Harbaugh, his suspension, he had a deal with the NCAA. He was going to miss 4 games this year. He's now expected to coach this entire season. That's because an agreement between him and the NCAA has fallen through. That's because there were penalties from what the NCAA claimed to be false statements. And so Harbaugh made these investigators. That's now broken down. And so this is going to drag out at least for another year or so. And he's going to be able to coach this entire season. Usually you just push things further down the road when it comes to the NCAA, and it actually works for you.
But the
Especially
system's
if you're
a little different now. Whatever the old appeal system that Kansas applied for, that's different now, right?
The IARP, the independent rules panel or whatever. The thing here with Harbaugh, what's interesting is we know he was interviewing for NFL jobs this past year. The Broncos were one of them. He may never get punished by the NCAA because he might just bolt before he has to deal with that anyway.
This is the weirdest thing ever. He agreed to, like, he was fine with a punishment. Like, he's like, I'll take the 4 games and that'd be it. But now the NCAA is like, you didn't tell us the truth. And so now he's like, well, then I won't take the 4 games and we will take this thing even higher up the list. I think it's exactly what you're saying. I think he just bought himself a year to get himself to the NFL. The real question is, who is left who still wants Harbaugh as an NFL head coach? Sean Payton could barely get a job last year. People are still banging down the door. You're not the offensive coordinator for a top 7 offense. That's normally the way to get hired anymore.
Right. I mean, think about right now on paper, what NFL jobs do you think heading into this season, this will change, heading into the season, what NFL jobs do you think could open up at the end of this season? The Raiders job could.
Chargers could.
Raiders could open up. Yeah, Chargers could. I think the Raiders has a decent chance of opening up if they move on from McDaniels.
Washington?
Yes.
Could. God, who else? I'm trying to think about if there's...
I think Cleveland, if things go south in a big way.
Pretty south. I think Stefanski probably gets another year, but yeah, I could see
Stefanski, things could go poorly, and you could see him getting knocked out.
Saints, maybe?
Dennis Allen, that's a good one as well.
For sure.
Yeah, that's
true.
a good one.
That's
Dennis Allen, if things with Derek Carr don't go the way I think they will, which is
I
a
think if the
division
Titans
title.
became like a 3-win team, maybe. But like Vrabel's too good of a head coach.
He'd get a
that's
job.
a long shot. I'm just not saying it's a 0%.
Vrabel would also get another job immediately.
Do we count if McVay would just like go to TV?
Last year was the year would have made more sense.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay is another one. Todd Bowles is probably
So, I mean,
done.
that's about 10 jobs
there's
that could become available. And there'll probably be 6 or 7. You know the
There's
deal.
always 5 or 6, yeah. There's always 5 or 6 that open up.
Hey, don't sleep on the Cowboys. Losing that head coach.
That's in the mix,
McCarthy,
too.
yeah.
He is just, for as much as he's not a good owner. Jerry Jones is a bad owner because he's the general manager, too, and he's trying to do too many things. But one thing Jerry Jones is not impatient with his head coaches. He seemingly gives them longer than any other failed head coaches in the rest of the NFL.
Someone on the text line, 913-586-7610, says the Cardinals' job. No, they just hired a coach this year. They could win one game, and they're not firing their coach after 1 year.
Especially because they got accused of
and their starting quarterback
malfeasance.
isn't going to play. Like, so there's no way.
Jonathan Gannon, right?
Yeah, it would have to be. He would have to do something terrible, like for it to get. And then the Lions. Someone says the Lions. No, even if they don't meet expectations, Dan Campbell's not getting fired. They love Dan Campbell up there. You're not getting fired.
He has already exceeded expectations in year 2, which means the only way he'd be gone is if things like fell apart and it was because he wasn't, holding the unit together. It seems like such a long shot that it's not worth mentioning, I guess is how I'd put it with them.
That's fair.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's the same amount, but I mean, there were plenty of job openings last year. And again, Harbaugh and Peyton couldn't get jobs. They just went to the same people they've gone before. They go from one guy to another. I think the fascinating thing to me is I cannot remember, and maybe you can, I cannot remember a single time where I remember there being an announcement that Harbaugh was going to be suspended for the first 4 games. Everyone seemed on board with it. And then all of a sudden they're like, nope, deal's off, and I'm not doing any of these things. All because Michigan, like Harbaugh probably tried to soften what was actually happening in Michigan. And then the NCAA is like, whoa. 4 games might not be enough. You might have been lying to us. And he's like, well, then I'll take 0, and I'll see you in a year. He's trying to run off.
Michigan tried to keep putting out there that this had to do with him buying cheeseburgers for recruits during the COVID period or whatever. That's what they've made everybody believe. The NCAA in their statement said this is about more than cheeseburgers. Literally, that was in the statement that they put out. So they're going after Michigan and at least Harbaugh, it sounds like, at this point. But the NCAA moves slow. I mean, here we're in 2023. It'll be 2024 before we know it. And the KU situation was from 2017, and it's still not resolved. I mean,
I can't take it anymore. You have to bury something if you can't solve it in 5 years.
Well, it's just like the effect it'll have is just so minuscule. They've won a national championship since. They're one of the favorites to win it again this year. They just landed over the weekend a top 4 recruit, number 1 center for next year's class. Like, if something ever happened in 2024, 2025, it'll almost be 10 years after the fact. Nobody's going to care at that point.
Also, you shouldn't be punishing people for something that happened 10 years ago. Just punish Bill Self. Give him 20 games or whatever the hell you want to do and move on with your life.
But as you mentioned, 2 different review panels or committees that are looking at the 2. But the NCAA always has been a joke, and at least at the Division I level. It's important for Division II athletics and what it does to support those. But at the higher levels, it's just the NCAA. Honestly, they're just cashing checks. That's all they're doing. They're not. You don't need the NCAA for D1 college football. You don't.
The AP Top 25 came out today?
It did.
Were you disappointed that Kansas didn't make it?
I didn't think they shouldn't be in the top 25. No.
They got into the top 25 last year, and they're returning their, I've been told, long shot Heisman Trophy candidate.
They shouldn't be preseason top 25. No. K-State's in the top 15, top 16.
Deservingly so, by the way.
Yeah.
Kansas received 10
polls,
votes, by the way.
Yeah, that's fun. I mean, my opinion on polls, whether it's for college basketball or for college football specifically. They don't mean a damn thing, especially the preseason ones. College football, we get the college football playoff rankings in November. That's what actually matters. The AP truly is meaningless for football. It's just a marketing thing. I've told you that. I think it's just so people can say we got a top 15 matchup. Okay, great.
It's for TV stuff.
That's
and it works well for that, by the way, because are you or are you not more likely to watch a college football game randomly if you tune in and you see 723 than 8 and some school you're not familiar with? I mean, you're just more likely, even if it's Western Kentucky or somebody that you don't think of as being a top 25 team, like Tulane is in the top 25. You're not going to randomly tune into, Alabama, Tulane. They're not playing each other this year, but just generally. But if all of a sudden you see Alabama 3 and Tulane 24, you're like, ooh, top 25 matchup. It works on me. The marketing scheme is effective.
That's all it's for, though. These times, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything anymore.
I know another thing that you hate. Kansas is ranked 36th.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
That's 36th is what
they're
they're
not.
ranked.
They're
Gold.
unranked, man.
No, they're ranked 36th.
There's no such.
I don't like it either. I just think it's funny.
No such thing as being ranked 36th. You're right.
But that's what they are based on the votes.
It always drives me crazy. Cody knows this. That it's a top 25 because there's 25 teams. You can say you're receiving votes, but you're not. Well, I'll see tweets that'll come out. It'll be the team with the second most votes outside of receiving votes, but they're 27th in the country. No, there is no 27th in the country. You're not ranked.
I know we just arbitrarily decided on the number 25.
It sounds nice. Top 25.
I'm not saying it doesn't sound nice, but it is an arbitrary number.
Yeah, but it's
30. You could
25.
40. There's like 400 Division I schools. We can't.
What, you want top 50?
I think 30.
We're ranked
40?
44th in the country. Give me a break. Ugh.
I don't know, man. The college basketball team I cheer for has never even made an NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden you told me to crack the top 50, I'd be feeling
maybe Drew will just choose.
riding high.
Maybe Drew will just choose. We've been mentioning the three other. Maybe he'll just pick the UMKC
He's going to choose the Ruse?
That's a bold take if he does that.
It's going to be tough sledding, Drew.
No football program either.
That is correct. How did you correctly identify the Summit
He's
League?
been studying up. Yeah,
I am a college sports junkie, so I can give you.
I saw you're putting out. You have a college football guide or something. You're
so I used to just like do it on paper, but I've gone like last year is the first year I did it on my laptop. I just made it's for all the FBS schools. It's not anything like Phil Steele or anything like that, but it gives like a little blurb at the bottom of some things that people can expect, some of the changes for this year, returning starters, some basic stats, third down conversion percentages, and then their schedule. And then the top 10 recruits they got, true freshmen, and then all the portal additions that they had as well. So
I can get that on your Twitter account or something down the road, I assume.
Yeah, I'm going to post it next by the Friday before the season starts, so the 25th.
We got to get you a Heisman vote. You know, you actually cover college football. It sounds like you're actually in it. We had
our previous producer had one, and we told him to give it up.
For real?
Yeah, we still think he should give it up at this point. He's not covering local sports anymore. He's not. So I think should go to somebody else, either our guy Jay Bankley or you. I think actually we're gonna email the Heisman Trust and let them know that he doesn't work here anymore.
Tell him to give it to our other.
I'll
producer.
screenshot the email and I'll tag Nick in it. He can get his response.
It still seems weird that he had it the whole time.
Of course it was.
Just out of nowhere.
Of course it was. He told us the background of how it happened. But college football season, it'll be nice here in a couple weeks. Week 0, get that underway. And obviously,
it's what, 2 weeks away before the open of college football?
Yeah, week 0, I believe, is 2 weeks out.
Week 0. There's another stupid. We're talking about, dude. Look, if you're not going to say they're ranked 27th, no more week 0. We don't have to accept. We don't have to accept their nonsense of.
We don't.
There is no week 0. It's not a thing. It doesn't exist. It's week 1, and then the season ends whatever the final week is.
At least
Stop
with that,
calling things
at least
nonsense.
that is we actually do call it week 0. Nobody actually puts on the screen ranked 27th. Like at least it is actually. I'm with you.
I won't.
Week
I'm
0
not
is stupid.
bending to their will.
But yeah,
it's a dumb name. I don't know why they.
People are campaigning for which local schools Drew should roll with going forward. Someone says, Drew, go with K-State. Fesco, Gold, Rob, ride with KU. See that rise with Missouri. Be the K-State guy. It's a bold choice. Again, people can make their pitch. I think before the college football season starts, you gotta align yourself
with one of the three.
With one of the three
one of the locals.
I think with one of them, you got to pick.
Missouri,
make a
Kansas
commitment.
State, or Kansas.
And again, there's pros and cons to each, man. You got to decide what's actually meaningful to you. There's definitely pros and cons to each one of the locals.
Kansas football hasn't really won anything either, but Missouri athletics has never really won anything. And
K-State's never won a national championship.
No, they've got more football success than the other two.
For sure.
By a mile.
For sure. K-State.
They've made it. They've only made the Elite Eight. They've got
correct. That was the whole thing this past year. Oof. And again, each fan base is known for different, they're stereotypes, I would say, right? I won't name which one. You guys can guess, and you guys can get upset with. That means it must be true if you
the
guys
way
think,
you're talking is the arrogant Kansas fan. Just lean in there, Drew.
If you think
that's that fan base.
If you think that I'm talking about you, that means it must be true. There's you can choose a fan base that's pretty arrogant. You can choose one that is very sensitive all the time, and then another one that just doesn't win and knows it. So you can pick, and if you're listening, you know which one it is. Yeah.
Swallow them.
Yeah, I feel like there's a criteria. I'm not going to be a bandwagon fan.
No,
so
go all in.
I feel like KU is out of the is out of the running from a college hoop standpoint.
From a hoop
college
standpoint,
hoops.
yes,
Okay.
but not from a football standpoint.
Which I mean, Kansas State was really good last year.
Won the Big 12.
Yep. They've got the football thing going for them as well, beating TCU last year, and I think Missouri is a team that is going to win 6 or 7 games tops in that conference, so that'll be a little bit tough to.
Wow, are you leaning towards? Is he leaning towards the Wildcats? Is that where is he leaning? Okay,
I'll have to come up with a criteria.
Start wearing some purple over there.
He is a Bengals fan, so choosing a team with exactly 0 championships would be very Missouri. A different Tiger. Just kind of makes
I will
sense.
say there's a bit of an affinity because I'm a Bengals fan for teams that just suck and they traditionally just haven't won.
It's like the lifetime of being a Royals fan for the longest time. Is I did feel bad for the bad teams through a lifetime of not being able to support. It seemed like a good enough one.
I think that's why people are so excited to see the Lions, and plus with them being on Hard Knocks as well last year, it helped.
Text line's accusing me of yelling more again. That's all.
Sometimes we'll be at camp. Peel back the curtain. We'll be at camp in our tent.
People are looking at me.
And there's people in front of us. And we'll be having a normal conversation. And then Cody will just raise his voice really loud like that. And people will all turn around like, what the hell, man? What the hell? That happens a couple of times at camp.
It's just who I am.
Coming up next, we'll get to what's trending. Then back into the defense for the Chiefs, particularly the rookie defensive end, Felix Anudike-Uzomah, what he showed us against New Orleans.
Cody and Gold on 610 Sports Radio, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
When you have asphalt and concrete needs, there's only one company in Kansas City you need to call. That's Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Look, they're one contractor, all things parking lot. It doesn't matter which things you need. Asphalt paving services, those maintenance solutions, or even major concrete work, Gann Asphalt and Concrete can take care of it for you. Go to their website for yourself and take a look, GANNasphalt.com, or give them a call, 816-354-1214.
Made to shine. Real stories from Shane Company customers.
I was 20 years old, stationed in Hawaii, and 2 weeks before I was deployed, I met the love of my life. The second I returned, I bought a cheap ring at the Base Exchange and proposed. 15 years later, I went to Shane Company and got her a one-of-a-kind ring with a pear-shaped diamond. It's the ring she deserves.
Shine forever with Shane Company's hand-selected diamonds, as unique as your love story. Shane Company, fine jewelry since 1929.
Score big this year with your home team, Ag Power. From powerful John Deere tractors plowing through the toughest terrains to mighty zero-turn mowers cutting through grass like a linebacker, Ag Power is your all-star defensive line when it comes to tackling projects. They have a variety of tractor packages designed for properties both big or small. Regardless of the task, you'll always be on the winning team with Ag Power. Visit agpower.com to find the location nearest you. Welcome home, Missouri.
We're talking with Dr. Chris Hettinger, board-certified urologist at Kansas City Urology Care. Tell us what sets KCUC apart from other urology practices.
The things that make us stand out are the technology at our disposal, the quality of the surgeons, and the experience from years and years of robotic surgery.
KCUC was the first to bring robotic surgery to Kansas City, right?
We performed the first robotic surgery in Kansas City in 2003 and continue to perform hundreds of urologic robotic surgeries in the Kansas City metro area every year. Robotic surgery offers less blood loss, shorter hospitalization, less pain, shorter recovery period. After robotic surgery, many of my patients get back to work within a week or two. For abdominal surgery, it's revolutionized what we've done.
From problems urinating to sexual function to prostate cancer, see the experts. Kansas City Urology Care. At KCUC, you see the best in KC. To make an appointment, visit appointments.kcurology.com.
Chiefs Kingdom, Mitch Holtis here, voice of the Chiefs. I am pumped for our upcoming Chiefs Kingdom Show broadcast experience with special guest Patrick Mahomes, hosted by Hy-Vee at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium on September the 11th. Hy-Vee wants you to be our guest for this exclusive event. Enter to win every time you purchase a 6-count package of Bakery Fresh Chiefs Ice Cookies and swipe your Fuel Saver Plus Perks card. Every package purchased equals one chance to win from now through August 24th at your area Hy-Vee. No purchase necessary, void where prohibited. See store for details.
Back to school time is exciting and hectic. You can count on Hy-Vee to lighten your load when you shop with Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, and leave the shopping to us. It's easy to create and save a grocery list, shop specials, and earn fuel saver discounts, all while you're stuck in the carpool line. Upgrade to a Premium Plus membership and get free delivery and other great perks. Make back to school easier with help from Hy-Vee. Download the Aisles Online app or visit Hy-Vee.com today.
Tailgates and turkey, yes please. This season, score a touchdown with U.S. soy-fed turkey. Versatile, tasty, and truly different, turkey is always a winner. You can get all the recipes and register for a chance to win the ultimate prize pack at tailgatewithturkey.com. You'll be the pride of the parking lot.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Feeling misbehaved? Stay back after class and enjoy epic drink specials all week at the Back to School Costume Party. The Back to School Costume Party starts in a couple days. Come celebrate the end of your kids' summer break with the naughty schoolgirls at your local lodge.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Clorox disinfecting wipes help clean thousands of life's messes, like mess number 5, food delivery grease spots on the kitchen counter.
Pad thai, oh my.
And mess number 41, coffee grounds that miss the filter.
Let's try this again.
And mess number 12, stepping directly into that deceivingly wet patch of grass.
Sorry, dude.
Clorox disinfecting wipes are there for you for thousands of life's messes and kill 99.9% of viruses and bacteria when used as directed. Shop now at Clorox.com. Clorox, start clean.
Tonight, I've got a bonfire at the lake with friends. First, I need a spritz of my Off Clean Feel. My summer style is all about fun and not about... I don't need mosquito bite red clashing with this crochet top. It's purple, it's bright. I could definitely pair it with my amethyst eyeshadow palette. Best part is, ugly mosquitoes won't be messing with my fiery vibes. With Off Clean Feel, I've got 8 hours of not sticky, fragrance-free protection. Get your pre-party protection on with Off Clean Feel. SC Johnson, a family company.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. Stop in now to enjoy the key lime pie concrete.
Let me tell you about my good friend Andy from Andy's Frozen Custard. He's from Kansas City, never misses a game, and serves the world's finest frozen custard. Tailgate with a Pick 6, or grab a freshly made custom treat before or after a game. And tell him Mitch and Andy sent you.
What's trending?
All right, let's check in on the hot topics trending.
Number one on what's trending, the Chiefs, of course, yesterday, 26-24 loss in their preseason opener against the New Orleans Saints. We'll talk more about what we saw specifically with the defensive line and Felix and Udike Uzama in just a little bit. But just 3 days left of training camp up in St. Joe, and then the Chiefs head back down to KC before their second preseason game out in Arizona on Saturday afternoon. But it was good to have football back on the radio also. You could hear Mitch, Danon, Josh, and Dan Israel. Also, it was great to hear Art Haynes again, who was back on the pregame show, obviously, last year. About a year ago this time, he was not able to continue, had a very serious health scare. And so it's awesome just to hear Art back on the broadcast, too, over on our sister station, 106.5 The Wolf.
Next up on What's Trending, Wander Franco has been placed on Major League Baseball's restricted list for stemming from social media allegations involving him and an underage girl in the Dominican Republic. I'll allow you to do a little bit of research on it. We honestly had a conversation about how to discuss this on the show, but until more information comes out, I don't think there's a good way to discuss it on the show just yet. You can see the allegations. They are terrifying for a number of reasons. You hope that they aren't true, but he's been placed on the restricted list while Major League Baseball and the team investigates it. He will be paid while on this restricted list. That's kind of uncommon, but I think it's because he's choosing, at least at the moment, to self-impose it some. Him and the team agreed to put him on this list, so he won't be there for their upcoming road trip in San Francisco.
Next up on What's Trending, this is a wild story that has to do, of course, with the movie The Blind Side and the story with Michael Orr, who retired NFL offensive lineman now. But you guys remember 2009, the movie The Blind Side came out. This story about this family, right, that adopted this kid. He became a hell of a football player as well. Today, at least, there's new allegations out that this whole thing could have been fake, the adoption part of it. Michael Orr filed a petition in Tennessee alleging that the couple, the Tuohys, I believe is how you pronounce it, took Orr into their home as a high school student, never adopted him. Instead, he says 3 months after he turned 18 back in 2004, the couple tricked him into signing a document that made them his conservators, which gave them legal authority to make business deals in his name. He also alleges that they used their power to strike a deal that paid them and their 2 birth children millions of dollars in royalties from the film, The Blind Side, and also allowed them to continue to profit off his name, image, and likeness for their organization, their foundation they built. Obviously, really dirty, ugly situation. Hope it's not true, obviously, but man,
He's saying he just found out, if you're wondering about the timing.
In February. He said he found out in February that this document that he signed wasn't what he thought he signed. And awful. I mean, terrible if this is awful if this is actually what occurred. It kind of sours you on the whole feel-good story that it was.
His story's still cool, but yeah, the whole family part of it and all this stuff obviously makes you feel a whole lot worse. It's sad that he just now realizing what they might have tricked him into during that time when he was 18 years old, right? Easy to sign something you didn't realize you're supposed to sign at 18 years old. Next up on What's Trending, James Harden is desperately trying to get out of Philadelphia. James Morey, you might remember Daryl Morey, he was the general manager in Houston when Harden was there. Well, now he's the GM in Philly with Harden there. Harden said today, I will not work with him. He is a liar. Publicly, very loudly. Morey has responded by saying he's not really worried about that. He's going to be a member of the 76ers. Harden's really, really good at getting himself traded and getting himself out of town. Even at times when owners or general managers or presidents are saying they won't. So I assume at the end Harden will get his way out of here. But this is a very, very public, screw that guy, I won't work with him.
Very NBA.
You only see in the NBA. Yes.
Yeah, it's a very NBA story.
Like Chris Jones saying, I hate Clark. It's not going down like that.
Yeah,
not Clark. I guess it'd be
Brett
Donovan?
No, Brett Veach in that case. Yeah, I mean, this is very NBA type story. I think he will get traded, by the way. I don't think James Harden will end up playing in Philadelphia this year. I think that relationship's completely soured, and players have more power to force moves, as we know, in the NBA than they have in any other sport. And the Sixers in general are under a lot of pressure because I don't think if they don't get to a finals in the next year or two, I think Joel Embiid will be the next guy that maybe he doesn't do it in the way that James Harden has. But I believe Joel Embiid will want out of Philadelphia in the next year or two. That organization, you only have so long to prove that you can go and assemble a championship team around a player. And before that player feels like he's got to go jump ship. And you may not like it, but we've seen it happen time and time again. That's what's trending. Here on Cody and Gold, we mentioned the AP Top 25 out. Georgia, number 1 in football. K-State comes in at number 16. KU does receive votes for the meaningless preseason college football poll that people make a big deal about. Same with college basketball. This is not a
I was about to say, why have you soured on polls?
I've always been soured on college football polls.
Who cares? They're innocent
and
fun.
College basketball. They don't mean anything, man. Neither way. None of them. They don't. Because
they mean something because I'll say this. If you were ranked outside the top 25, the odds of you having any chance of recovering from that to win a national championship are low.
But it has no bearing on that, man. It has no bearing. In college football, the college football playoff rankings are all that matter. So the AP poll means nothing. And then in college basketball, come Selection Sunday, they don't go off the AP poll. I mean, it's whatever the selection committee is thinking. They literally don't have any factor in the postseason for either sport.
Would you be all right with it if the college football playoff rankings started like week 4?
Sure. Fine. Yeah. Drag that out. That's fine. At least I know that the people making that ranking actually are the same people that are making the decision for the 4 teams, soon to be 8, that get in the college football playoff.
If you just look at it like it's a power ranking, then it's fine.
Well, that's
it's
what
like
power
an
rankings
NFL
are for,
power
though.
ranking. It's the same thing, except for An entire entity does it.
We know what those are. We don't try to act like they mean something. Whereas when AP polls for college basketball, when KU's preseason number 2 or 3 in college hoops, and K-State now is 16 in college football, like neither one matters. This is not a KU like hating on the college football poll. I don't think it matters for either. Even when KU's number 1 overall for college hoops, it truly doesn't mean anything, is all I'm saying. It just is for television. That's it.
It's for TV, but I also think that there's some part of this, like whether they want to admit it or not, there's some part of like all of these ranking systems that base still what they have to say on all of this stuff, on some decisions that come down the line.
Associated Press, like it's meaningless.
I know. I mean, I'm not saying it's the end-all be-all, but people still care.
Let's get back to the Chiefs a little bit before we hand things off to C-Dot and Rob on the drive here in about 15 minutes or so. Felix Anudike-Uzomah, rookie. We talked to him last week. Missed a lot of the OTA portion, set him back a little bit, trying to get up to speed, get comfortable. You could see the athleticism, though, out there on the field against New Orleans. You're wanting to see a player like that against second stringers, third stringers stand out if you're hoping he can elevate himself to contributing this year in regular season games. And I felt like he got a little bit of a mixed bag at times, right? I think he got pushed down on his feet one time, got the better of him, but he was noticeable on the field, which is what I want to see from a rookie in his preseason games. Do I notice you out on the field? Are you making an impact? Are you causing some issues with the run game, which I think he did as well? That was a promising sign. I think we all know he is still more of a project. He's very, very young. And Karlaftis, it took 10, 11 weeks last year to get going. It's probably going to take at least that. The question is, does he have as much time to learn because of how thin they are right now with a Minihue 6-game suspension? But I thought he stood out a little bit, which was a good sign. We'll see if he can build off of that for this next preseason game. But I think he exceeded my expectations for what was a preseason game yesterday.
It kind of has to, didn't he? They played him more than any other single defender in the game. And you and I spent, and I thought rightfully so, a little bit of time on Felix a week ago, because when Chris Jones wasn't showing up and when Minihue got suspended, and when Minihue was just out for a practice, remember, it was like Dana was out, Minihue was out. Everyone was hurt on the entire defensive line. And Felix was still running with the twos. I was like, kind of would like to see him playing a little bit more than that. But you and I both knew that he had missed a big chunk of the offseason and all these. I knew the reasons why he wasn't running with the ones, but it was also still concerning to me that he wasn't breaking through doing that. Then the next couple days after that, they were letting him run with the ones more and all that stuff with the injuries. But I just wanted to make sure he had it. I know that there's still plenty of players who don't, who are going to perform well in these. I don't think Danny Shelton, just because he got a sack, is going to get 15 of them this year for the Chiefs.
Look out.
But he was one of the most impressive players on defense for the entire Chiefs yesterday. Maybe the most. Because when you go back through, the first team defense got lit up.
Yeah.
No part of what they did. Drew Tranquill was probably one of the more impressive ones, too.
Tranquill would be the other name that comes to mind.
But Felix got pressured 3 or 4 times. He forced an interception. He was in and around the quarterback. That's what I'm looking for in a pass rusher, especially one taken in the first round. You thought Tranquill, by the way, he had a sack and led the team in tackles.
Played a lot. You know, he right now on the depth chart, he's behind Chanel, which we learned it is Chanel, not Chanel, by the way, as I heard people continue to say Chanel. We got that clarified last week.
We've learned
Remigio and Chanel.
We're going to learn these players' names soon enough.
That's right. No, Tranquill's going to play more. I think. Well, we've known that for we've known the Marquez thing for quite some time. That's still something that we've picked on very, very early on.
Well, he made it obvious.
All right. Well, the name is Marquez, by the way.
I'm sorry.
I love that clip. I just don't know what it is.
Come on, Cody.
He said, "Come on, Cody," to you.
Yeah, he did. That's not the worst thing I've said. But yes, anyway. But Marquez and all these others, I think when you're looking at Felix, we didn't know what kind of impact he was going to have his rookie year, and none of us are trying to under some sort of disillusion, right? That he was going to be a 10-sack player this year, a 7-sack player this year. I just needed another competent pass rusher who was going to grow into a good pass rusher in year 2 and in year 3, where you'd like him to be a really consistent 7 to 8 to 9 sack guy by the time, especially if you're spending any kind of first-round pick on him. That's all. And for him to show signs of life defensively, he's one of the few defensive players that I felt like did a nice job, a consistently good job in that game. He played more than anybody. He played a lot against 2s and 3s. But I'll take the win out of Felix, especially not knowing what kind of contribution we're going to get this year.
I really think other than the kid that got the interception as well, I would say Jamari Connor, Drew Tranquil, and Felix and Udike Uzama probably were the three players that stood out the most defensively yesterday against New Orleans. So we'll see. More playing time for some of the ones you would think on Saturday against Arizona. We'll see how that.
You and I have a feeling about the field that we should talk about later in the week.
Yeah, don't need to play the ones on that terrible field out at State Farm Stadium. They've played there. This will be the third time they played there in the last calendar year.
Should we? I was trying to think about it. Like, we've banned certain topics on the show. This one maybe we're guilty of. Should we stop caring that the Chiefs are not good in short yardage? I know that there was only one opportunity in this game, but they had a 4th and 1. They ran like a motion play with Blake Bell. Maybe he went the wrong way. Maybe he didn't. But he didn't get the first down. That's what matters here. And this has been something that has come up on this show for like the entire existence of this show. It has been a topic. Not because we're beating it to death, but because they've never been consistently good at it. Because it has been something that has stood out about their offense. It's the only negative I can think of that has existed consistently in their offense the entire time. Maybe they had some injuries and they had some struggles on offensive line somewhere along the way, or maybe wide receivers were struggling for a stretch. But this has been the only one where pretty consistently we can say no short yardage. Should we just drop it? Just not care because they're high? Because this is like the wide receiver. Not care because they're high scoring, not care because they get up points, and just be like, so what if they're not good on 3rd and 1? You can't be perfect at everything.
This one's more problematic because it's for you're turning the ball over. This was a 4th down situation, and I know it's something they can't practice as much, so that's why they probably did that play in a game situation, because at practice it just wouldn't. You can't get the look that you're trying to judge it on. I think if you're going to have Blake Bell do that, you need to trust that you can put him under center to begin with. Screw the motion part.
You don't need a trick.
Go under center and have whoever Pacheco, whoever's in the backfield, push him forward and do the tush push that the Eagles do, and do it with Blake Bell, or bring in Blaine Gabbert and do it. Do that versus this motion Blake Bell over, and sometimes we'll fake that and then we'll snap it to the running back directly. I don't like it. I think it's predictable, and it's not the same thing as the Eagles, where yes, we all know that they're just going to push Jalen Hurts. It works because he's not only extremely strong as a quarterback, but you don't have to have any extra half second of waiting for somebody to actually make the right decision. The quarterback's going to read that and just go straight up, versus I think in that spot Blake Bell should have gone left instead of the spot he did. Hopefully they build on that. But, yeah, this is an ongoing situation. I don't think it's suddenly going to get fixed either.
Doesn't make any sense for a team that is this good offensively. Why is this the thing they've been unable to unlock?
Well, a lot of it has to do with they refuse, and I have no problem with it. You and I differ on this.
I do.
They won't do a QB sneak with Mahomes ever since the Denver game when the kneecap popping out or whatever it was. That's just not going to.
One freak incident, and we can't ever do one play ever again that every team in the NFL runs.
I know. I'm fine with it, unless they want to do it in the Super Bowl or something. I certainly don't need to do it in the preseason. So there will be another wrinkle of this, but I'm fine bringing Blaine Gabbert. That's fine for that situation.
I do always laugh, and it's not their fault. It's like the way you just talk about a football game like you talk about any football game. But like I was watching the game yesterday, and they were talking about that 4th and 1. They're like, this side of the field, can they go? I'm like, none of this matters. Yes, they can go for it. It doesn't. If they fail, the other team scores a touchdown and they lose. Who cares?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, I think that's why they did that.
They were saying that about the 2-minute drill. It was like, I don't know if they want to go 95 yards. Might want to just protect it and take the ball in the second half. I'm like, no. Just let them try to drive down the field.
Well, the one before
if
half,
they throw a pick six, who cares?
Yeah,
they were talking about it like they had a decision to make.
The run before,
you just run out the clock.
The sequence before half, I was fine, Cody. That's fine. There's 35 seconds left. They get the ball the second half, and you're at their own 5 with Shane Buechele in the game. I'm fine with
I was talking about when they got it the first time with like 2.5 minutes left to go. And they were talking about, they got it at the 5-yard line. They were talking about whether or not they should run out the clock or if they should do it. I'm like, it doesn't matter. They should just run their offense. They don't need more practice punting the ball in the game. Just run whatever plays they feel like running.
Yeah. And also,
we're talking about it like it's strategically means anything.
The Blake Bell play. Colin Saunders, defensive tackle now for New Orleans. So the minute he saw Blake Bell go in motion, it's 4th down. He knew 100. He even admitted after the game, he's like, I was cheating a little bit, basically, because he knew all the. And the Chiefs aren't going to give any new looks in preseason, nor should they.
No.
Nor should they. So it was just predictable. Oh well, it's fine. They should have won. They should have won the game. The 2s and 3s played really well. They came back. Should have won the game. Oh well. Don't bet on preseason football.
Unless it's the Ravens to win.
Chiefs plus 1.5. They should have covered, should have got you the win. That did not happen. And yes, the Ravens continue to win preseason games at a ridiculous clip. It's 20.
Did you bet on it? What was the number at?
The money line, it got to be too much to where I know, because Bink's like, he'll text me every time. I'll be like, dude, bet the Ravens money line. Yeah, but if it's minus 210 in a preseason, I'm not betting.
Put $200 in this thing?
I'm not betting enough money to actually make it work. I was trying to see what the odds are for them this week. Who the Ravens got this week? Because the Ravens have the Texans. Ravens are minus. No, that can't. Hold on. That's got to be week 1. That can't be right. That's a week 1. They're playing the Texans week 1.
Okay.
That can't be preseason. I was like, that spread is way too high. It's 9.5. That's got to be the week 1 spread.
Yeah.
Who are the Ravens playing this week? Ravens.
Never gonna
Washington Commanders. The Ravens are minus 200 against the Commanders. I take the Commanders plus
if
170.
If you bet $100 on them, though, for 25 consecutive games, Gold, you'd have so much money.
I know. We're back at it tomorrow. Thanks to Vinnie Pasquantino. He joined us in the 10 o'clock hour. If you missed that, you can check it out on 610sports.com and the Odyssey app. We're back up in St. Joe tomorrow. Chiefs full training camp practice. One of the final 3 shows that will be up in St. Joe. We'll talk to you guys then.